Good morning to you, Kansas City. 6 o'clock on the dot in my backdrop, in my drop spot. Something like that was with an Usher song, I think. Back in my days when I was jamming out to Usher. You got it, man. All right, I'm done. Can't believe it's already Thursday. Feels like it's almost already done with January. It kind of is. It's January 9th.
Hey, we're moving. Third of the month is over.
That's right. More snow in the forecast, so nothing new there.
Yeah, another 2 to 3 inches, they're saying, potentially.
Pretty sure Lee Summit is out of school today. My buddy was telling me that last night when we got some dinner. He's like, I just need to get away for like a little bit. He's like, my wife gave me the okay. What are you guys doing tonight? I was like, nothing. Nothing on TV.
Yeah, there's nothing on TV.
So much that there's nothing. I watched the Chiefsaholic documentary on Amazon Prime. Cringe.
I can't. I just can't get myself to watch that. I just can't.
You can.
Guy's such a turd loser.
You can, and I think Matt can help you out with this. You need You need an extended overtime visit to the garage. You definitely
got to be on something to watch this thing. Huh?
Not only overtime, you need college overtime to the point where like you just go for it from the 2-yard line. Like,
yeah. I mean, 3 a.m. I'm still going. Chiefsaholic doc time. How much time did you waste watching that thing?
So it's 122 minutes.
Oh my God, yeah. I'm out. You just told me. I'm sorry. I know I'm 47, but I'm 27 inside, and I am not watching a 2-hour documentary on that turd loser.
At this point, I'm caviared out. No pun intended. But like. You watch it, and so like I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, it's an hour and 22 minutes. Cool. No, 122 minutes, which means 2 hours and 2 minutes.
Oh, God.
I stopped watching with 25 minutes left because obviously our show starts early, and I was like, doing the, head nod. Yeah. I'm like, all right. But like, I guarantee you, Mac, tell me I'm wrong or right. I guarantee you're going to watch this and be like, that Bondsman guy is kind of a bag.
Absolutely.
I don't know what's going on with his hair. I don't know why I get it. Bail bondsmen are these type of guys, but like the main whole thing is like how crazy of a nut job this guy was as not only a fan, but like as a person. You find out like has no father figure.
You're talking about Chiefsaholic or the bondsman?
Well, yeah, the Chiefsaholic.
Yeah,
like
loser.
Xavier Balbadar. Which it's funny, his name's said like more time differently than Dave Tabe.
Right.
And like you watch it and you're just like, and I know this has been out for a little bit, but our boss comes into our meeting night yesterday. He's like, have you guys watched it? We're like, no. He's like, it's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
And I watched it. I was like, Steve.
Yeah, Steven. You don't take, let's be honest here. We're not taking his advice on movies and things.
To be fair, his favorite movie of all time is Con Air.
No, it's not.
I don't think so, but it's top 5.
Is it really?
Somewhere up there.
He liked that Irishman movie that literally nobody liked. And that's the last time I took his recommendation on a movie. That was like 17 hours long.
That was 422 minutes.
Oh my God. I mean, that thing never ended. I was like, this isn't really that interesting.
It was like AI, CGI.
It was terrible.
I was like, De Niro's eyes are that blue?
Yeah.
Like, what? Like, damn, Bobby. Like, what are we doing here?
And I tried to watch that thing, man, because Spectre's like, it's good. It really is. And I watched it. I'm like, it just wasn't like, it didn't live up to the hype. I think it was one of those movies that everybody wanted to like, so they all said that they liked it, even though it wasn't that good, It
was definitely 20 years done too late.
Oh, yeah.
And that might be just like
That's generous,
Yeah. So, I mean, it was all right. Look, it was entertaining because you watch it and you're like, oh, man, this is about the Chiefs, too. Like, this guy, like, you clearly find out that this guy is obsessed with, like, not just the Chiefs, but, like, Mahomes and Kelsey.
Oh, God.
Like, they're his
best.
Like,
he's wearing their skin type thing?
Kind of, but, like,
cringe.
More so, like, they're his best friends.
Yeah, they're not, though.
How he watches games is, like, we all have that friend that, like, stands up the whole time, cusses and yells, and, like, at one point, I think he prays and cries. Where I'm like, you need a lot.
Praise and cries.
Like during the game when Philadelphia's up, which is like, I know you're not a true fan. Like if the Chiefs are down 10, you should know they're going to win.
They're going to win.
Right?
Yeah,
so
right.
Like,
yeah.
Come
what
on,
are you praying? How much money did you have on that one where you were praying and crying?
And I would assume a lot of people in Kansas City have watched this. It's on Prime. 122 minutes.
So you just talked me right out of that one. How long? Hot? Nope.
Yeah, you need 90 minutes of the garage, and then you can watch it. But no, because I just wanted to. He came into the office yesterday. He's like, you guys should watch this. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. I got nothing else on. Like, the KU game was okay. It was just late. I wasn't into it. Yeah, I couldn't watch it.
They played last night? I was watching Cheers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
No, they played Arizona State. And then, there was a really good NBA game on, Thunder and Cavs.
Started watching a little bit of that. And
it was great. Cavs have, 4 losses? Like, they're doing some sort of record pace here with Jared Allen and all those guys. But, again, that game was over, and I was like, okay, it's 8 o'clock. I have nothing else to do. I'm going to lay in bed and watch this documentary. Wish I would have.
Yeah.
But, again, you're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on 96.5 The Fan. If you have watched the Chiefsaholic documentary, let us know, 913-586-7965. Also, Mr. Fescoe is here with us every day, Monday through Friday, and when something comes out about the stadium, I turn my mic off and I turn it to Bob Fescoe's. So as promised, I will do that. And Bob, you have a stadium update.
Yeah, we do have a little bit of a stadium update today, actually involving both of the organizations that call Kansas City home. And today is going to be I don't want to use the term monumental day because that's overselling and whatnot. But today is going to be a day that I think Chiefs fans are going to start to realize, what's taking place when it comes to the new stadium. Today, there's going to be a group called CSL, okay? CSL is the name of the group. They're conducting surveys and research for the Chiefs about, what do you want to do? New stadium, renovation. They're surveying fans. Today, they're going to be sending out a press release, I think probably around 10 o'clock or something this morning, that CSL is now putting out a survey for a couple 100,000, Kansas Cityans, Chiefs fans, however you want to say it, about, the new stadium and the potential of renovating Arrowhead Stadium. It's going to be, from what I've been told, a very extensive survey, and, everything's going to change based on if you're a season ticket holder, if you're a suite holder, if you're this, you're that, the other thing. And it's going to take you through all these questions. Do you want this? Do you want that? Do you like this? Do you like that? And depending on how you answer is how it's going to take you. Obviously, we've all seen these surveys to the next question. But today is also going to be a milestone day, if you will. And again, I hate using momentous, milestone, all that kind of stuff, because I don't know that it is, but it's a big day because today is going to be the first day that you hear the term PSL talked about when it comes to a new stadium for the Kansas City Chiefs. And what a PSL is basically you, the individual, buying the right to the seat that you have at the stadium, and you own that seat. It's a one-time fee, and it carries you through life. You can will the seat to people. You can sell that seat to somebody. But at the beginning, it's going to be a one-time payment. And this is happening all around the NFL, whether it's a renovated stadium, whether it's a new stadium. Fans are being asked to pay for PSLs. How much, Bob, is a PSL going to cost me? The average PSL right now of the 2 stadiums that are being built in Buffalo and Nashville is somewhere between $4,000 and $10,000. And that's per seat, that's a one-time fee, and then that seat is yours. And you own that seat for every single event that takes place in that stadium. So if the Chiefs were to build a new dome stadium and you own a seat license, a PSL inside that stadium, and they host the Super Bowl, the Final Four, playoff, whatever event, concerts, it doesn't matter. Whatever event is taking place in that stadium, you own the right to purchase the ticket to that event. They can't tell you, we're selling your seat to somebody else or something like that, because it is a PSL. You paid for that. You have the right now for that seat for every event that's going to take place inside a new stadium, if that is the direction that the Kansas City Chiefs and the state of Kansas or the state of Missouri, if that's the direction they decide to go, is a brand new stadium, then that PSL thing will be a big topic, but you will own every event, basically, that takes place there, plus the cost of tickets to be put on that. But that's the concept of what they do now in the National Football League. So today is the first day that you're going to hear that PSL, and I know that probably aggravates a lot of fans. They look at it as another investment into the team. I've talked to some season ticket holders privately about PSLs. I was surprised I didn't get pushback from them. And I'm just talking about like every average day Joes. I'm not talking about suite holders or the richest guy in the stadium or anything like that. Just average dudes that have season tickets. There wasn't pushback from the people that I talked to about this. But I will say I'm sure there will be pushback, and rightfully so. It's another cost that could potentially be added on. But again, this is the cost of having that NFL franchise here in Kansas City, and it's not like the Chiefs are unique at it. Again, everybody's doing it. Buffalo and Nashville, the 2 newest stadiums coming on the block, their average PSL is somewhere between $4,000 and $10,000 one-time fee. And a lot of these places break it up for you over time as well, so you don't have to pay for it all up front. So I'm sure they'll work with you on something like that. And then I heard from 2 sources yesterday as well, the Royals are getting closer and closer to finalizing a Johnson County site.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. So kind of like in the area that you were talking about?
Yeah, the 119th Sprint Campus area, and then there's that area at 435 in Antioch, which I don't really know that that's in play. I still think it's the Sprint Campus where it's going to be, but I've heard they're getting closer to getting that deal done. Again, nothing is done. Obviously, as we know, this process has taken way too long, but they're trying to dot every I and cross every T and make sure they have it right. I mean, because both of these organizations are getting ready to make significant decisions for the future of their ball club and for the future of Kansas City.
So quickly with the PSL, the seat that you own, right? Mm-hmm. You still have to pay the price of what event that would
Absolutely.
be. Okay, just making sure.
Yeah.
Like, no, because obviously it's just you own the seat, but then there's an additional.
Correct. Yeah, so you don't get all the tickets for free. No,
not for free, but there's not like a discounted price. So
I'm sure there's a season ticket holder discount, if you will.
Example A, Taylor Swift comes to Arrowhead.
You get the opportunity to buy your seat for those tickets.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Here comes the text line.
I know. That's what I'm interested to see, what folks are going to say. I know it's probably going to lean very negative towards this, and I understand that. Nobody wants to pay more for anything at this point in time, especially when they view stadiums as, billionaires getting these free buildings and things of that nature, which, the state does pay a lot of money for this kind of stuff, and rightfully so. So I understand the pushback. I mean, I'm not a huge PSL fan, but I also understand this is now the cost of doing business in professional sports, and really has been. Like, when they built that dome in St. Louis, they were charging people PSLs, and that was in the 90s.
I'd have ran far away from that place. This is from our buddy Cam. He says, just a bummer that a lot of lifelong football season ticket holders will be priced out of going to games in the future by the outrageous prices of these PSLs.
We say that, but they will be priced based on location inside the stadium. There's going to be obviously some very expensive ones. There's going to be obviously some cheaper ones. It just depends on kind of where you sit. And from what I understand, the way it goes is that all the expensive ones and all the cheap ones sell out immediately.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's like you got to funnel it down to the middle, and then like the middle class, those are the ones that take a little bit longer to move on. But I get it from Cam, man. I totally understand that. And that's the feedback that the Chiefs are going to get, and that's the feedback that the Chiefs are going to have to, figure out their way through and, tell people why this is a good deal if they were to have this in a new stadium.
And you said there'll be a press release at
around 10 o'clock today.
Right, we're off the air.
Right. Yeah, this group CSL is putting it out around 10 o'clock today, and a couple 100,000 people are going to be asked to take the survey. So it's a big survey.
CSL, PSL, DSL.
That's right.
I don't know. Dell computers. Remember those?
Dude, you got a Dell.
Sorry, Mac, we're old.
Hey, we got a Mac.
Yeah, we upgraded.
We got rid of the Dell and got a Mac.
Hey, coming up on the other side, Travis Kelce, I love it, and also some all-pro names that I guess we'll see if they're respected or not. Bob Fescoe, Mac Morey, we got a Mac and a Dusty here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City Sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for K-State Athletics. 96.5 The Fan.
Well, guys, here we sit. It's the new year, and you want to have a new you, right? You want to change things around this new year. Who doesn't, right? So resolve to get your ED treated and change your life. Remember that first time you failed to perform in the bedroom? You probably just laughed it off. It wasn't a big deal, but then it happened a second time, a third time, maybe more, and now you know it's a problem. Well, Heartland Men's Health has treatments that work when the pills or herbals fail. They have treatments with success rates well over 90%, and some treatments can even have you last an hour or more. So schedule a consult with Heartland Men's Health today. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes a medical consult with a licensed medical provider, a T and PSA test, and, if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Plus, they have an expert staff on hand, and if you're like a lot of men, you could be having sex the day after your appointment. They have 3 locations to serve you: Overland Park, Independence between Blue Springs and Lee Summit, and their new office in North Kansas City. So call them today, 844-447-6600, or visit heartlandmenshealth.com.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policy fees as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
Taxes was waiting around for your taxes to be done, which led to worrying about not getting any money back. Now Taxes is matching with a TurboTax expert who can do your taxes in a day to get you up to $4,000 fast with a refund advance loan. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax. Get an expert now on TurboTax.com. Expert filing only available with TurboTax Live Full Service. Refund advance has $0 loan fees and 0% APR. Refund advance loans may be issued by First Century Bank N.A. or WebBank. Terms apply. Subject to approval.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Now that the holidays are over, the cold weather's here, and the kids are back to their routines, we're loving Hy-Vee's Aisles Online. They make it so easy to get our groceries. All you have to do is download the app or go to Hy-Vee.com. Choose your store, select your items, and Hy-Vee does all the shopping. All you got to do is pick up your order or have it delivered to your home. And listen to this. Right now, you're going to get $10 off any $125 Aisles Online purchase. Save time, save money. What could be better? Only at Hy-Vee.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Metro Ford online at kcmetroford.com. East side, 435 southbound before Eastwood Traffic Way. There's a stalled in the exit lane, but the main lanes are moving well. At Metro Ford, family owned and operated means the same trusted faces every visit. Just 10 minutes from downtown. Plus, get peace of mind with our 5-year, 200,000-mile pre-owned warranty, including roadside assistance and emergency trip interruption. Only at Metro Ford. Online at kcmetroford.com. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric Traffic Center, Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan.
Diving right back into it here on 96.5 The Fan. Your home for Kansas City sports. Your home for Mac Morey. Your home for Bob Fescoe. Your home for Carrington Harrison. Your home for Rob Breton, Drew Nixon, Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, and I'll put myself last because I'm humble. Humble and hung. I'm kidding. Just kidding. No, the college football playoffs tonight. We'll dive into that a little bit later as we get, what is it? There's 3 college football games left on the year.
That's it.
And then we're done, baby.
Well, there's some not bowl games, but Senior Bowl type things where you watch all the prospects. Binkley will be watching that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. That's when what Mac just say, work smarter, not harder.
Well,
hey,
Binkley's never learned that.
But that's where we come in because we know who our college football insider is.
That's
hey, Binkley,
right.
Who should I be looking for in this game tonight? Well, there's this guy. Let me tell you about this guy over here. He's a quarterback. I did see that, what is his name? Milton from Tennessee. In that game against New England and Buffalo last week.
Yeah.
Second hardest pass thrown all year.
Oh, no kidding.
So he has that on his resume.
All right, that's
He's
cool.
the cannon.
But if you throw it that hard,
yeah.
how many people like Kadarius Toney's not holding on to a pass from that dude?
never.
He gets a lot of play in the documentary.
Oh, does he? Kadarius Toney.
Yeah, because he said,
Kadarius.
"I told you he was going to catch a touchdown in the game." Yeah.
Which game are we talking about?
Super Bowl
the
against-
Super Bowl
yeah,
game.
against
I didn't know you were talking about the offsides game.
Yeah, dude. No, he does bet 80 stacks on that game.
You guys love the higher lower bets, right? When it comes to individual players, and for tonight's game, here's what I'm doing on the Underdog app. Okay, here's what I'm doing. I got Riley Leonard higher than 166.5 passing yards. I've got Drew Aller lower than 10.5 rushing yards.
Ooh, okay.
And, because kneel downs at the end sometimes take,
So you think this is a blowout?
I I don't know that
You think Notre Dame's got it in the bag?
I think, well, I conspire with Ben Maller on kind of a lot of this stuff when it comes to the TV. Like, who's going to watch Penn State? I mean, like, let's be honest, right? Notre Dame, I think, wins the game. I think Notre Dame wins the game. And then I got Jeremiah Love higher than a half touchdown, both rushing and receiving combined, right?
That should be good.
That feels like a good one right there, right? So that's what I did on the Underdog app. You can download the Underdog app in Missouri too, Dusty.
Okay.
In Missouri too. You can download the Underdog app, use promo code BOB, and deposit now and make your picks. I got the Champions picks in right now, so I'm rocking and rolling. Let's see if I hit a $10 wager. Could win me $68.40 tonight.
There you go.
The magic number. Have you heard about this?
Huh?
I don't know. They're advertising the magic number Tuesday, January 14th on the Chiefs YouTube channel.
I got a press release on that yesterday too. Yes. Another video that they're putting out there. They're kind of becoming a TV station.
Yeah. I mean, might as well.
Yeah.
Strike while the iron's hot. Is what they always say, right?
Yeah. You got to cash in right now because you ain't gonna fly close to the sun that long. You know.
Two things here, kind of involving Cincinnati. There's Travis Kelce audio. I'm sure a lot of you heard it yesterday about what he had to say about the Chiefs not wanting to play Cincinnati, but also there's now video on Twitter of Cincinnati watching the Buffalo Chiefs game.
How good was that?
I mean, depends on how ruthless you are. But they're like melting as the game's going on. Like
I don't
they
care.
just see their fate, like whatever. But
nothing more than I hate than a Cincinnati fan, and nothing more than I hate than a whiner about their lot in life. And that is what a Cincinnati fan is, a loser that complains about his lot in life.
Okay, fair enough. But Travis Kelce said something in this audio clip that we'll play for you here that I've been saying my entire life. And there are two different people when it comes to playoff runs. There are people that are like, give me the easiest route. I don't care. Just let me get there. Right? Like this year, I think it would be like you would hope that obviously Buffalo will take care of business against Denver, and then Houston takes care of business against the Chargers, and then Pittsburgh loses to Baltimore, right? That would be that way, right? Or I guess if you want the easiest route, Pittsburgh would
beats
win.
Baltimore,
then you would play Pittsburgh,
right?
And then Houston would go play Buffalo, and Buffalo would lose to Houston, and then you would play Houston in the AFC Championship game, and you walk right to the Super Bowl.
And people go, the Chiefs get an easy route.
Well, that's not our fault. We just won our games that we were supposed to win. I've always been on the side of I don't want any doubt. Like, go beat them all. Like, beat the big teams. This was what Travis Kelce had to say to those people that said that they just mailed it in because they didn't want to see Cincinnati in the playoffs.
The Chiefs also clinched the number one seed in the AFC, resting their starters, or the majority of them, in Week 18. There's some people alleging that it was a purposeful...
I ain't scared of nobody. I wanted them in the playoffs. I want to slay every dragon one by one, like Mortal Kombat. I don't even want this to be like we play the lowest seed. Just give me the best teams. AFC, NFC. Give me all of them, Mortal Kombat style. I'll go through every one of them, giving them my best effort.
You didn't want to see the Bengals in Burrowhead or in Cincinnati.
I'll play them at the Walmart parking lot. Listen, I love competing against the greatest. The Bengals were a fun team to watch there towards the end of the season. It's a shame they didn't make it in the playoffs because they would have made the playoffs that much crazier and that much more fun.
I mean, Burrow put up over like 4,000 something yards. Like it was something crazy. He had a great year. Chase and T.
That was one of the wackiest years of football I've ever seen from a team that I thought was 10 times better than what their record showed. I know that just playing against them. We didn't throw any game. Guys were out there competing their off trying to get a win. It wasn't a fun game to be a part of, and I'm just sitting here on the sideline like, hey, boys, don't let ruin our mojo. It's go time. We got to flip that switch and know we're the biggest, baddest team out there.
Such a naughty mouth.
I know, really, it is, and I like it. I can't say I don't hate it. It's great.
So I agree a lot with what he has to say there because I like that sort of mentality. I think in this playoff run, I'm going to try to stay as humble as possible because, in years past, I don't care who it is. Like he said, Walmart parking lot, we'll play you whoever. It's like the Michael Beasley quote. Like, we'll play him here, play him there, play him Africa. We don't care where we play him, we'll play him. And I do like that, and I'm glad that that's kind of like their mindset. Like, they're ready for it. I'm going to sit back and watch and let them kind of let their actions show and kind of just defend what I watch on television in the games. But, I love that sort of mentality from one of your biggest leaders, probably the second biggest leader on your team. I would say that the rank would probably go Mahomes, Kelce, Jones, right? I think that's obvious.
I think that sounds obvious right now. Yeah, but, who knows? Maybe Travis is the biggest voice in that locker room. He has been around the longest, right? I mean, James Winchester, maybe. But other than that, I don't know that there's any longer tenured chief than Travis Kelce, right?
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing about this is that, like, it's not Cincinnati. Maybe there's a couple people in Cincinnati saying this, that, like, hey, we wish we could have gotten in. Well, beat New England in week 1 at home, and you would have never had to deal with this.
Yep.
Or, don't lose to Team X in week 3 or whatever it was when they started off. I think, what did they start off? 0-3, then 1-4 or whatever it was. And I do love this sort of attitude because, there are two people on the side of the fence. You want the easiest route, you want the toughest route. But, like, I was with, like, maybe Mac, where, like, I don't know, like, we had that discussion where you'd rather play Denver than Cincinnati. Probably, but, like, you'd have buried it. Or it was like he said, you'd have defeated that dragon if you'd have beaten Cincinnati this year in the playoffs. Say you play them in the divisional round, next week, or if they were in the playoffs, and you beat them in Arrowhead. Then it's like, okay, now you have nothing to argue about. Now you have nothing to say because you haven't won in almost 2 calendar years, and you lost to get in the playoffs. You can't beat Mahomes. There was an anomaly of a game in the postseason where Mahomes had the worst second half of his life, and now you're playing the Chiefs again, and you would have lost. Again, it's not the Chiefs' fault. It's not like they tanked so that you wouldn't get in. They went 15-2. They did their job. They knew it was on the line. A three-peat. What's the easiest route to a three-peat that you could possibly play? Every game at home that you could possibly play, and that's what the Chiefs did.
They did. And again, I can't believe we're still sitting here on a Thursday after this game, and people are still having these thoughts about the Chiefs potentially throwing a football game. And again, that's the problem that I have with a lot of things right now in this world, is that we want to blame everybody else for why we're not doing what we want to be doing, instead of looking inside, looking in the mirror, taking personal responsibility and saying, what could I have done better? It's just easy to blame everybody else. It's just easy to say, well, it's his fault, it's their fault, it's her fault, it's that fault, it's this fault, instead of just looking in the mirror and going, you know what? We lost 4 of our first 5 games. We effed ourselves from the beginning. The only win that the team in Cincinnati had going into the month of October was a win over a Carolina Panther team, which at the time was one of the worst teams in the NFL. They beat them by 10 points. That was their only win. They lost to New England. They lost to Kansas City. They lost to Washington. 2 of those 3 losses to start the season were at home. 2 of those losses, New England, to a coach that got fired at the end of the season because he was clearly in over his head. You start to see the stories that are coming out now. Gerard Mayo was a man that was probably not in the right job, okay? And that's okay. And they recognize and they move on.
And their owner's a mustard guy.
Yeah, exactly. No question. And so you lose to New England in the first week of the season, and then in the third week of the season, you lose to Washington. And at that point in time,
playoff team.
Yes, but in week 3, you're Cincinnati, they're Washington.
Well, that's the game that put Daniels on the map.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But again, you're Cincinnati, they're Washington. You need to win that game, okay? I don't care that they're a playoff team now and you're not. In week 3 of the NFL season, nobody was believing in Washington. Nobody knew anything about them. They were going to be an also-ran this season. You were Cincinnati. And you were coming off 2 straight losses to start the season, and that's how you rebounded against Washington. So enough with the Chiefs didn't play the right players. The Chiefs went out there, laid their own groundwork, blazed their own trail, and took advantage of the trail that they blazed with the hard work that they put in, and they took advantage of their labor and their hard work and their successes. The Cincinnati Bengals didn't do that, and it's easier to blame everybody else instead of looking in the mirror and going, what did I do wrong? And what you did wrong was losing 3 at the beginning of the year to 2 really bad teams, and then towards the end of the year, the middle of November, you lose at Baltimore, you lose at Los Angeles, you lose at Pittsburgh. Those are 3 straight losses right there. You can't do that during the course of an NFL season and expect to be in the playoffs. So quit your bitching, shut up, and get back to the drawing board and see if you can get back next year and play with the cool kids. Because right now you're sitting at the nerd table.
Yeah, I mean, because what is Cincinnati? I mean, I think that's like, if anything, like the Chiefs should have gotten like a care package from Buffalo.
Yeah,
like that ought to be the team that's like, yeah, we're lucky Cincinnati didn't get in, because I would have loved to see that game. I think that would have been probably your primetime game, right? If Buffalo and Cincinnati played, that probably would have been whatever night's the most popular, probably Sunday at 2:30 again.
Right,
that would have been the game that everyone would have had their attention on. But again, that's why it's so important. Like, you look at the board over there, there's 2 red score lines on there, which means that those are losses. One has an asterisk by it because it's week 18 because nobody played. One of them was against Buffalo, which is a legitimate loss. But again, you beat Cincinnati in the regular season. Whether it was by 1 or whether it was by 11, you still won that game. And that's why every game matters in a short sample size of a season. Because then you go back and you look at the schedule. You're like, because the NFL season kind of reminds me of, like, your round of golf, where, like, Let's say I go out there and I shoot 85. That's about average for me.
That's pretty damn good.
It's good. I mean, I need to get better as much as I play, but there's still some times where I go out there and I shoot like a 90, and I'm like, that could have been an 86. Why? Because I duffed a shot on hole 3. That cost me a stroke.
Yeah.
I missed a putt on hole 7. That cost me a stroke. I, went out of bounds. I had to take a drop. That cost me a stroke. There's 3 different strokes right there on the scorecard that were unnecessary. You, Cincinnati, went out of bounds in week 2. You duffed your drive in week 7.
Yeah.
And then, the final 3 or 4 holes of the round, you went par, birdie, par.
Great.
Yeah, that looks good. But when you take the scorecard and zoom out, you're like, this could have been a lot better if I'd have taken advantage of earlier times. And that's what happened to Cincinnati. And they
were like plus 10 after the first 3 weeks of the season. You're not recovering from that. No matter how good you are the rest of the way, you laid in your start. And if you're going to go 0-3 to start the season, you probably shouldn't lose another game the rest of the way.
Somebody from the 816 says a Cincy player watching the game saying, please, and the whiniest voice was epic.
But here's the other thing to put this into perspective for all you Bengal nitwits out there.
Oh.
In the month of September, the Cincinnati Bengals had more losses than the Chiefs had the entire year.
Damn. What does that tell you?
Kiss my ass? I don't know what else to say. I can't use the words that Travis did. I'd like to.
But Max got to get that beat going.
I'd like to use the words that Travis says, but the Chiefs have been on top, and they're 15-3 under Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. Do you think they're really scared of anybody?
I think there's teams that give you that little bit of like when we watch, whenever the Chiefs play Buffalo, there's always a little knot in my stomach where I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
But that's us. I'm talking about them.
Yeah.
That speech by Travis Kelce was like, that's what you needed to hear this week if you're on the Chiefs, if you're in Chiefs Kingdom. Like that right there, what Travis Kelce had to say is everything I need to know. Because I'm sure there are some fans because I've heard from them. Too much time off. Last week you were saying we needed a bye. Now you're saying there's too much time off. That loss 38-0 to Denver, is that going to screw things up? And oh my God, they needed to play to keep themselves fresh and all this nonsense that's out there. That speech from Travis Kelce is all you need to know. This team's going to be ready to go on Sunday when they play this football game against whoever the opponent may be. They're going to be ready to go. And then look out AFC Championship game, because I think now, based on what the hell's been going on with people saying the Chiefs are laying down and giving up and not giving their best effort in Week 18 against the Denver Broncos. Okay, you want our best effort? Let's go, and we'll show you our best effort. We got 3 games of our best effort coming up, and it ain't going to look good for everybody else out there.
Speaking of best effort, there are players that are voted on by their effort, which from My Sports Update on Twitter, which is Ari, he brings up not Ari Gold,
Ari Meyerhoff,
not Ari Gold, Ari Meyerhoff. He has the graphic up. Players of the NFLPA, they vote on this for all-pro team. Still no Trent McDuffie, the disrespect. But 3 Chiefs players. It was Joe Thuney, Creed Humphrey, and Chris Jones. Those are it. Those are the 3 all-pros. Your quarterback was Lamar Jackson. Your tight end was Brock Bowers. Your receivers were the LSU guys. Your running back was obviously Saquon Barkley. Kyle Juszczyk was your fullback. By the way, his wife is making vests. You can buy one for $300.
Yeah, my wife was showing them to me the other night. She goes, how much do you think this is? I'm like, I don't know, $375.
Yeah, she's like, well, we didn't go to Hawaii, and my birthday's coming up. You're like, well, we're going next year.
This year.
Basically, forget about that. So, again, not mad about the list, just a little disappointed that Trent McDuffie doesn't make the list on the defensive side. So, again, 3 Chiefs, Creed Humphrey, Joe Thuney, and Chris Jones. Still 3 all-pro players on that roster, which is still pretty damn good.
Yeah, and what the cool thing about it is this one was voted on by the players. The next, like the AP NFL All-Pro team, that's voted on by, your grizzled sports writers.
The same people that had Tyreek Hill as the best player in the NFL?
These are the players who had Tyreek Hill.
I know what the NFL top one is.
That's right, yeah. But I do think it means more, though, voted, Tyreek Hill was coming off a pretty damn good season last year, right? Almost 2,000 yards and whatnot. He lit the world on fire. then showed his true colors and, had 17 kids.
It just needed to be said.
Best of luck moving forward, whoever's going to make a trade for Tyreek Hill if they decide to do that, because that guy's a great football player. I don't want him anywhere near my locker room, and the Chiefs showed you that. Great football player. We'll see you later, man. You need to go get your bag down in Miami so you can pay for your kids. So I look at the All-Pro list, and I think this is one where I think it's cool to make this list because you're voted on by your peers. I do. I think it's, I don't want to say better, but I think I think it means more when your peers look at you and say, yeah, this guy's one of the best or that guy's one of the best, because they're playing against you all the time. And to have 3 guys on this list, this is part of the reason why, as an organization, we're sitting here with a bye week. We've got 3 players on this list, and that's pretty damn good.
Yeah, you don't need Tyreek Hill anymore. Because they actually finally found his replacement after all these years, Xavier Worthy. This is from Matt McMullen from the Chiefs. Rookie NFL history rookies with at least 6 receiving touchdowns and 3 rushing touchdowns. Last guy to do it was Tyreek Hill in 2016. Xavier Worthy's the next guy to do it in 2024.
Just for the Chiefs or in NFL?
For the NFL.
Oh, wow.
Rookies in NFL history with at least 6 receiving touchdowns and 3 rushing touchdowns. Xavier Worthy, 2024. Tyreek Hill, 2016. Gale Sayers in 1965, and Doak Walker in 1950.
Cow.
That's the list.
I mean, wow.
D-O-A-K. I think that's how you say that. Or
Doak. It is. Yeah,
Dope.
there's some award
Not
named
dope.
after
I thought you
him.
said dope. I was
No.
like, what?
Doak Walker would be me on Saturday at about 11:45
AM?
No.
But no, there is some award, the Doak Walker Award, but I don't know what it goes to. Somewhere Binkley's yelling at us. Why do we know Doak Walker? Because he played in 1950. But
Here come the stats from the Bingley.
Let me tell you something about Doak Walker. But it's funny, the
Delaney's grandpa?
could be
Delaney Walker?
Yeah.
UCO?
The first 3, is he still? He's not in the NFL anymore.
No.
That was like 20 years ago, right?
Not 20. It's like,
like
maybe
5 or something.
No. Look it up.
I bet he's in the league 5 years ago, but I don't know if he was relevant. He was big in Tennessee for like, a year, 2 years? Shout out to the Mules. I mean, other schools too, but Delaney Walker was a stud at UCO.
I mean, I can imagine that he just
Natty Light.
run roughshod over the.
2019. So I guess, yeah 5 years. Yeah.
5 years.
So that's the last time he played was
2019.
2019.
What was his team?
Yeah, Titans. Yeah, it was just 49ers than the Titans.
Yeah, he was good.
He was great.
He was a nice player. I remember watching him going, man, I wish we had a guy like that. Oh,
Well, we
here.
did. Would have been great to have him alongside Travis.
Right, but that's pretty cool though. When you look at that list of those, the 3 players on the top of that list are all locals. I mean, 2 Chiefs and a Jayhawk. So
that's right.
I mean that's pretty wild that Xavier Worthy's up there, because I think if you were to ask people just right now, who had the better rookie season, Tyreek Hill or Xavier Worthy, I think 99 out of 100 would tell you Tyreek Hill. I didn't realize Xavier Worthy put up that good of numbers this year.
I mean, 9 total touchdowns as a rookie. I mean, just
amazing.
That's insane, guys. No, like seriously, like that may be the most insane stat of the year, because it's hard to get double-digit touchdowns and double-digit sacks anymore in this league. The fact that this guy's a rookie put up 9, holy cow.
Didn't play week 18.
Yeah. Played actually a full season in the day.
Yeah.
17-game season. So I think it's awesome. They finally found his replacement, and they've been trying, right? It was McCole Hardman at one point. It was Kadarius Toney maybe was going to be that guy. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, we could do 20 minutes on Xavier Worthy, because like that guy with his speed, because what was it Tyreek Hill in his first year was? He was doing sweeps. He was run the ball. What's Xavier Worthy done? Sweeps, ran the ball. What were some of the big routes Tyreek Hill ran? Goes.
Yeah.
Long slants over the middle where you could give him just a little bit of separation, go. And then the next year, it was like, oh, he's a solidified route runner. Like now he can get more involved in the offense. You bring back Rashee Rice next year, which you will. You get Xavier Worthy back next year, and you take maybe 1 or 2 of these guys that are vets and Juju, which I don't think, but maybe DeAndre Hopkins, you're like, hey, and Hollywood Brown. I don't know when you can do it, but I would almost hammer an MVP award for Patrick Mahomes next year.
Yeah.
Because then everybody's checked off the books, right? Allen gets his. Lamar's had his.
Now we can give it to somebody who actually deserves it instead of who's next.
And you give Patrick Mahomes, Rashee Rice, Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy, and bring somebody back. Whether it's Juju, whether it's DeAndre Hopkins, I don't see how he doesn't throw over 4,500 yards.
And Travis Kelce probably.
And that offensive line's
mix,
coming back. I would think. I would assume most everybody on that offensive line would be back.
Yeah, the Trey Smith one is still a question mark for me. But
I had to drive home, thinking about that.
Yeah.
From the 785, just saw a shooting star. We're good.
Okay.
Have you ever seen a shooting star?
I don't know that I
Really?
have. Yeah.
Oh, man.
I've been outside lately because, the driveway is the other side of the house from the backyard. So I've been out in the front yard lately trying to shovel at night and get all the ice up and all this kind of stuff. Do you guys have the app on your phone that you point it at the sky and it tells you all the stars that you're looking at?
Oh, yeah.
The planets that have been out over the last couple of weeks, you've seen Mars, you've seen Venus, you've seen Jupiter, the moon. It's incredible, this app on your phone. And I wish I knew the name of it off the top of my head. But you just go outside and point this thing at the sky, and it tells you exactly what you're looking at. Night sky. That's
Really?
Hey, night sky.
I just remember looking at it and be like, that's not a bull.
Yeah,
that's like a cluster of stars.
But it puts all the constellations together for you so you can see where they are. Like, it's crazy. And on clear winter nights, man, you can see a lot up in that sky.
I do love this text from the 913. So much for Veach can't draft wide receiver criticism. So, yeah.
Is Cody still on that?
Was he?
I don't know.
Okay. 6-game suspension for Rice next season? No.
6?
I think he's going to get 2.
I was going to say the same thing.
I think they're going to give him 2 because I think they're going to be like, well, he lost the entire season the year before due to injury, hasn't gotten any trouble, stayed out of the limelight, just whatever.
I was almost thinking like maybe Goodell forgets who he is.
No, come on. He doesn't. He looks in the mirror every day and goes, gosh, dang it, you're good looking. What's that? What's it, Stuart Smalley?
I'm wonderful and people love me. Something like that. Yeah.
That's what Goodell does.
Does Mac know who Stuart Smalley is?
No chance. Negative. We'll come up on the other side. The dynasty evolution. I want to bring that up on the other side because what has this Chiefs dynasty meant for not just the team, but for others outside of it involved? We do that on the other side on Fescoe and Dusty on 96.5 The Fan. Your home for Mac Morey.
Fescoe and Dusty.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
On Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Well, my friends over at Foaling are getting ready to welcome me in tomorrow night. We're having a party over at Foaling, and it is going to be fun because it is football plus bowling plus bar, and that's Foaling Warehouse, Kansas City. Come take your best shot at Casey's coolest, most outstanding, awesome sports entertainment venue located off of 435 and State Line. And I know some kids are back to school today. Others are out still for the rest of the week. Everybody's starting to develop that cabin fever. Reserve a lane at foalingkc.com and take the kiddos out there to foal around and have some fun because you're looking for that perfect indoor activity to do. You want to have the kiddos, maybe burn some of that energy off. Maybe you want to go on a date night. Maybe you want to take the family. Maybe you want to plan a party or an event. Foaling allows you to do all of that. And you can bring your own food, pizzas, salads, burgers. It doesn't matter. You can bring it all to Foaling. So reserve a lane at foalingkc.com. That's foalingkc.com. Take advantage of their world-class bar. Enjoy one of the coolest events you'll ever see. It's bowling with footballs. You're throwing footballs at bowling pins, and everybody's going to have a blast. So reserve that lane at foalingkc.com and get your foal on.
Imagine buying your next car from one dealership.
With the support of many.
With everything you'll ever need.
When you buy from any of the Balderson Auto Group dealerships, you're getting the support from all of our dealerships.
Like our 100 service bays, collision, and detail centers.
And our free exclusive lifetime warranty. No other auto group gives you that.
From north, central, south, the Balderson Auto Group has you covered.
A family committed to
excellence, growth,
and harmony.
This weekly football preview is brought to you by MD Anderson Cancer Center.
The Pro Football postseason kicks off this weekend with the wild card round. On Saturday, LA will take on Houston and Pittsburgh will play Baltimore. Sunday, Denver will head to Buffalo. We'll see Green Bay versus Philly, Washington against Tampa, and Minnesota will play Los Angeles.
At MD Anderson Cancer Center, we're doing whatever it takes to end lung cancer. Visit mdandersonlungcancer.com to learn more.
MD Anderson Cancer Center is again ranked #1 in the nation for cancer care by U.S. News & World Report's Best Hospitals rankings. Our physicians treat more types of cancers in a day than many see in their whole career. This unmatched depth of expertise, combined with our groundbreaking discoveries, gives our patients access to the most innovative treatment options. Learn more at mdanderson.org.
Kids playing in a lawn sprinkler. That's fun. Fire sprinklers. That's serious business. You seldom think about the fire sprinkler system in your commercial building, but Keller Fire and Safety thinks about sprinklers every workday, inspecting, testing, maintaining, repairing, ensuring that they'll work properly to protect people and property in case of a fire. Call Keller.
Keeping the fire marshal happy.
safety. KellerFire.com.
The Balderson Auto Group celebrates its golden anniversary.
That's over 3 million customers over the last 50 years.
Well, we've made a lot of changes along the way.
But held steadfast that we would remain a local family-run business.
And never forgetting to support the customer.
Like with our exclusive free lifetime warranty. No other auto group gives you this.
Well, it doesn't hurt that we have 1,000 vehicles to choose from.
Virtually every vehicle there is with 100 service bays plus collision and detail departments.
Thank you for helping us celebrate our golden anniversary.
Ow! Sweetie, come here. Don't worry. I see a lot of patients with the exact same thing.
Ever since the ice skating rink went in next door?
Or is it more than
Dr. Clark's business is heating up.
So many patients need my help. How will I find time to see all of them?
They need to hire a scheduler, stat.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
It's Brian Baldinger with the Journey to the Big Game, presented by Hyundai. We'll see a host of great games this weekend, one of which being a red-hot Baltimore team hosting a sluggish Pittsburgh team in an early postseason conference matchup. The last three matchups of the weekend will have Green Bay, Washington, Minnesota, all on the road as they look to exact revenge for regular season losses to the respective first-round opponents. Journey to the Big Game is presented by Hyundai. Now you can buy a new Hyundai at Amazon. Visit HyundaiUSA.com for more details.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Metal by the Foot, your metal project superstore.
Whether you're a DIY enthusiast, a contractor, or business owner, Metal by the Foot has the perfect solution for you. Located in KC and Topeka, online at metalbythefoot.com. When you need a piece of metal, remember, metal doesn't have to cost an arm or a leg, just the foot.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Lee Summit, US 50 westbound, starting to fill in from Chipman up to 470. Grandview Triangle, 49 northbound, a little sluggish coming up from Longview Road, making your way through that transition. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric Traffic Center, Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
That's no moon. That's a space station from the text line. Also from the text line on the 816. Know this date because I've put this on the calendar at the house. On the 25th, several planets will be visible and in a line in the sky.
Yeah, they pretty much are lined up right now. Like you look at the moon and then you just kind of go, the way I was looking at it last night, I was looking I guess it would be in the eastern sky. You saw the moon and Mars was starting to kind of come up over the horizon. And so they all kind of lined up last night. But every night it changes. It's different. You got to go out there and check it out. So when you're scraping that ice, just look up at the sky, man. See what's up there. There's a lot going on in a winter sky right now.
No doubt about it. Still praying for the people in California.
Yeah, man. What a bad deal. I watched a lot of that yesterday.
The Hollywood Hills are on fire now.
Yeah.
Hey, did you see the photo of Hollywood, the sign, and then behind it's just flames?
Oh, I did not see that one. Yeah, I do.
Yeah. It's almost cool, but I feel bad saying that.
Yeah, wow, that looks like a movie. It really does. Like, what's going on out there?
Escape from L.A. with Snake Plissken.
Yeah.
Now, I know you haven't seen that, Mac, and that's okay, but you should watch those Kurt Russell movies because they're awesome. Escape from L.A., baby. Snake Plissken.
But it's scary because obviously people don't know what to do. And we talked to Ben Maller earlier. You'll hear a conversation coming up at 7:15. He's out there.
Recording started.
His wife has been at work since Tuesday.
He said she slept on a couch.
Yeah, she works in law enforcement out there. So she's in Pasadena, I think. And so she's been out at work since Tuesday. And you could tell this morning, like, Ben just was not his usual kind of like, joking around, having fun, because I think there's a lot of fear out there because nobody knows where the wind's going to go, how the fires are going to go, what's going to happen. And I was watching some of the video yesterday and seeing some of these streets. It looks like Pompeii. I'm like, oh my God. Like, it looks like an abandoned city out there right now.
Did you guys study Pompeii in elementary school?
I went to Pompeii about 20 years ago, and it was intense, man, like crazy. That's what L.A. looks like right now.
It's tough. Yeah.
Scary.
Yeah. My buddy said he has family out there and that his aunt or whoever it was checked it on Facebook as safe. which I was like, power Facebook, I guess. Like, you're all right. But I was like, does she plan on getting out?
Right.
Like, because I mean, I'm sure it's chaos.
I saw a story this morning about one of the 5 people that have died already, in these wildfires.
I know this sounds facetious. Only 5 people have died?
That's
okay.
Right. That's the amazing thing. It's only been
it's
5 people.
Terrible that those 5 people are no longer with us.
Right.
But the fact that it's only been 5.
Right. Which means people are getting out. And so this family was looking for their father, grandfather, whoever, and they finally found the body in front of his house with the garden hose still in his hand.
Trying to put the fire out.
Trying to put it out, man.
Oh, that's tough.
How sad is that? Like, my heart just broke. I saw this man's picture. Not the one
charred.
With but like who he was, and I'm like, oh my God, this guy was trying to save his house, and now he's dead with the garden hose still in his hand. Are you kidding me? This is what's going on out there right now.
I mean,
so we're complaining about snow.
Yeah, exactly.
That stuff's going to be melted. We didn't lose our homes. So many people, and then State Farm canceling insurance on people 4 months ago because they just knew wildfires were going to come and they didn't have the money to pay or whatever it was. So now a lot of these folks don't even have homeowners insurance because the damn insurance companies canceled on them.
So they're not a good neighbor.
Apparently not.
Yeah, so, keep that in your thoughts. As if you do know anybody in California, hopefully they're doing okay. Dynasty evolution. This is something that I thought of yesterday. When you think about this Chiefs run and what's changed for you as a fan in the past 5 years as a fan? Like, how do your because I know there's a lot of people out there that are superstitious. I'm not really superstitious. I'm just a little stitious. And shout out Michael Scott. And I think that, everybody kind of like the first go around, like you were talking about when you and Josh did the show at Rally House and it was just a madhouse because nobody really knew. Like, you didn't know what you were going to get yourself into. Chiefs are in the Super Bowl, first time ever. And a lot of people's lifetime, and you're like, I don't really know how to celebrate this. And then, you had the downfall against Tampa. You went to the second Super Bowl, you're 1-1, whatever. And then you win another one, and then you go to another one. And now you're going on potentially going to a third straight. And I'm wondering, like, how your fandom has changed. Like, do you have a personal place that you go? Is there a friend's house you go to? Last year on After Hours, I asked the same question, kind of. And people were like, the first one, big party, but I didn't like it because I couldn't really feel the moment. I couldn't really watch the game. Kids are running around or, there's one people that are like, yeah, it's the Super Bowl. I just want to see the commercials. And then a lot of people found out that since they get to do it often, they're going to do it at their house with their family and watch it. Or there's people that are superstitious. They're like, last year we were at Tyler's house and they won. We're going back to Tyler's house. They won it again the next year. We're going back to Tyler's house to watch it again. This is one of those things where it's like, as we evolve into this dynasty, like, what is your sort of 913-586-7965? What is, like, how have you evolved watching the Super Bowl or watching playoff games when it comes to the Chiefs?
When was the last time you actually went to a Super Bowl party and didn't pay attention to the game?
Second half of the Tampa Bay game.
Okay, so you're saying even with the Chiefs involved. I was thinking
because I would have said the Rams Patriots.
Okay,
yeah.
Did you watch that game though?
Yeah, but loosely.
Yeah,
right. Because
I
was so frustrated on how that second half into the AFC Championship game where I was like, they didn't really beat them. They just kind of beat themselves, and like something just was off in the second half. So I was like, I don't really care. And then I was just like, I just hope Aaron Donald, or I'm sorry, not the Rams, but not the Patriots, the Rams and the Bengals.
That's what I was thinking you were saying too.
I was like, I just hope Aaron Donald gets his ring, and then it ended perfectly because he's like, give me my ring, and then he's out in a blaze of glory, doing his thing. But yeah, I mean that's the last time.
So I even go back further than that. I would say the year prior to Patrick Mahomes being the starter in Kansas City. And they lost that game to the Titans, right, on the stupid Derek Johnson penalty that they called, and the Marcus Mariota throwing the touchdown to himself, and Revis Island
dealt off to Ralph Revis' face.
Like Revis is like just standing there, whatever. So like that year is the last time I think we had a quote unquote true Super Bowl party, if you will, where you're just the game was on, but you're there because of the party, right? It was a thing to do. You really weren't dialed into the game,
right?
And then we had the Chiefs losing to the Patriots. And then the Patriots beating was that the Falcons year?
That was a 28-3.
Was that the 28-3 game? You couldn't really enjoy that game because you were like still kind of hungover from the loss. And then you get there and you win, and then you get there and you lose. And then that Rams-Bengal game, like I remember sitting on the couch with that game on, barely paying attention because I was, ticked off and whatnot. So, I mean, since Patrick Mahomes has been the starter, we have not had the quote-unquote true Super Bowl party where everybody just gathers and watches the Super Bowl because we've either been in it or we got knocked out in the AFC Championship game and we don't want anything to do with it. So I think it's evolved a lot, and that's been almost a decade now since you could gather and just have the game on and not really pay attention to it or have a rooting interest in it because of the successes that we've had here in Kansas City.
Because you've been in Tennessee, so how have you kind of consumed the Super Bowl? Just like buddies around the town, or do you just kind of watch it by yourself since you're the only Chiefs fan there?
Well, I've got my brothers there. I've got my dad there, so we hunker down. We get together. You know, my friends they enjoyed watching that first Super Bowl win with me, and then lately they don't really enjoy watching the games as much anymore with me. So I guess they're not as liking these winning seasons as we are. But yeah, I mean, dude, yeah, I was like every February I tell my work, be like, hey, probably going to take the Monday after the Super Bowl off because I'm going to go hard. That was like a yearly thing, and now that will not be a thing this year because we're going to be working, baby. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I mean, our job is going on as the Super Bowl is going on, which is great. That's outstanding. But
I can't wait.
I think for my standpoint, if the Chiefs somehow don't make a Super Bowl in the next 10 years, do you really care about that game?
No.
We've gotten so conditioned to being there that when you're not, you're just like,
Yeah, this stinks.
It stinks because if the Chiefs aren't there, it means they lost in the postseason to probably one of those teams that's in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, it'd be in overtime in an AFC Championship loss. That's why the Chiefs are in the Super Bowl. It's the only reason.
Yeah. Outside of the athletes and the owners and the coaches, who do you think's benefited most from the Chiefs dynasty?
Local bar owners. I really do. I mean, I know just how much money and how great business was during the Royals run. And now, that's obviously more games and every night, and it's packed. But I know when the Chiefs play versus if they have a bye week or something, the bar receipts are completely different at every tavern in town. Like the local bar owners, local business owners, those are the folks that have really benefited over the Chiefs being in the Super Bowl and being this dynasty.
I would say fake Andy.
He's benefited, yeah.
He definitely has.
Yeah.
Because, if they sucked,
I mean, you don't see any,
dude, what are you doing?
You don't see any fake, Luana Rumos walking around.
Yeah. And terribly sorry to the 816. 2018 was not the 28-3 game. It was 2017.
Yeah, 2018, I think, was the Eagles.
Yeah.
Oh, was that the Philly special game?
Yeah, because the Pats didn't go back-to-back.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry that we got it out. We were wrong by a year. Or was it technically 2018 when they played the Super Bowl? It was the 2017 season.
That's right.
The Falcons? Yeah, that would have been before that.
Well, it says it on the internet right now that they played that game on February 2007. It just says 2000. It says, what happened at the 2017 Super Bowl? New England 34, Atlanta 28 overtime.
Oh, so yeah, the 2016 season, 2017 Super Bowl.
Gotcha. Yeah. Sorry, it wasn't 2018. So wrong.
Come on, your head out of your ass.
Yeah. Why don't you blow it out your ass, Bob? You are listening to Fescoe and Dusty. Don't forget, we've made some playoff T-shirts. Thanks to our friends over at Gates Barbecue. So be on the lookout on how to get these next week. And don't forget to get Gates Barbecue for your tailgate, or if you're watching at home this weekend. We come back on the other side. The Mahomes impact. We'll explain what that means here on Fescoe and Dusty and Mac here on 96.5 The Fan, your home, Kansas City Sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty.
What the hell's wrong with your station?
On Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Well, I'll tell you what, my friends over at Underdog are having a lot of fun on their app. I'm having a lot of fun on their app, and you can as well, even in the state of Missouri, because right now, Missouri sports fans, I've got great news for you. Underdog is available to play in your state. Underdog is the best place to cash in on all of your takes during the playoffs. Which players are going to go off and which ones are going to be ice cold. And with over 5 million happy players and $2 billion won, Underdog makes it fun and easy to cash in on all of your favorite athlete performances. With their Champs game, you could win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on a player's stats when it comes to yards, touchdowns, interceptions, whatever the case may be. And Underdog is the only Champs platform that puts the power to cash out in your hands. Now you can either keep riding with your entry or tap the Win Now button to cash out whenever you want. And with Underdog's double flex option, you can even take 2 L's and turn them into a W. We got a game tonight. right? Playoff game tonight. I'm taking Riley Leonard higher than 166.5 passing yards, Drew Aller lower than 10.5 rushing yards, and Jeremiah Love higher than a half touchdown, both rushing and receiving combined. My $10 entry will get me $68.40 back in return. Underdog is the best place to play champs. Download the app, sign up with promo code BOB, and deposit now to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. That's promo code BOB. Must be 18 and over and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Booth Creek Wagyu, KC's premier Wagyu beef meat market, has even more convenient ways for you to shop. In addition to their location at 135th and Metcalf, they're now open at 95th and Knoll. Everyone deserves to elevate their beef. Whether you're looking to wow your family with an unforgettable roast this holiday season or impress your friends, neighbors, and coworkers, their Wagyu experts are ready to help you pick out something unforgettable. Booth Creek Wagyu, now with 2 locations, open 7 days a week or at boothcreekwagyu.com.
All right, football fans, buckle up, because for the first time ever, we have 5 straight days of playoff football in college and the pros. And FanDuel is celebrating with a great playoff payoff. That's a no-sweat same-game parlay every day for all 5 days. With a no-sweat same-game parlay, you can combine your bets from the same game for a chance at even bigger winnings. And if it doesn't hit, then you'll get your bonus bets back. So not only do we get to watch 5 straight days of playoff football, you also have 5 chances to win big. Just visit FanDuel.com/KFNZ. Use my promo code to be a part of this epic run. It's the great playoff payoff, and it's only on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app and official sportsbook partner of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. Opt-in required. Minimum 3-leg parlay required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus back that expires 7 days after streak. Max refund $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Every morning, we rise and shine, make breakfast, and brush away the night's rest. These routines help us start the day off right. Nature-Made vitamins are a simple step in that daily care regimen. Multivitamins with daily essentials, clinically studied probiotics for gut health support, magnesium to help relax the body. Nature-Made is made to care for you every day. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
T-Mobile 5G home internet keeps getting better. Get our fastest connection loaded with benefits. Get T-Mobile's best home internet starting at $55 a month with auto pay and any voice line. Plus, Price Lock. We won't raise your rate on internet. Check availability at T-Mobile.com/home internet.
Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. Guarantees regular monthly rate plan price of fixed wireless 5G internet data with qualifying service. After $15 bill credit with postpaid voice line plus $5 a month without auto pay with debit or bank account. Regulatory fees included for qualifying accounts. $35 connection charge applies. Speeds vary due to factors affecting cellular networks.
Football and barbecue fans, score big with Johnny's Barbecue tailgate packages. Whether you're hosting a home gate or a tailgate, Johnny's Barbecue has you covered. Check out our tailgate packages at johnny'sbbqkc.com. Located in Olathe and serving all of KC. Johnny's Barbecue. Taste the smoke.
Chiefs coverage on 96.5 The Fan is brought to you by award-winning Johnny's Barbecue in Olathe.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by the KC Boat and Fishing Show. January 9th through 12th at Bartle Hall.
Get ready for fun in the sun with screaming deals at the KC Boat and Fishing Show. January 9th through 12th at Bartle Hall with kids free admission. Take advantage of 4 days of special show pricing on hundreds of boats plus non-stop entertainment. Go to kcmoboatshow.com for more info.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Kansas side, 435 westbound before Quivira with an accident at the end of the entrance ramp. It's affecting the freeway and the service road as you make your way in through there. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric Traffic Center, Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
Head home with The Drive. Weekdays starting at 2 on 96.5 The Fan. KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City. An Odyssey Sports Station.
Nine 913-586-7965. That's the way you can engage with us. All the extra postseason games helps all the beer vendors at the stadium. That's fair.
Yeah, everybody, has benefited from this. I mean, that's what, when people say they don't like sports or why should we pay for new stadiums, and we had a stadium update to start the show today at 6 o'clock. What the Royals potentially may be doing here in the future, what the Chiefs are going to announce later today, all of that is on our podcast page at, what's our website now? 965thefan.com,
yep.
on the Odyssey app. Or on our Twitter page as well, formerly X, where you can watch that stadium update, listen to that stadium update. We'll repeat it for you later on in the show, but if you're jonesing for it right now, we started the show with what the Chiefs may announce, or not, what the Royals may announce soon, and what the Chiefs are going to announce probably in about 3 hours when it comes to their stadium. So you can check that out on the Odyssey app. But the whole, how do we get into that conversation?
Who's benefited most?
Everybody. Literally everybody. That's why when people say sports don't matter, yes, it does, because the trickle-down effect that a successful sports team has on a city is immeasurable. Isn't your quality of life better because the Royals and Chiefs are doing good? The answer is yeah. So many people are making money and doing well for themselves and creating businesses and niches for themselves based on the fact that the Royals and Chiefs have been good. For the last decade, it's been sports success here in Kansas City, and everybody benefits from that. Everybody's in a better mood when your team wins.
Yeah, my boss at Jackstack, Robin, shout out to her, sweetheart. She is a Buffalo Bills fan. She's from that area, right? So makes sense. And she always thought that this time of year was bittersweet because she's like, I'm a Bills fan, but like I'm a general manager for a store that does a lot of money on the Chiefs' success. She's like, I hate it, but I love it. And I was like, well, if you really love it, you'll want Bills Chiefs AFC Championship game in Arrowhead. I was like, then you have a chance to go, if you want to go, to watch your team lose. And also the numbers, it was astronomical because it's not only the fact that you say all these people benefit, but like Bills fans travel.
Oh, yeah.
And they're super respectful at restaurants. I'm not being facetious. Like they were super, super respectful. Like they would ask us like, where do we go? Like the game's Sunday. They'd come in Friday night, right? And I'd have a table. They'd be in their Bills jerseys. They'd talk. They say, how long you been a Chiefs fan? And I'd, joke with them like, since about 2018. And they're like, seriously? I'm like, no. Like, I'm in my 30s. I've been here since like I was young, 96, 97. Like, oh, okay. Where would you go? And then I would tell them different places that they could have fun with.
Yeah.
And then, it brings in tourism. It brings in fandom. And like,
ask people who run hotels how much they're benefiting. Here's another one that nobody even factors in, right? And I know it's a minor one, but it is a big one. Go by the downtown airport on game day. Look at all those private jets that are down there. I think what I was told for the AFC Championship game, there were 800 combined takeoff and landings from the downtown airport with private planes.
Good Lord.
And that
800?
800, that 400 flights combined takeoff and landings, right?
Wow.
So go drive by the downtown airport on game day and see all the private jets that are stacked out there. So you're paying landing fees at the airport. You're buying fuel at the airport. Like little things like that people, you don't even think about. Why would you think about a private jet? But you just talk to people around town about stuff like this, about who benefits and all that kind of stuff. And like, oh, the downtown airport, the people that are flying in for Chiefs games right now to watch Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and Andy Reid do their thing. People are coming from all over the country to watch these games, and hotels are always full. Restaurants are packed when the Chiefs are playing home games. Like, it's a financial windfall for a lot of people here in Kansas City.
One we might have missed from the 816 is that Rally House and Dick's Sporting Goods have been making a killing.
Yeah, Rally House.
I totally believe that. Like, man, good for them. But we'll have Ben Maller here in about 10 minutes. But before we get into that, the Mahomes effect in the playoffs has been nuts. The Chiefs have 24 postseason wins in franchise history. Mahomes has 15 of them.
15 of them, right? Yeah. There was not an article, but a graphic that came out from Amazon Prime yesterday. Like
a meme?
Yeah, right.
Remember that drop? Poor Bryce Harper. That's the worst thing that he ever did, and that's fine.
I like Bryce Harper. I'll ask Josh sometime.
Love Bryce Harper.
Ask Josh about Bryce Harper sometime when you get a chance. I mean, it was one of like the coolest moments we had. We're like, let's go see if Bryce Harper wants to talk. And Bryce Harper's like, yeah, whatever you guys need, sit down. We're like, oh my God, this is Bryce.
Mr. Harper.
Yeah, we were like, I can't believe how awesome this guy is. Right?
He's one of my top 3 like sports horny athletes.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that home run derby he put on, I was not dry.
Yeah. How could you not like Bryce Harper?
American flag headband in his hometown, open shirt, taco meat out, putting up raindrops.
Come on, dog. It was fantastic. He's a great dude. Like
that one guy. So you going to drink when you go to Toronto since drinking age is 18? It's a clown question, bro.
Yeah,
that guy's never been heard from.
Was that Amish guy that was standing behind Vargas?
No,
I mean Revolutionary War.
Yeah, no, that was Bill and Ted. Got back in the phone booth, man.
I don't know how I ended up on that guy the other day.
Either way, 15 of those wins from Mahomes and 24 postseason wins.
Yeah, put out this graphic of how many postseason games these franchises have won in the NFL. And before Patrick Mahomes got here, there was this allure, the Chiefs are this. No, the Chiefs had 9 playoff wins before Patrick Mahomes got to Kansas City. 9 playoff wins before Patrick Mahomes got to Kansas City, and now they have 24 playoff wins, and Patrick Mahomes is obviously responsible for 15 of those playoff wins.
Did Alex Smith only win 1?
Yeah.
Houston?
Yeah.
Only 9 teams now in the NFL have more playoff wins than the Kansas City Chiefs. They're at 24. The Giants, the Eagles, and the Raiders all have 25. Chiefs will have an opportunity to tie them. The Chargers... This is a stunning one. This is the Rams. Never mind. The Rams have 26 playoff wins. Chiefs win 2 playoff games. They then tie the Rams. The Chiefs win the Super Bowl. That would give them 27 playoff wins. That would put them 6th all-time in playoff wins. When before Patrick Mahomes arrived on campus, the Chiefs had 9 playoff wins in their franchise's history. 9. That would have put them in the bottom, quarter easy, because you look at the bottom half of this graphic, the Houston Texans, because they just showed up, have 5 playoff wins. They've got the fewest playoff wins in NFL history. The Chiefs would have been like the bottom 5 if Patrick Mahomes never got here when it comes to playoff wins all time in the NFL. He has drastically changed this entire way that we view this organization. And that's why when people say who's the most valuable player in the NFL, it's Patrick Mahomes. He's made money for businesses. He's increased the value of this franchise, made this the premier franchise in the NFL. Patrick Mahomes also has more playoff wins than 11 franchises in NFL history. 11. 34% of the NFL. Patrick Mahomes has more playoff wins than 34% of the teams in the NFL.
What's more impressive, that percentage or the fact that he's 29 years old?
That percentage.
Okay.
That percentage. He has more postseason wins than 34% of the teams in the NFL.
Don't tell Troy Aikman that. Shout out Josh Briscoe. Yeah, I mean it's insane, man. Like you're literally watching something that is. I mean, look, he's a win away from tying Joe Montana, right?
Right.
2 wins away from passing him to where it's only Brady,
right?
And if he does win a Super Bowl, this would be one of only 3 teams that have won 18 games in a season.
Yeah,
they would go 18-2 and 20 games played.
That's right.
I mean,
but they're not that good.
No, stop.
I mean, Patrick Mahomes has 15 playoff wins. The Bengals have 10.
Yeah.
In their history,
yeah.
In their all-time history, Patrick Mahomes has 15 playoff wins. The Bengals have 10, who also went 2-7 against playoff teams this year. So you weren't going to win in the playoffs anyway, losers.
But I heard we were really scared of them.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So Mahomes, again, 15 wins,
Right.
and he's been a starter for 7 years?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so here are the
and
teams.
He's 29.
And he's 29.
I mean, the numbers are insane.
Here are the teams that have less playoff wins than Patrick Mahomes in the history of their franchises. The Chargers, the Jets, the Buccaneers, the Bengals, the Falcons, the Saints, the Lions, the Panthers, the Jags, the Cardinals, the Texans.
There's a few outliers because of their time, but I mean, the Jets have been around since Namath.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the Jets have been around since the AFL. The Chargers have been around since the AFL. The Bengals have been around forever and a day. The Falcons have been around. The Saints have been around. The Lions have been around, for 100 years. The Cardinals have been around for well over 100 years, too. People don't realize Chicago, St. Louis, Arizona. And in that 100-plus years that they've been around, they have 7 playoff wins. Patrick Mahomes has more than double the playoff wins in 7 years that the Cardinals have in 100 years of being a franchise.
Sucks to suck. Someone who doesn't suck, Ben Maller. He'll join us on the other side when we get back here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City Sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty. Make sure to follow us on Instagram @TheFan965 for behind-the-scenes content from the show. Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Dusty Likens. And stop me if you've heard this before. New year, new me. Yeah, well, we've heard that before, but hey, it's not just about you. It's about the relationship that you're in to try to, keep that steady relationship going. Add some more to it. get that extra spark, have that more energy. So if you're having these sort of issues or you're having these questions in your head, let me give you the answer. It's simply Heartland Men's Health. The treatments work when the pills or the herbals fail. They have treatments with success rates well over 90%. Some treatments can even have you last an hour or more. Schedule a visit with Heartland Men's Health today. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes a medical consult with the licensed medical provider, a T and PSA test, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if the test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. They have an expert staff, and if you are like a lot of men, you could be having sex the day after your appointment. They, again, have 3 locations that can serve you. Overland Park, Kansas, Independence, Missouri, between Blue Springs and Lee Summit, and their new office in North Kansas City. So, fellas, get ahead of the curve. Get started before the new year and go see my friends at Heartland Men's Health or call them today at 844-447-6600 or visit heartlandmenshealth.com.
Now that the holidays are over, the cold weather's here, and the kids are back to their routines, we're loving Hy-Vee's Aisles Online. They make it so easy to get our groceries. All you have to do is download the app or go to Hy-Vee.com. Choose your store, select your items, and Hy-Vee does all the shopping. All you got to do is pick up your order or have it delivered to your home. And listen to this. Right now, you're going to get $10 off any $125 Aisles Online purchase. Save time, save money. What could be better? Only at Hy-Vee.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks is proud to offer an exclusive and extensive collection of some incredibly rare bourbons, whiskey, and tequilas. Plus, check out our barrel selections that are handcrafted by our team and bottled just for you. Supply is limited. Cheers!
When something happens to your kitchen, you might say,
"This is ludicrous."
But that won't fix your home. That will only get you the rapper, Ludacris.
Having trouble? Don't panic. Don't be alarmed. You need to file a claim? Holla at State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
That's right. You can file a claim on the app or call us.
Thanks, Mr. Chris.
No matter how ludicrous the situation, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm, Bloomington, Illinois.
It's better over here.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has an exclusive rate plan just for you. Right now, get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings versus Verizon and AT&T. Plus, you can get one of the latest 5G phones free when you add a line. That's right, a free 5G phone. Experience all this and more on America's largest 5G network. So why wait? At T-Mobile, customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Just go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 or visit your local store to make the switch.
With AutoPay using debit or bank account plus taxes and fees, 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Free phones up to $300 off with 24 monthly bill credits and qualifying new line for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Contact us before canceling entire account to continue remaining bill credits. Bill credits end if you pay off device early. See details at T-Mobile.com.
Okay, so that's with bacon, cheese, lettuce, tomato, grilled onions, ketchup, and hold the pickles.
You know what you like. You wouldn't order your burger just any way. Why should your sports talk be any different? With Chapters on the free Odyssey app, you can choose the topics that matter to you most. Whether it's reactions, matchup previews, injury updates, or team news, quickly find what you really care about. Your football talk, your way. Download the free Odyssey app and start listening today.
After 30 years of doing knee and hip replacements, Dr. Mitchell Shinecup thought there had to be a better way, and that led him to regenerative medicine.
I was one of the first orthopedic surgeons to do it.
Now, after 20 years of successful orthobiologic treatments, lots of clinical data, research, and teaching, Dr. Shinecup is National Medical Director at QC Kinetics.
They've done an amazing job of becoming the most significant orthobiologic and regenerative medicine practice in the United States. QC is so far ahead of the game in its science, its protocols, its people, its facilities.
So if you have chronic pain from arthritis and you want to avoid drugs and surgery, call the experts in this revolutionary field, QC Kinetics.
To give patients real lasting relief from pain, that's what I live for. That's my mission.
Get your free consultation now. Call QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299.
816-412-6299. You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Kansas side, 435 westbound, heavy from Antioch over to Quivira with an accident at the end of the entrance ramp. Blocks 2 right lanes on the freeway. Service road affected as well. Northland, 435 southbound crossing the river. Accident on the bridge has only the right lane getting by. Delays from Parvin and building. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric Traffic Center, Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
Diving back into it, I love this text. We got into your evolution of watching the Chiefs over the years. Not so much superstition as it is tradition, but we get together every year with family and have a 5-hour party and feast. Homemade smoked sausage, deer ravioli.
Whoa.
Sausage?
You just glazed over homemade sausage.
Sausage.
I need more, man. That sounds outstanding.
316. Homemade smoked sausage, deer ravioli.
Okay,
sign me up.
Are you a deer guy?
Big venison guy.
Are you? Okay.
Oh, yeah. If you're going to hunt it, you better eat it.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree. I'm not a hunter. I've had venison one time recently, and I'm trying to think of where it was. You got to have this venison.
We just made chili, and we use half venison and half those little Philly cheesesteaks meat that you can get at Costco if you make the Phillies. Have you seen those in the freezer? We did 3 of those and a pound of venison. Oh,
where did you get the pound of venison from?
Buddy, that goes hunting.
I'll tell you the best chili I ever did have. Elk chili.
I'm sure.
Have you ever had elk before?
No.
Oh,
but I would smash.
Phenomenal meat. Phenomenal. Lean. Just so good. You can't eat bear, though, because it tastes like trash.
Smash. I love venison. I will pay for any, and I know it from avid hunters. They say that the jerky is a pain in the the
of
ass.
Course, yeah.
But I will pay whatever you have. The jerky sticks. A buddy of mine used to get them all the time, and they were jalapeno cheese and venison, deer sticks, the big long cylinders.
Right, yeah.
So that was weird the way I described it on camera. But again, they said pulled pork flautas, wings, and desserts, and watch the game.
You make your own flautas? Do you fry them or do you bake them? You got to fry them, right?
And they said,
air fryer.
Do they have room for an extra?
What was the other one? You said pork flautas and then what?
Wings, and then desserts.
The wings are just thrown in as an accoutrement to all of that.
Wings.
Yeah. The host is a 49ers fan, so at least this year they can enjoy the Super Bowl. It is a tradition that everybody has. The evolution of being in this, because you had mentioned earlier several times this year, or I guess last year, don't take it for granted.
Right.
Keep enjoying this, because eventually, a lot of these guys will no longer be in the NFL, including the quarterback, and you'll look back and be like, man,
I wish we were there again. Yeah, right.
No
and
doubt.
then we last segment going through all of these other franchises that have been around and have no sort of playoff success, and then to see what we have, I think we can all agree there. And I don't think it's a lot, but it's enough that take this for granted, man. What we're going through right now. Imagine being a Cardinal fan and being a 100-year-old franchise and having 7 playoff wins.
Yeah, tough. But it is a Thursday. It's 7:20-ish, so you know what that means.
It is time to talk to our guy, Ben Maller, of course, brought to you by The Landing in Liberty, and you can catch him on Fox Sports Radio overnights right here on 96.5 The Fan. And, Ben, I want to start with you and L.A. and everything that's going on out there. How are you holding up during all these wildfires, my man?
Yeah, hey, it's great to be on with you guys again. It's crazy, man. I've lived here my entire life. I've never seen anything like this. Doing the show from our studio, the Fox Sports Radio studios, there were fires all around. We drive at night, obviously. We work at night, and to see the hills all lit up. There've always been fires here, but never this many at the same time. The LA basin was literally surrounded by on each side, the ocean side and the mountain side, fire. It's craziness, and so there's not enough people to put out the fire, and bunch of people. My sister-in-law actually has been evacuated. I've got some other friends of mine that have been displaced from their homes, and they don't even know if their homes are there or not. So it's really just craziness. And it's even better, though, because I get to go in every night, Bob, and talk about sports. So I'm very happy to do that. I'm enjoying that very much. But I feel very bad. The first responders, my wife is a 911 operator. She's been away from the house for several days, sleeping at work. So this is a crazy time. Did not have this on my bingo card to start 2025, but here we are, and better days ahead. Better days ahead.
You would hope better days ahead, and we're all thinking about you, and worrying about you, and wondering and watching and all this stuff, this crazy stuff that's going on. But that's why we're here, right? The toy department, if you will, of life, to kind of take people's minds off it. And I had this recollection the other day. Driving, I'm like, I think January has now become the best sports month of the year. People always want to debate March and October, but I mean, January has it all. College football playoff, NFL playoff, college football free agency, coach firings. Like, January's great.
Yeah, I was actually going to send you a message this week. I said, this is one of the great weeks for sports radio. And I truly believe this is one of the most amazing weeks for sports radio because you have the gear up for the NFL playoffs. You got the Final Four in college football. But you got all these coaching rumors, all this chatter. I mean, it is really a wonderful time to soak everything up that's going on in the world of our existence in sports radio. But like the NFL stuff, the coaching carousel, which I do think they should wait. I'm taking advantage of the fact that they do it while the playoffs are going on, but they should wait until all this is done. I don't know why you need to hire a coach in January if you're not in the playoffs. I've never understood that. No one's been able to explain that to me, but they continue on with that. But the coaching carousel has been great. The Gerard Mayo story in New England I thought was hilarious, the way that was handled by the Patriots. I mean, it's one thing after another. So it's been a lot of fun, and it all gets going for real on Saturday with the Texans. You know, the Texans are the least popular team in the playoffs because they're the first playoff game. So that's why that game. Yeah, it's like in basketball when the Toronto Raptors used to play the first NBA game. You know, they were the least popular. So whoever plays that first early game on Saturday, that's the least popular for TV. So in this case, it's the Texans. Enjoy that.
Yeah, it's interesting. The Texans are, consider that. I do want to ask you, have you heard any word about, I know Bob has talked about it with us, Mac and I, about the Rams game that has maybe had some sort of effect with what's going on with the wildfires?
Yeah, so the Rams aren't playing until Monday at SoFi, and there is a tentative plan to move that game over to Phoenix if the fires continue, Dusty. And the winds, as you know, I'm not a newsman or a weather person. I can play one on the radio, but as I understand it, I have watched a lot of news recently and paid attention on the internet or whatever. The winds are supposed to keep howling through tomorrow on Friday. So the Rams aren't supposed to play until Monday at home. And they'd have to decide, I would think, by Saturday morning probably whether or not, or Saturday afternoon, whether or not they're going to move that game for logistical reasons, because the Vikings are flying out from Minnesota. The Rams would have to go to Arizona. So I don't think that'll be an issue. The Rams play in Inglewood, which is pretty far inland. The question is whether people will be able to attend the game because of all that's going on with the fires. But at this point, I think that game will be played in Inglewood, barring the fires getting worse, which hopefully, obviously, we're on the backside of the worst part of this. But yeah, there is a chance that game gets moved, which normally they only move games for like weather events, meaning snow or something like that, right? It's usually not blizzards, not because of fire, but here we are.
Well, what about the Chargers, though? I know they're traveling and they're playing that Houston Texan team, but I mean, they've got to be caught up in everything this week as well. You got to think the Chargers and the Rams are at a major disadvantage this week.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, and a lot of the areas that have burned are some of the wealthier areas where some of these athletes live in those areas, so they've got homes there. So that is absolutely a factor, and you got to compartmentalize, if possible, the Chargers. Going to Houston and favored in that game on the road and all that, and there's guys that are going to have to leave their families behind. I don't know when they're leaving. I assume they're leaving later today or tomorrow morning for Houston, the Chargers. So that's definitely in the back of their mind. And the Rams facility, way out there. There's no real fire danger where they're at this point. But I mean, the thing about it is the crazy guys, like every day, every hour depends on which direction the wind blows. Like it literally is changing these Santa Ana winds that we have here. And we haven't had any measurable rain in forever. So everything's a tinderbox. Just it's craziness is what it is. So it's definitely a factor for the Chargers and Rams. But, it's life. It's just like, when you're in a place where the weather's terrible and you got to leave your family and that. I mean, it's obviously a little different with the fire because you might have nothing to come back to, but you got to roll with the punches.
Outside of weather and the NFL tonight, there's we finally get some action, man. I mean, I know that like you're blessed to have the NBA and hockey out there, but here we have snow and we have Chiefs and Royals, and then we kind of piggyback on everything else. But Notre Dame, Penn State, I guess my main question for you is, who do you see having more on the line with this? Notre Dame's head coach and Freeman, or is it Franklin and Penn State? Because Franklin's always been told, can he win against big teams? Can he win those big games? And then you look at Freeman, and it's like, man, you win this game and get to the college football finals. You might put a lot of people on panic alert in the NFL because, hell, if Iowa State's coach can get an interview from the Bears, I don't see why Freeman can't.
Yeah, so I think it's Notre Dame. I mean, Notre Dame's been a pretty dormant program. They're like the Yankees or the Lakers or something like that, but they haven't really been all that good in a long time. And here's their golden opportunity, right? Set up perfectly for them. It's the big TV window on Thursday night. Everyone will be watching this game, and it's it's Freeman. Now Penn State's got their own issues. Although I am pulling for Penn State, Dusty. I work the show after mine is hosted by LeVar Arrington, a proud Penn State alumnus. And one of the other guys that works on that show is Brady Quinn, who went to Notre Dame. So they've been fighting it out all week. But I like LeVar more, so I'm taking Penn State. It's just a personal thing. So I am going with Penn State in that game. I'm looking forward to watching it. I'm so used. I don't know about you guys, but on Monday night I was looking for an NFL game to watch. I'm so used on Monday night, and now we're into the playoffs, so there's no Monday night. And I know tonight I'm going to be like, "Where's the Thursday night NFL game?" But now I don't need to watch NFL because I got Notre Dame and Penn State. And I was thinking about like which matchup TV wants. Because I'm always worried about TV people. I would think it's Notre Dame and Ohio State, right? That's who they would want to have. I think we can all agree on that because Ohio State's been really good for a long time, and Notre Dame's a national program, so that would be the dream matchup for TV. Penn State and Texas doesn't have the same razzmatazz to it.
No, it really doesn't. And quite honestly, when you said Penn State and Texas, I just kind of inside felt myself go, not that interested in that one. But Ohio State, Notre Dame, I think even the casual fan can get fired up. Are you taking Ohio State tomorrow night over the Texas Longhorns?
Yes, I am. I'm not a believer in Coach Sark and the Longhorns. And listen, the Buckeyes had their own issues, but they have been absolutely monster mashing the last couple of weeks. And so I don't believe in momentum. I don't think that's a thing, but I do believe in confidence, and they're a very confident football team right now. I don't know about the point spread. I think it's 5.5 right now at AT&T Stadium there, Jerry's World or whatever it's called there in Arlington. So, I think we're going to get Ohio State, and I think Penn State is going to beat Notre Dame. But that's pretty much a toss-up game. So Penn State, an all Big Ten matchup. I did like that. The coaches have been fighting as they were kind of poking each other in the Penn State and Notre Dame game about the fact Notre Dame should be in a conference and they're not in a conference, and that whole thing, which is the age-old battle royale when it comes to Notre Dame. The amount of money Notre Dame's making from this little sojourn into the college football playoff is just bananas. You don't have to share it with anybody. They're keeping everything. Just great for them financially.
Yeah, Texas 6-point Texas 6-point underdogs. I love them that they get Bevo back and they're playing in Texas. Shifting back over to the NFL, I want to bring this up with you because I think this weekend is kind of there. It depends on where you pick and choose, where you look at what's interesting, what's not. Because a lot of times there's a couple of games where it's like 33-14. You're like, why did I watch this? I think the LA game is interesting. I think them being favorites against Houston on the road is fun. I love the Rams game on Monday night. I love them being a 1.5-point underdog at home against Minnesota. And then the one I'm intrigued in is, and I kind of want your opinion on this, is I feel like Philadelphia isn't getting enough sort of like focus on it. Maybe that's just because they're East Coast, we're in the middle of the Midwest, and the Chiefs are just, going for a three-peat in the storylines and whatnot. But like, Do you think there's a lot of pressure on Philadelphia? I mean, they're a 4.5-point favorite. I think they could absolutely house in their matchup. But again, 4.5-point favorites. Everyone it seems to be nervous about Jalen Hurts, but I don't know why he's going to be out of the league for 28 days. Whereas, like, the Chiefs, they get rusty after 24. But, like, to me, it's not really the concussion. It's like Jalen Hurts hasn't played football in a month. And Philadelphia seems to always kind of figure out who they are, which is never a good thing this time of year.
Yeah, well, it's a massive game because if the Eagles go out there and poop the bed, Nick Sirianni's back on the hot seat. We're having conversations. Is Nick Sirianni going to keep his job? Does Bill Belichick leave North Carolina to go coach the Philadelphia Eagles? That becomes a storyline. And the Eagles, last year, they fell apart, and they were terrible the last month or 2 months of the season. Then they lost to Tampa Bay in the playoffs. They've obviously been much better this year. But, yeah, the layoff is a factor. Plus, well, as much as Lamar Jackson gets killed for being playoff Lamar, Jalen Hurts has not exactly been a world beater in the playoffs. It doesn't get a lot of talk, but Jalen Hurts' numbers are down across the board in the playoffs. He's not as good a player. He doesn't elevate his game. So the Packers are there's something about that team that there's something off. And Jordan Love, there's talk, will he play? Is he healthy? Either both these quarterbacks have issues, but I don't trust the Eagles, and so I would, from a gambling standpoint, I would lean. We're doing the TV show later today. I would take the Packers plus the points, but I've been terrible this year, so take that with a grain of salt.
All right, Ben, before we let you go, who does win this weekend in the NFL? Give me your teams that are moving on.
Yeah, so I think the Chargers will move on. The Texans are done. I'm going to take the Ravens, but they will not cover against the Steelers. I'm going to take the Bills, obviously, but I think that'll be a closer game in Buffalo. I'll take the Eagles to win but not cover. I like the Buccaneers. I think that game will be lopsided. Tampa Bay will win big. And you can ram it all day. You can ram it all night. The Rams will get her done on Monday night as Sam Darnold will cost himself about $80 million by stinking up the joint Monday night.
No doubt. The last 2 weeks as well. Ben, stay safe out there from those fires, and we'll talk to you again next week.
All right. Thanks, fellas.
See you. That's Ben Maller of Fox Sports Radio, all brought to you by the Landing in Liberty. Get on up to the Landing in Liberty and get my pretzel, get Ben's chicken tenders, and get Mac's mac and cheese.
Wait, right. What? You have a menu item?
Yeah, mac and cheese. It's on the menu. It's on almost every menu in the world. Every time I go to a restaurant, Mac's menu item is right there. Mac and cheese.
Mac's awesome.
Yeah. Did you ever think about marrying somebody named Cheese so you guys could be Mac and cheese? No? All right.
That's great. That's good for you, man. I don't know what my food item would be. Lycan's Locks.
Oh, would be good.
That's
I
good.
love a good salmon lock, man.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. 913-586-7965. What would my food item be? Dusty, like, you can't really put a food next to Dusty.
Dusty, I don't like that. Yeah, I was trying
Dusty's
to think.
Donuts. Not eating one. Yeah.
I just want to win, Jen.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Dusty's Donuts is really making me laugh. I like it.
It's not happening. Like,
I'm not going there.
You're not going there with Dusty's
I
Donuts?
think so.
maybe one day when we evolve in this world, you can go to like a dispensary and be like, Lycan's is lettuce.
I just want to win, Jen.
You know?
Dusty's Donuts. I really do like that one a lot. Like,
Yeah, I'll do the Dusty Donut. Oh, God. Not happening. Yeah. Yeah, that's not happening.
Ben Maller mentioned something there at the end, and I want to get your opinion on it, Mac and Cheese and Dusty, and you guys on the text line as well. If Sam Darnold goes out there and goes belly up, okay, the last 8 quarters would not have been great. Is he now a highly coveted free agent, or are we recency biased like we always are in the NFL when it comes to everything, basically? You know, you're a week-to-week league, and he said Sam Darnold cost himself, like, tongue-in-cheek, $80 million. But if Darnold goes out there on Monday night and plays like he did on Sunday night, are you feeling real confident if you're another team that you want Sam Darnold, or if you're even Minnesota that you want to bring Sam Darnold back? In the biggest moments, he saw ghosts.
That's tough because the narrative would then be he can't win the big game. And you'd have 2 sample sizes.
Right.
But that's where we're at in this world. That's just the name of the game. I mean, Lamar Jackson's won 2 MVPs. He's been to the AFC Championship game, and it's like, can he win the big one? And he's 28 years old. right? We just gave Mahomes' numbers. He's 29. So far advanced, right? So it's, I think that.
Put yourself in the fan base shoes of, let's say, I can't use the Jets because he already played there. Let's say the Tennessee Titans. They got the first overall pick.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. They got the first overall pick. There's no quarterback worthy of the number 1 overall pick, probably not even a top 10 pick, even though 2 or 3 will be taken in the top 10. Fine, that's why general managers get fired.
Mm-hmm. Top 5.
So if you're the Tennessee Titans as a fan, let's pretend you're a Tennessee Titan fan, and they either sign or trade for, because they may franchise him in Minnesota, which they should do. You either sign or trade for Sam Darnold. Are you excited as a Titans fan if he poops the bed in L.A. this weekend after he already dirtied the sheets against the Lions? Are you excited about that? Put yourself in that fan base's shoes. I would say probably not.
I'll give you an example. Were you excited when we got Matt Castle in Kansas City?
Yeah.
Same situation.
But he was 11-5 coming from the Patriots.
This guy's 14-3.
I know, but his performance, we weren't as dialed in, obviously, in 2008.
I'm done getting years wrong.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Whenever it was that Castle came over, who was really dialed into that 11-5 Patriots season, right? They were still 11-5 that year. They didn't make the playoffs under Matt Castle, so it wasn't like there weren't as many national TV games back then, other than Sunday or Monday night, you weren't dialed into every single game like we are now. So that's why I asked that question. Matt Castle was 15 years ago now, or whatever it was that he came to Kansas City. The NFL has changed a lot. We've become more of a live-in-the-moment fan base in the NFL than we ever were before. So that's why I ask, if he doesn't play well, now you've got 8 quarters of meaningful football, are you excited as a fan base to get Sam Darnold as you would have been before Christmas?
From the 816, Sam Darnold would be great in a perfect system with a good coach. If he goes to Chicago or the Titans, his career is over. He should stay put with the Vikings, and they should sign him for 3 years. A Baker Mayfield-type contract.
Maybe the Vikings don't want him because they did draft JJ. I think the Vikings are going to have trade offers for both of those guys out there, and they're going to look at whatever the best trade offer is back in return.
From the 515, I'm a Vikes fan. If Sam botches this next game again, we are ready for McCarthy.
Wow. Yeah, and see, Viking fans are too. Yeah.
What have you done for me lately? What have you done for me lately?
No, I think Ben Maller with you guys said $80 million. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. I think we're going to talk about it tomorrow. Playoff quarterbacks with the most pressure on them. Sam Darnold's probably near top of the list just for money purposes, man. He could lose or make a lot of money this next week.
Yes, he can.
No doubt about it. More food items coming in of what my food item will be called. Dusty's blank or Lycan's blank or whatever. There's some hilarious ones. 913-586-7965. It segues perfect into our next segment that we do every Thursday at 7:45, Smash or Pass, here on Fescoe and Dusty and Mac on 96.5 The Fan, your home, Kansas City Sports.
Smash. Fescoe and Dusty. Subscribe and watch the show on YouTube by going to our channel at The Fan 965, Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you're headed up to the airport, you're going to want to use my friends over at Park and Go, because not only do they have a great customer service experience, but all spots are covered parking. And we're supposed to get more snow coming up over the next, 12 hours or so. It's going to snow more, another 2, possible 3 inches. And so if you're flying out of town, you want to make sure your car is covered, because there's nothing worse than coming back from a long trip and seeing your car covered in snow. And you're like, what am I going to do? But if you park at Park and Go, you don't have to worry about it. All spots are covered parking, and their customer service is epic. You make your reservation at bookparkandgo.com, or like my friend Emily does with her easy-to-use Park and Go app. Prepay to save money. You'll get their lowest rate, and then you're done. You've got that covered parking spot reserved for your trip. So when you show up on the day of your flight and give them your reservation number, they're going to direct you to that spot that's covered and ready for you. And as soon as you get out of your car, the van meets you and takes you right to the airport terminal. You're there and ready to go. When you get back, Park and Go is awesome. Grab your bags, walk outside. Hey, there's the bus. Just jump on it, and it's right back to the trunk of your car. So do what we did and join their frequent parker program and earn points towards free parking. Reserve your spot today at bookparkandgo.com. The best deals in parking. Bookparkandgo.com. Park and Go, family owned and operated.
Imagine buying your next car from one dealership.
With the support of many.
With everything you'll ever need.
When you buy from any of the Balderson Auto Group dealerships, you're getting the support from all of our dealerships.
Like our 100 service bays, collision, and detail centers.
And our free exclusive lifetime warranty. No other auto group gives you that.
From north, central, south, the Balderson Auto Group has you covered.
A family committed to
excellence, growth,
and harmony.
Playoffs? We're talking about playoffs? You bet we are. Get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Scoring touchdowns is key to winning in the playoffs, and you can score big by betting on them at DraftKings, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple, like a player to score 6. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. New DraftKings customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code 965. That's code 965 for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over, Kansas only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort.
The Balderson Auto Group celebrates its golden anniversary.
That's over 3 million customers over the last 50 years.
Well, we've made a lot of changes along the way,
But held steadfast that we would remain a local family-run business.
and never forgetting to support the customer.
Like with our exclusive free lifetime warranty. No other auto group gives you this.
Well, it doesn't hurt that we have 1,000 vehicles to choose from.
Virtually every vehicle there is with 100 service bays plus collision and detail departments.
Thank you for helping us celebrate our golden anniversary.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Northland 435 southbound crossing the river. Accident has you down to 1 lane. Delays from around 69 highway, very heavy and through there. Kansas side 435 westbound bogs down at Metcalf, stays very heavy over to Quivira with an accident blocking 2 right lanes. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric Traffic Center, Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
Oh boy, look at that trooper! A lot of names coming in for the Dusty food item. The Likens loaded tots sound fire.
The Likens loaded tots are really good.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that one.
This one's a little bit of a stretch. The Likens Lick Me Lollipops, bourbon flavored.
Yeah, it's a little bit much there.
I mean, I'm in.
Yeah, that's a little much for me.
Dusty's Duck Fat Fries, sign me up. Dusty Mountain Oysters. Ooh.
I like the way that they did that, though. It works. I do like that. Way to go. You get the day off. Unless you've been home last few days with your kids and you want to go to work, then by all means go to work.
We get all 3 of our names in this one. Dusty's Dates, Fescoe's Footlongs, and Max Meat. That's a tough restaurant to get into. That's a tough one. Not bad. From Micah in Denver, Dusty, you eat glizzies all day. So Dusty's glizzy is your dish, LOL.
I kind of like that.
I do love me a hot dog, man.
I love a good hot dog.
Best hot dog you ever gets on the 9th after the 9th hole on a golf course.
Everybody says that, yeah.
It's true, man.
Because you're hungry and there's nothing else, and it's an oasis.
They're doing something with those hot dogs at golf courses, man. I don't know what they're doing back there. If they're in the back injecting it with,
yeah,
I don't know.
Just give me one with sauerkraut and mustard. That's it, man.
See, at Hoots Hollow, I found this out, which is a golf course in either Harrisonville or Pleasant Hill, whatever you want to call it. And they have like just this smorgasbord of condiments. And what I've started to do when I go to because the 9th hole is like just right of the clubhouse, and then you take the cart path over to the 10th. And on the left side, you go up the stairs, you go to Hoots Hollow. There's this wonderful lady that takes care of you. And I always get a restock of beer. And then I get a hot dog, and they have horseradish sauce.
Ooh.
And I do horseradish, mustard, and relish. And I don't talk, which is weird, for about 5 minutes. And they're like, you all right over there? And I'm just like, horseradish Joker smile.
Oh, that sounds good on a hot dog, actually.
It's the Heinz horseradish package. I put that on one side. I put the relish on the other, and then I do the drizzle of mustard over the top. It's fantastic, dude. Not a horseradish guy?
I don't like any of those things.
But you probably eat ketchup on your hot dog, don't you? Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing wrong.
Or plain.
Eat your dog the way you want to eat it. I'm not gonna get mad at anybody for that. But I mean, like, I'll tell you what, underrated item on a hot dog is just,
that's like horseradish.
There it is. Yeah.
Nice.
That's really good. So I do like Max cheese. I think that's kind of where we need to go.
Oh, gosh.
Smash.
Good thing you're not in Australia. It'd be like Max from Under Cheese. No, but this week's edition of Smasher Pass, since a relaxation weekend, right? I don't know.
Yes. We earned this weekend. We have no stress this weekend whatsoever.
You say we, like as us.
That's right, as fans. I mean,
you guys were off for 2 weeks.
Who doesn't stress watch games?
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say it, like, if you're not, then maybe you're doing it wrong. Like, every game you're stressed. Even though I know they're going to win every game, you're still stress watching these things.
Dusty's Dog, another one. I don't know. Dusty's Dynamite Tacos. Let's do that.
That's good.
Big taco guy. Dusty's Deli, Dusty's Duck Tartare. You ever had tartare?
I have.
I think so,
Funky, but good for some reason. I don't know what it is.
Be honest. Do you really like it?
Yeah, I went to the Town and Company, great place, and I had their beef tartare with my buddies. Yeah. And they came with almost like, it looked like pork rind shells. It's tough because you look at it and you're like, that just looks like cold hamburger helper. But for some reason, I don't know what it is, it works.
It does.
I don't know what it is.
Like that. We had it. I can't remember when, but we had it, and the kids are even like, "That's not bad."
Dusty's Dumplings, hard pass. Dirty Werewolf.
You're not a dumpling guy?
Not with that name. That's like meatloaf. We've got the Butt Boy Burgers.
There it is. I was wondering if we were going to get one like that.
And then there's no way this is true. If it is 913, I apologize. Dusty is the name of a brand of cigarettes.
No, you're thinking of Misty.
Oh,
okay.
I think. I know Misty is a brand of cigarettes. I don't know that I've never heard of Dusty cigarettes before.
Dusty, what's the appropriate amount of beers to drink when playing an 18 on a hot summer day?
1 beer a hole.
That's when the seltzers come out. You can ask Rob Brenton. We get together, and he'll be like, "What do you want to do? You want me to bring it, or you want to bring it?" And I'll be like, "I'll get it," and I'll get like an 18-pack of High Noons, throw them in the cooler. We're on our way, and it's 9 apiece because you're sweating out at least 3 of those, eating a hot dog, being responsible, and you're all right. But Smasher Pass this week, I found this article because it's a stressless weekend. I think for football. Now, I'm not saying about life. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that me included, as we thumb and nail through the economic struggle this week of scammers. I'll never get scammed again, damn it. But I say that. But no,
just don't answer the phone. You got nothing.
Yeah, I never thought, but I have not missed Facebook.
I told you wouldn't, right? Like at first you're like, what am I going to do? And then you're out of it for 12 hours. And you're like, it's the greatest thing ever.
Right.
Time suck that thing is.
Finally not getting DM'd by a bunch of babes. But I looked this up, and it's Taste of Home. And it's the 52 football foods no one should go without. So, obviously, I'm not going to give you all 52. Let's go through it.
I thought we go all
we can go quick.
No.
Cheesy meatball sliders.
That's what I'm looking at right
now.
Good one.
Smash. Not hard to make. Smash. Honestly.
Yeah, it looks easy.
You just go get a bag of frozen meatballs or make your own, which meatballs really aren't that hard to make.
They're
I say
really
that
not.
oh, you're a chef.
But
They're really
just go
not.
buy a bag of meatballs.
Yeah,
it's easy.
cut the time.
Yeah.
King's Hawaiian, provolone cheese, marinara sauce.
Done.
Over.
Yeah.
And it's that quick. I've done them before. So, smash on that. Football cake pops, too much work.
Too much work, but my wife's friend makes the best cake pops ever. Carrie Clinkenbeard, shout out. Best cake
That's a real
pop.
name?
Yeah.
Clinkenbeard?
Yeah, Clinkenbeard.
Oh, I thought it was Clinkenbeard. I was like, dude, that's like is his nickname Cheers?
Yeah. No, she does an unbelievable, they're so moist. They're the best things you'll ever eat. I mean, you take a bite, you're like, this is the greatest cake
I do love those, what are they, Oreo balls? Have you ever had those?
Yes.
Dude, I turn into like White Goodman from Dodgeball at the very end.
Yeah, of course.
Frickin' Chuck Norris. Yeah, that's what I look like, dude. Spicy honey sriracha game day dip.
Nah, I'm out on that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
What about buffalo chicken egg rolls?
Yes.
Yeah, that sounded good, right? Yeah.
Touchdown brat sliders with the sour cream and the cheddar sour and cream ruffles on top.
Damn, might as well.
Did you see the picture?
Yeah.
Oh, mama.
What about maple bacon Rice Krispie treats?
I don't like sweet and salty.
Okay.
And that seems a bit extreme.
That is a lot.
Smash.
Yeah, I mean, if
Sweet
they're
and salty.
yeah, like I do love. I will say this: I love the homemade style Rice Krispie treats over the Kellogg's or whatever it is, like the one in the blue wrapper.
The pre-made ones, yeah.
Too artificial for me. Like I buy one of those and like both my jaws, like I turn into Kanye West singing Through the Wire.
Yeah, a lot of preservatives in there.
Oh yeah.
What about pulled pork taters?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Soft beer pretzel nuggets?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No
with the
question
fake
for me.
nacho cheese. I don't want like the gourmet. Give me the canned
want the
cheese
canned
that like
cheese?
you'd get at Kauffman Stadium or Arrowhead or something like that. For sure, I would do that.
What about popcorn cookies?
Oh,
Chocolate chip cookies, basically with popcorn in them.
I don't know.
Again, you're not a salty sweet guy. I think I would
I'm
like
a chocolate guy, but maybe.
I'm not a huge.
Are you a Hershey's guy though?
Is that what it is? Is that the chocolate? Because I could do a little bit of Hershey's chocolate.
It says it's so much fun to surprise people with the crusted popcorn and these yummy cookies. They're definitely a distinctive cookie on the holiday tray. I don't know if I want popcorn in my cookie. Pizza Stromboli, if you want to make it, I'll smash it.
If you want to make that, you go ahead.
That's something I bet I will give him respect. That's something I bet Cody Tapp would make, and it would be absolutely gas.
Yeah.
I mean, 100%. That's a baking item.
Right.
Savory cracker snack mix. I just go buy the bold and tasty Chex Mix.
Yeah,
and throw
just
it in a
throw it
bowl
out
like that. I don't need to.
What about double chocolate Rolo cookies with pretzels?
Again?
Double chocolate Rolo cookies with pretzels.
My sister's made those before. They're awesome.
I bet they are.
It's got the Rolo pretzel. You put it in the oven, it just kind of melts down.
No.
These are different.
No, this is like a chocolate cookie with the Rolo and pretzel mixed in, where the pretzels are broken up, the Rolos are broken up, and it's all put into the batter, and then boom, done.
Okay.
They look good.
The easiest one on the list, it's smashed chili queso dip. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean,
all in.
Somebody's got a Rotel that they put, Italian sausage and hamburger in, throw it in there together, or like a can of Hormel chili. You'll never know. Smash.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Smash.
Root beer pulled pork nachos?
Yeah,
Give it
because
a shot.
you're cooking the pork in the root beer.
Okay.
And so you're just putting.
Ooh, now I see these double chocolate Rolo cookies.
Yeah.
I would probably try that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course
For
you
sure.
would. Yeah.
No doubt about it. Smash or pass here on Fescoe and Dusty. Coming up on the other side, Nate Taylor in about 30 minutes, 25 minutes. But we dive into the college football playoff that starts tonight. I love the game time, 6:30. I'm getting older.
You are.
I'm getting older.
We haven't even done this a year, and you're like 6:30. Yes.
Who doesn't love that, right?
I'm all in
I
before
love
10.
that. We'll talk Penn State, Notre Dame with Fescoe, Mac, and Dusty here on 96.5 The Fan. You're home for Smash or Pass.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty.
I just want to say how awesome it is to have Bob Fescoe and Legend Likens on every morning to start my day. I freaking love you guys.
On your home for Kansas City sports, 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Mac Morey. The Super Bowl, as you know, is right around the corner. So what's your plan? Are you going to do the same thing you do every year, or you ready to step it up and try something even better? You're going to the Verizon Super Bowl Fan Fest at Kansas City Live in the Power and Light District. It's on February 9th. It's going to be a Super Bowl experience like you've never had before. You'll get exclusive access to the stadium where your favorite players make history. You can meet the game's most legendary players, all while enjoying live music and crushing game day bites, maybe even a game day beverage. Super Bowl, it only comes once a year. Verizon Super Bowl Fan Fest. You in? Tickets, they're limited. You don't want to miss out. Visit your local Verizon store and find out about free tickets today. You must be 18 years or older to attend. Additional terms and conditions can apply. See VerizonFanFest.com for more details.
It's just not normal. The pain calls from chronic joint pain day after day. But some of you have dealt with that pain for so long, it's become your new normal. Short-term fixes are not working. Make the decision now to say no, not going to live with it. Get moving again in 2025 with help from QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, joint preservation. Yes, you can revitalize your joints with advanced orthobiologic treatments at QC Kinetics. No steroids, no drugs, no surgery. surgery. This is the future of medicine, using an array of natural solutions like PRP to attack the pain from arthritis. Tens of thousands of people with pain have discovered these cellular treatments, and they're living life again without that constant pain in their joints. Want to learn more about how you can refresh your joints, get lasting relief with these amazing treatments? Call QC Kinetics for a free consultation. 816-412-6299. QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299. I want to tell you about my new obsession, Daisy French Onion Dip. One of my guilty pleasures during football season is eating dips with chips, wings, and veggies, and so much more while watching the big game. And now Daisy came out with a Daisy French Onion Dip, a Daisy Ranch Dip, and these are a game changer. They're as good as homemade dips because they have real herbs and spices in them. They're ingredients you'll find in your own kitchen. So you need to get out to the store now and give Daisy French Onion Dip a try. Look for Daisy French Onion Dip everywhere.
Drowning in IRS debt? If you can't afford to pay your IRS debt due to economic hardship, you can now be free of IRS collection efforts by taking advantage of a special IRS tax hardship program. This program allows Americans who owe the IRS to resolve their delinquent tax debt once and for all. In some cases, maybe even reducing what you owe significantly. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Simply dial 800-514-1026 if you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back or have years of unfiled tax returns. Help is standing by. Just call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-514-1026 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-514-1026 to see if you qualify. That's 800-514-1026.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Metal by the Foot, your metal project superstore.
For over 36 years, Metal by the Foot has been your source for steel, aluminum, brass, and stainless. Located in Casey and Topeka. Online at metalbythefoot.com. When you need a piece of metal, remember, metal doesn't have to cost an arm or a leg, just the foot.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Metro Ford, online at kcmetroford.com. Kansas side, 435 westbound, very heavy from Metcalf over towards Quivira with an accident still blocking two right lanes. Northland, 435 southbound, solid from 69 Highway all the way down across the bridge, where an accident has you down to one lane. At Metro Ford, family owned and operated means the same trusted faces every visit, just 10 minutes from downtown. Plus, get peace of mind with our 5-year, 200,000-mile pre-owned warranty, including roadside assistance and emergency trip interruption, only at Metro Ford. Online at kcmetroford.com. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric Traffic Center, Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
What's up, KC? It's Hollywood Brown. Catch the play-by-play all season long with Mitch, Dana, and Clean right here on your home of Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Mount up, Kansas City. 2 hours left of Fescoe and Dusty here on 96.5 The Fan. Coming up at 10 o'clock, Cody Golden Drew from 10 to 2. You know those guys are always up to something. Alex Gold will join us at 9:15 for Gold's Locks. Cody Tapp, he'll join us at some point next week. So we'll find out.
Got some breaking news from Cincinnati.
Oh.
Mac, you ready for this one?
Yeah.
All right, buddy.
Hit me.
Breaking. The Cincinnati Bengals have announced that they will be resting all of their players for Week 19.
Ow. That's risky.
They're going to be resting their players for about 6 months.
Enjoy Cancun.
Yeah, you think they're there already?
Oh, I'm sure.
Do you think the players care? I don't. I really don't.
I think they probably care for 2 days.
I don't even know that's that long, right? I think the fans continue to care and continue to push the narrative, and then forces Travis Kelce to come out and do his thing that he did yesterday, which was fantastic.
Well, I know Cam Taylor-Britt cares for the Bengals because he commented on Travis Kelce's story.
Yeah.
Oh, did he? What did
Sports Center posted Kelce's quotes, and then he quote tweeted that saying LOL, that's cap, shut that S up, with laughy face emojis. I'm like, okay, bro.
You lost.
You lost. You're done. It's over.
Did you consider Brett for Miller?
Did Will Chamberlain or Danny Manning, have they reached out to Wiggins?
You think I'm a goddamn fool? And also just wanted to double check that Dan Kilgore is going to practice today. I'm sick and tired of all this bullshit.
Coach, we appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us.
The Dan Kilgore thing just never gets old.
No.
Andy, congratulations on becoming the all-time winningest coach. And is Dan Kilgore practicing today?
Hershey's aren't a candy bar. It's just chocolate.
That's right. Thank you, Stephen. Did Spectre text that in?
I don't know. That's one number I don't have memorized. I only have two numbers memorized, I think.
That was a bit from long, long, long ago.
Oh, okay.
Hershey's is not a candy. It is chocolate, according to Stephen.
But it says on
Stop.
the ticket.
Just please.
He also told us to watch Chiefsaholic.
Yeah.
Like, look, I've been dealing with that for almost 12 years now, that Hershey's is not a candy. It is chocolate.
But it says on the wrapper.
Stop.
Okay. That's not what it doesn't say stop. It says candy bar.
Just stop. Just stop. Like,
great take. He also called it Reese's.
Reese's. I know. It was a whole day of Hershey's isn't candy. It's chocolate.
Can't wait to
it's
see
Reese's.
him. Can't wait to see
Watch
him
The
today.
Irishman. Chiefsaholic.
Welcome to the Rock. Notre Dame, Penn State play tonight. I think it's going to be interesting. Penn State is a 1.5 underdog. So I'm interested to know where people lie on this game when it comes to the wager of this game, because Notre Dame, 1.5 favorite. That doesn't lead me to believe that they really, truly believe that Notre Dame should run away with this game. I think we might have an interesting game tonight.
All right, let me take a sidebar real fast on you on this one. Of all the games that we're getting ready to watch over the next 5 days, right? We got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday of all playoff football. Is this the least interesting game, in your opinion, of all of them that are going to be played? Because it is for me. And there's a point that I'm going to make about this in a second, which 24 hours ago, I would have said, yeah, this is the least interesting of the games that are going to take place over the next. Like, NFL will always, to me, supersede college football, right? And I've become a bigger college football fan over the last couple of years, thanks to Deion. That's why I got back into college football. Deion and Ohio State have brought me back in. So it's not like I'm a college football hater. But Notre Dame, Penn State, for me, it just doesn't have the cachet. And I know it's Notre Dame and everything, but whatever. So yesterday, and this is a great job by the head coach of Penn State, James Franklin, for doing this. He made the game more interesting in his press conference yesterday by taking a shot at Notre Dame and saying, it's great, with all these teams representing our conferences. And then he looked around and went, I mean, conference, because Notre Dame obviously gets this free pass every year into the postseason because they don't play anybody, right? And even Ben Maller mentioned it, all the money that they make from getting in the college football playoffs is theirs to keep. They don't have to split it with anybody because they're not in a conference. And so the game became more interesting to me because James Franklin started talking some smack against Notre Dame. But it still falls to me as the least interesting of the games this weekend. And that's not taking anything away from this one because I still think it's a very compelling game.
I mean, there's a lot on the line. I mean, you look like you talked about Franklin. Like, yeah, he's beaten SMU and whoever else. I forget.
Indiana.
No, Notre Dame beat Indiana.
Oh, yeah, Penn State. Boise State, yeah.
Yeah, Notre Dame got Indiana at home the first round. And then, now these two teams are playing each other. And it's like, it's weird how sports can work if you dive, you don't have to dive deep on this one. But you've got Marcus Freeman, who's a very, very hot name. Like, I was surprised yesterday that Chicago Bears are going to interview the Iowa State head coach.
That's,
whatever. I mean, it's fine. It fits the narrative with Caleb Williams. Get an offensive-minded guy, a young guy that he can be relatable to, and let that franchise kind of build around that. Again,
but if you're the Bears and all these teams are looking for a coach, you should be interviewing everybody because you don't know who is out there until you start talking to them. Yeah. The Jets are interviewing everybody. The Raiders are interviewing everybody.
And then you look at Franklin, right? You look at him. He's been like, hey, can he win against a big team? Like, you look at his record against teams that are, at 500 or below, substantially great, which normally that is the case. And then you look at his games against teams that are good, like the Ohio States, the Michigans, those type of teams. And it's like, I need to see it.
Does anybody have a good record against the good teams, though? And I ask that not facetiously, but I ask that because I don't know. Like, we talk about Ryan Day can't beat the big teams. We talk about Lamar,
beat Michigan.
Right. Well, that's the big game. You talk about Lamar not being able to win the big game. You mentioned James Franklin not being able to win the big game. Like, how many coaches and quarterbacks are truly out there that can win the big one? Because I feel like every time we bring up a name of somebody, and I'm just talking sport, well, he can't win the big one. Like, we use that can anyone other than maybe like Andy Reid and Bill Belichick truly win the big one? Nick Saban?
Well, Andy Reid for 18 years.
Couldn't win the big one.
Couldn't do it. Can't do it.
Can't win the big one. That narrative is no longer a conversation piece,
shut
right?
that down.
But how many of these coaches can win the big one?
Yeah.
Because that seems to be the narrative every time we talk about they're 1-4. But those are good teams. It's hard to beat good teams, right?
But it's also like if you're going to be in that, if you're a 2-time MVP quarterback that is Lamar, eventually you have to shut that narrative up.
Yeah.
Or it just never goes away.
Right.
Like Burrow is on house money, I think, for at least a while because he beat Mahomes in the playoffs.
That's right.
He beat Mahomes in the regular season, so he did it both times. Josh Allen's in that same field. Josh Allen can beat Mahomes in the regular season. Max said it yesterday. If Josh Allen loses again to Patrick Mahomes this year, there'd be 4 times in the playoffs he's lost, and he'll never be able to get rid of that demon. It's just there. Lamar Jackson finally beat Pittsburgh in a game that mattered this year, and he even said in his interview, the monkey's off my back. It's not like these guys don't know it. It's not like Franklin doesn't know that he has to win this game. It's not like Notre Dame. I don't know if Notre Dame necessarily has to win this game, but they kind of have the label and the shield, the gold helmet, all that sort of thing, the Rudy movie, where it's like, we're supposed to win this game. And this is a game where I don't care who wins. Really, I don't. Because, I don't know, is it unfair for me to still kind of look at Penn State as like garbage because of the
I'm
history?
with you. I can't get past it.
I know that nobody in that system is there, and it's time to move on. It's like Washington, right? I know they didn't do what Penn State did. But
that was 2012 with Penn State.
Right. And then Notre Dame,
before that.
Notre Dame I just hate.
Yeah.
Like sports hate, right? Like they're just the team. They're like Duke. They're like Texas. They're like Oklahoma. They're like the Cowboys. I'm just like,
but they're all like Notre Dame and the Cowboys, and like they're all in that same era of you're like Nebraska football as well. You're holding on to
That's a good school though, man. They got a good quarterback. They got a good fan base, good mascot. Okay. They're good. Good, passionate fan base. To be that passionate for Nebraska and still like have that history, I respect that.
I don't think Speck's listening. You're fine.
I think though, like Notre Dame fans, you're living off of the '80s still. You're living off of Rocket Ishmael. You're living off of who's the quarterback? Rick Meyer.
Never heard of him.
That's kind of where Notre. That's kind of you never heard of Rocket Ishmael?
The bit, guys.
But you're living off these guys that played before Mac was dad was even born. Like that's how long ago it's been since Notre Dame was truly a relevant team when it comes to winning.
I think this game's bigger for Notre Dame than Penn State. I think because, 1, they're the favorite. 2, they have one of the hottest named coaches in college football who's put himself there. And they have that badge of honor, right? Like KU is that team in college basketball. When everybody plays them, they know. Chiefs, right? Everybody's their Super Bowl, right? Good morning, gentlemen from Barbershop 59. Good morning, Barbershop. But I do see this. Like I see this being a good game. Like we pooed on college football's first rounds as being blowouts. I don't think this will be a blowout. I think this will be a game where we're watching it, come 9 o'clock when it's getting down to the final 2 minutes. We're like, all right, which coach is going to put their team? Because this to me is a coach's game. I couldn't tell you 5 players total on either side of the
right. No, it's a coach's game.
But I can tell both coaches' names.
But that's what college sports has become.
And I cannot wait. This is like a playoff baseball game where the manager is irrelevant during the regular season, but in the playoffs, the manager is the most important person out there.
Yeah, no doubt.
Of how he handles everything. So one guy can become a pro football coach with a big win in this game.
Look, I think Marcus Freeman is destined to be an NFL head coach. I just like him.
I like him too.
I like his leadership.
Pizzazz, man. He's got
great. I think there's not many guys that I look at that I say will go from college to the pros and have success. I think Marcus Freeman will. I don't know enough about James Franklin. And not that I know a whole lot about Marcus Freeman, but you saw the way he turned around Notre Dame right away.
Yes.
And has got him back to prominence, and he's a leader. And that's what you need, a leader. Marcus Freeman's a big-time leader.
One guy's grandpa created electricity. The other guy's grandpa narrated Shawshank Redemption. Who wins? We'll find out tonight at 6:30. Bob Fescoe, Mac Morey, Dusty Likens, Nate Taylor coming up. Bob will give you another update in case you missed it on the stadium news that we got today here on 96.5 The Fan. Your home for Kansas City Sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Well, if you're headed up to the airport, you need to use my friends over at Park and Go because they have all covered parking. And we're looking at a winter wonderland now and more snow coming tonight into tomorrow morning. You're going to want to have your car covered when you're at the airport. And it's not just this week. What if it snows next week or the week after that? Or maybe you're gone in the summertime and you just don't want that hot sun beating down on the interior of your car. That's why you need to park at Park and Go because every spot is covered parking and your car will be protected while you're out of town. Park and Go makes it very simple. Just go to bookparkandgo.com and make your reservation or use their easy-to-download app and make your reservation right on your phone, and you're done. But make sure you prepay as well. When you prepay, you'll get their lowest rate and save money. When you show up on the day of your flight, just give them your reservation number and pull into that covered parking spot. Your car will be protected from all of the elements while you're gone. And as soon as you get into that spot, the van meets you and you're right to the airport terminal. There's no waiting around. When you get back, just grab your bag, walk outside, and there's the bus. Jump on it, and it's right back to the trunk of your car. So do what we did and join their frequent parker program and earn points towards free parking. Reserve your spot today at bookparkandgo.com. The best deals in parking. Bookparkandgo.com. Park and Go, family owned and operated.
I wish I'd gotten treated for my erectile dysfunction sooner. Men, I hear this all the time from our patients. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if ED is a problem in your life, resolve to get it treated today and stop having it affect you and the one you love. ED is simply a medical condition, and it's fully treatable. And at Heartland Men's Health, we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. Which means if you're like most guys, your ED will be a thing of the past. In fact, you could be having great sex within a day or two of your first appointment, and you'll likely find you're performing like you haven't in a long time. It's the new year. Resolve to get your ED treated and change your life. Call us at Heartland Men's Health. Your initial visit is only $99. It includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. Heartland Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's Brian Baldinger with the Journey to the Big Game, presented by Hyundai. We'll see a host of great games this weekend, one of which being a red-hot Baltimore team hosting a sluggish Pittsburgh team in an early postseason conference matchup. The last three matchups of the weekend will have Green Bay, Washington, Minnesota, all on the road as they look to exact revenge for regular season losses to the respective first-round opponents. Journey to the Big Game is presented by Hyundai. Now you can buy a new Hyundai at Amazon. Visit HyundaiUSA.com for more details.
T-Mobile 5G home internet keeps getting better. Get our fastest connection loaded with benefits. Get T-Mobile's best home internet starting at $55 a month with auto pay and any voice line. Plus, Price Lock. We won't raise your rate on internet. Check availability at T-Mobile.com/home internet.
Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. Guarantees regular monthly rate plan price of fixed wireless 5G internet data with qualifying service. After $15 bill credit with postpaid voice line plus $5 a month without auto pay with debit or bank account. Regulatory fees included for qualifying accounts. $35 connection charge applies. Speeds vary due to factors affecting cellular networks.
Now that the holidays are over, the cold weather's here, and the kids are back to their routines, we're loving Hy-Vee's Aisles Online. They make it so easy to get our groceries. All you have to do is download the app or go to Hy-Vee.com. Choose your store, select your items, and Hy-Vee does all the shopping. All you got to do is pick up your order or have it delivered to your home. And listen to this. Right now, you're going to get $10 off any $125 Aisles Online purchase. Save time, save money. What could be better? Only at Hy-Vee.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Northland 435 southbound, heavy from I-35 all the way down across the river with an accident, but you got 2 lanes open now. Heading on the Kansas side, 435 westbound is solid from Metcalf over to Quivira with an accident blocking 2 right lanes. Service road also overloaded and not a good alternate. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric Traffic Center, Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
We're back. It's 8:17. We're part of Max Pack. Who's 1, who's 4? You'll find out because we know who 5 is. It's right here. Somebody was asking earlier about the statement from the NFL about the Rams and Vikings game with all the fires going on. Mm-hmm. They are monitoring the situation. Yes. I don't know why they're monitoring.
What does that even mean?
Get out.
Go. Yeah.
If the instance were to be, the game would have to be moved. They would still be playing on Monday night, but it would be at the Glendale, Arizona facility.
That's
so they'll
right.
go to that.
How many fans are going to show up to something like that? Like, I know L.A. to Phoenix is
How
about
many fans
5
in LA
hours.
care about football right now?
Yeah. I mean, like, that's the other thing,
half
too.
Those people were on a different state somewhere else anyway. Like, I guess if you were a smart person, you would just have vacated to Arizona and be like, there's a chance.
Right.
Let's go to Scottsdale.
Yeah, let's get out of here. But I mean, how do you vacate and leave your home? Like, I just can't imagine what these folks are going through, guys. I really can't.
If it's on, if half of my area is on fire, I don't care.
Yeah.
If there's Richards out there lighting fires, which there are.
Yeah,
I don't care.
That's the latest. I just got a text from Ben from a tweet. Breaking 9/11 callers are reporting a group of 5 men in ski masks are setting fires across Los Angeles. And they're saying that is the latest unconfirmed incident of this. The police are reporting that 5 kids are riding around on scooters lighting fires. One of these incidents was allegedly on Berry Drive. Helicopters and police cruisers are searching for the suspects, according to 911. If you're out there lighting, you should be jailed for life. Like, you should never see the light of day again.
From the 913, shout out to my coworker David, who's slacking on his job. LOL. And then listening on the app 20 minutes behind. Why limit just to food, Dustman? Have a nice beverage with the Likens 21-ounce draw. Fair. I'm good with that. We talked earlier today. We'll have Nate Taylor in about 5 minutes. Before we get to Nate Taylor, you gave us some information about some stadium update. It's not a ton, but it's enough to be merited to the conversation.
Yeah, it is. And like I said, I'm never going to hold anything back. And when I get information, I'm going to put it out there, and you can make the decision for yourself, however you want to make the decision. I'm not going to tell you how to think on all this, but around 10 o'clock today, so we're inside 2 hours or so, the Chiefs are going to be sending out a press release that they partnered with CSL, is a company that puts out a survey. They're going to basically announce that they're going to be surveying a couple 100,000 Chiefs fans, Kansas Cityans, locals, however you want to phrase it, about a new stadium and renovations to the current Arrowhead Stadium. If they're going to renovate, they still need the state money that they were originally looking for back in April. And quite honestly, I forget what that number was, like $800 million or something like that, from the state and whatnot to do the renovations to Arrowhead. Or I guess it was going to be an $800 million renovation, right? And they were looking for like $500 million or something. So they're still looking for that money from the state of Missouri for renovations. And obviously a new stadium we've talked about would be on the Kansas side. And so the survey is going to come out, and it's going to ask what you want in a new stadium or a renovated stadium, what you don't want in a new stadium, what you don't want in a renovated stadium. And it's going to be sent out to season ticket holders, like I said, maybe some people who aren't, maybe it's suite holders, whatever the case may be. So that's going to happen today. But this is going to be the first time that the Chiefs are approaching their fans and Kansas Cityans with the concept of PSLs. And we've talked about that, personal seat licenses. And essentially what that is that you as the fan pay a fee to own the seat inside that stadium. The new stadiums are getting built in Buffalo and Nashville. The average PSL is somewhere between $4,000 and $10,000. 4 being at the low end, 10 being, a little bit better seat or whatever the case may be, right? So that's the kind of the average PSL for those 2 new stadiums that are coming on. It's a one-time payment. It gives you the rights to that seat. Whatever event is taking place in that stadium, you have the right to buy the ticket to that event. Whether it's a Chiefs game, whether it's a Final Four, a Super Bowl, Taylor Swift, the Monster Mash Jam, whatever it is, right? You have the right to buy that ticket to that event because you own the right to the seat. And owning the right to the seat allows you to will that seat to somebody else, sell the rights to that seat to somebody else who may want it. You may buy it for $4 and turn around and sell it for $8. And it's a price for each seat. So if you have 4, it's $16,000 if it's a $4,000, PSL. And a lot of these teams will break it up for you over the course of years, so you don't have to have a big hit right away. And go into the poorhouse because you're buying a PSL. But every NFL team that's putting up stadiums now is doing this. This is not something that is unique to Kansas City. And I know for a lot of folks, I'm not interested in paying a PSL or anything like that. But again, that is the cost of doing business. And that's why we said back, in February, March, and April leading up to this vote, hey, F around and find out. Now the opportunity presents itself for the Chiefs to build a brand new dome stadium, but that would come with PSLs. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of pushback. The vocal people are usually the ones that complain, right? And so we'll get a lot of pushback from that. But I'm sure there's also going to be people who go, yeah, it's kind of the cost of doing business and being part of, what's going on here in Kansas City. So that's going to hit today. And then the other thing that I heard yesterday from multiple sources is that the Royals, I guess, could be getting closer to announcing the Johnson County site as where they're going to build their stadium. So take that for what it's worth. Again, make your own decisions based on top of that. But that's, like I said, I'm never going to hold information back. And when I get it, I'm going to put it out there and kind of keep everybody up to date as to what's going on with the stadium stuff.
Yeah, don't shoot the messenger.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I'm just delivering the message of what's going on. If you don't like the PSL stuff and you are a season ticket holder, make sure you voice that with the organization. That's all.
Somebody has something. I don't know. I don't know what the truth is to this or if that's a possibility, but someone asked, like, if they got a PSL at the Chiefs game, would you get your name on the seat like they do at Kauffman?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure if it gets down to that and that's like, the breaking point, I'm sure the Chiefs will put your name on the seat. Yeah, I think it's kind of cool.
I mean, it's awkward when you sit in those seats and you're like, oh, Helen Johnson.
Right.
Thanks for the seat.
But, I mean, it's been that way since, like I was telling you earlier, they did that in St. Louis in the mid-'90s when they were trying to recruit the Rams to build the dome. Like, everybody does this now in the NFL. It's kind of the cost of doing business for a lot of folks. So expect that to be announced later today that they're conducting this survey, and PSLs will be part of the questionnaire that's getting rolled out there.
Yeah, so some more news unfolding when it comes to stadiums.
Yeah.
And then one of these days, by the grace of God, we'll be like, here's the new location officially today.
Yes. Because I'm with you. As much as the information comes, like, it just needs to just get done. I've heard timeline from spring to fall.
Yeah. Okay.
Sometime.
Wake me up when it's over. And wake me up now because we're joined by Nate Taylor.
He's the only man in history to win a race in a hot dog costume and break the news that Chris Jones is back with the Chiefs.
I'll get on that, Coach.
Yeah, all right.
Here's Nate Taylor from The Athletic.
It is that time on a Thursday, 8:25. Nate Taylor presented by Mark Ferguson. We all make mistakes. Let Mark and his legal team make the best of them. 816-221-1750. It's Nate Taylor time. Mr. Nate Taylor. Nasty Nate season, baby. It's playoff time. How you doing, my man?
I am doing excellent, fellas. Good morning to you. And God bless Shawnee Mission School District for allowing kids back into the school today.
Oh, yeah. It's a great day, right?
You're more excited for kids to go out to school than you are to already have your deadline done.
That's right, exactly. I mean, I'm going through some edits right now, but it was, he didn't fight it today. Hayden, my 9-year-old boy, so he was happy to go back.
Yep.
On the bus with his friends. It's like, yeah, man, it's been like almost a month.
Our kids got out on the 20th of December, Nate, and here's the 9th of January, and now they're going back. I mean,
it's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy. But no, I'm really excited for the postseason, and this is my favorite time of the year because it is the the apex moment of the NFL season, and one of the other sports I love the most, tennis, is starting literally in like 2 days with the Australian Open.
Oh, wow. How about that? Go Australia.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's right. I mean, it is a bit heart-wrenching when you see just piles and piles and piles of snow around you, and then you turn the TV on and you're like, wow, I need to go to Australia right now.
Go. Nobody's stopping you.
I bet the Cincinnati Bengals would do anything they could to see piles and piles of snow in Kansas City right now, wouldn't you?
Yes. Of course. Watching the Hard Knocks on HBO or Max, whatever you want to call it. Poor Zach Taylor. I mean, good Lord. They if you haven't watched the episode, ladies and gentlemen, they have Zach Taylor going through his normal routine with the assumption that, hey, maybe the Bengals might get into the playoffs. So this past Sunday, he's in the office pretty much by himself. Maybe there's some other coaches around. grinding tape on the Buffalo Bills, believing that the Bengals are going to be the 7 seed to play the 2 seed in Buffalo. And he should have went home after like the first quarter.
No, first quarter, first drive. You know,
he just should have went home. He stayed in the office, ladies and gentlemen, the entire game. Dog, it's 38-0. Go home.
Yeah.
Go home to your wife. Go home to the kids. It's not happening.
There's nothing to prepare for tomorrow.
Nothing.
You know, go home. You know,
Go home, man.
be a guy who's on break. You know, just forget about it and catch him next year. But
exactly,
I'm just stunned on the idiocy of the national media and their handling of what the Chiefs did, from Chris Russo to Stephen A. Smith to somebody named Don Van Natta to RG3. Like, there are some really bad takes out there about what the Chiefs did, and I sit there and go, they put themselves in position to be able to do this by taking care of their business. It's like when you tell their kids to do their chores and they don't do them until the end of the night, well, then there's no dessert. But if you get it done, then you got dessert, you got playtime, you get rewarded for taking care of your ass, man.
That was me last night.
Exactly. It's a great analogy because
thank you.
I think what the Chiefs have done, and I'll say the quiet part out loud, with the invention of the internet and it being so popular and us being on it literally quite often all the time, and the excellence of the Chiefs, right, that we've seen this for 5 years now. Obviously, they've won 3 out of the last 5 Super Bowls. They've been in 4 of the last 5 Super Bowls. I think, and obviously they were 15-1 before their, non-irrelevant game on Sunday. I think when you combine the excellence of the Chiefs and the fact that people are on the internet too much, or they have too much access to get to the internet, it leads to people's brains malfunctioning before us. Like, I shouldn't be able to see your thoughts all the time about anything, but man, like, why do I need RG3 to tell me that this is, unfair? When I thought the goal was get the 1 seed so that you can rest and get an additional week off. Don Van Natta, calling the what did he call the Bengals? The dreaded Bengals? I'm sorry, they barely beat the Broncos at home in overtime. I mean, like, what are we talking about? And by the way, the Broncos did what they were supposed to do. They won the game that they needed to get into the postseason, regardless of how that happened. So I think the Chiefs, with the help of the internet, has really broken people's brains. Like,
yes,
it's amazing to know that you're upset because we extended the season. We wouldn't have this problem technically if the NFL didn't go to 17 games and obviously an 18-week season. If we were under the old traditional rules back when I grew up in the 90s, well, you wouldn't have this much variance. You wouldn't have a team being able to, start the season as badly as the Bengals did and then obviously win 5 straight and still not get in. So when you create a longer season, and of course this is going to happen in a couple of years where we go to 18 games in probably 20 weeks with each team getting an additional bye week involved, you're going to have more scenarios kind of like you saw on Sunday where even the Los Angeles Rams, and again, they have been excellent at times. Obviously, they won the Super Bowl a couple years ago with Sean McVay. Hey, man, they didn't care about the 3 seed, the 4 seed, the 5 seed. Who cares? We're in the playoffs. We have already locked up a home playoff game. I'm resting everybody, and nobody talked about it because they're not the Chiefs, because they aren't the most dominant team, over the last 5-year stretch. It's amazing to know that the Bengals, because they are entertaining to watch, because they do have Joe Burrow, get an enormous benefit of the doubt, even though they lost to the Chiefs.
Right. And almost lost to a Pittsburgh team. They were 2-7 against playoff teams this year. It wasn't like they were knocking down the door and beating everybody.
Right.
Look, they had more losses in September than the Chiefs had all season.
Wow. Oh, when you put it like that. And the other thing too is, on top of that, it's not like they had like some major injury, right? It wasn't like, man, well, if Joe Burrow had only, not missed those 5 to 6 games, like Tua Tagovailoa, right? At least with Miami, there's an explanation. Like, hey, maybe Miami would have been a playoff team, but it's just unfortunate that Tua got hurt again. and he was in the concussion protocol for multiple weeks, right? Man, you've had these dudes all year. Yep. There are no major injuries. It's not our fault that you guys, from a salary cap standpoint, have not been able to sort of reload your defense. So it's Trey Hendrickson and the Pimps basically, and it's crazy. I watched Hard Knocks last night. It's amazing to watch Trey Hendrickson. He's so good.
Yeah.
And it's so you're telling me he led the league in sacks? He had more sacks than Myles Garrett, and they didn't go to the playoffs. But it's just, it's about all 53 guys and what you do for the entire course of the year. And the more we're on the internet, the more we forget about the recent past, which goes right to your point, Bob, which is, hey, the Chiefs beat the Bengals, and the Bengals lost more games than the Chiefs have lost all year, and the Chiefs have no reason to care about this game against the Denver Broncos.
I see what you just done there, Nate Taylor, the Athletic, who joins us now. The Chiefs tried to challenge that they should each team get the ball in overtime when they didn't get it against New England. Didn't pass. Buffalo challenged it when they didn't get it against Chiefs. It passed. Cincinnati, well, if there's an extra week, then they can't lay down and kick us out of the playoffs. Now it'll pass. So they're just tiger-proofing or Chiefs-proofing the NFL. Got it. Wrote it down in my notes. We're good to go. Speaking of my notes, brutal last couple of days, right? The snow, no sports on, right? We're all sports guys. There's just Jerry Springer documentaries, a Chiefsaholic documentary. That's where I've been, man. I've been down bad, dude.
I think all of us have been. It's post-holiday blues. It's been snow day, strapped at home, and we're watching garbage again.
And now we get sports back. Penn State, Notre Dame tonight, but I move on to the NFL because I know you're locked into that more than anything other than the school closing bottom bar line. Please be back. Please be back. That's what we've been doing with the NFL. What's the game this weekend that has Nate Taylor's attention?
I'll say it's two games, right? I'll give you one in each conference. I love the idea that we have to watch Ravens Steelers one more time.
I do too. I think it's great.
I think it's great and terrible all at once, but I think it's great because, man, Mike Tomlin gonna put something out there that at least is going to make Lamar Jackson have to think or react. The Steelers have nothing to lose. Obviously, the spotlight really is, I think, more on Lamar Jackson than even Josh Allen, considering how last season ended for the Ravens. And on the NFC, as I said earlier, Sean McVay rested everybody, and it's a bit of a quick turnaround. I understand you get the extra day. I know things are terrible in Los Angeles and around Los Angeles with the fires. They're gonna, the Vikings are gonna go from the emotional roller coaster of, man, we could have had the one seed, we could have had a week off. All of a sudden, we're going to L.A. and we're playing the Rams, and the Rams beat them earlier this season, so it should be a very high-scoring game. Mm-hmm. I love the designs of both offenses with Sean McVay and Kevin O'Connell. So I think that'll be probably, since we've had this new format of Super Wildcard Weekend, this might be the most entertaining Monday night game we've ever gotten in this round. This will not be Tom Brady, at the very end against, the Dallas Cowboys when he didn't want to get hit. And this will not be when Kyler Murray, the Cardinals snuck into the playoffs, but then, Aaron Donald basically tortured him for the next 3 hours. I think this game is going to go back and forth. And can you imagine winning, 14 games? Can you imagine winning 14 games, getting bounced out of the first round of the playoffs, and you had the prime year of Sam Darnold, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and T.J. Hawkinson? All of those guys have played really well, and there's all that's left in their season potentially could be 60 minutes.
All right, I got a couple of more to ask you about when it comes to the NFL. We could talk all day about these playoffs, but we were discussing earlier Sam Darnold, and we had Ben Maller on Fox Sports Radio, and he's like, Sam Darnold could lose himself $80 million if he has a bad game this weekend, right? Let me ask you this. Put yourself in the shoes of a Tennessee Titan fan, okay? Just play that role, okay? I'm not saying you want to be there, but just play that role for a second, right? They've got the number 1 overall pick. There's not a quarterback worthy of a number 1 overall pick in this draft, maybe not even in the top 10. But you have a team that obviously needs a quarterback. If Sam Darnold goes out there and poops the bed against the Rams, coming off the bed pooping performance that he had against the Lions, that's 8 poop bed performance quarters later. Are you excited if your team goes out and acquires Sam Darnold this offseason?
can Kevin O'Connell come along too? Like, I think that's where my head, I love the scenario, and I think it's very worthy and valid because, there's been a number of quarterbacks in this league that needed some time, some seasoning to really reach their full potential. Now, obviously, I'm not saying Sam Darnold is these quarterbacks, but for example, like Rich Gannon needed time before he became a top-tier quarterback. It's hard to believe, but like essentially Steve Young spent almost a decade either with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or under Joe Montana before he got his shot to sort of lead a group, and obviously he was an excellent player. So it's going to take some time for a guy to get to his max, but you do need the coaching, the infrastructure. It obviously helps that you have Justin Jefferson because he sort of what made last week's game so interesting is Justin Jefferson sort of dictates coverage. Like, hey, like we know they're going to do something bracket you, whatever, and that gives me so many more options with some other really good skill position players. What the Lions did was just say, we can't let him dictate coverage. We have to play a lot of man. We have to blitz. We have to, speed the quarterback up. So I thought that was a very good coaching sort of adjustment by the Lions and obviously Aaron Glenn. When it comes to Sam Darnold, now we know he's capable, but you still have to build an offense around him. You still have to have a coach who has an eye for not just talent, but how to scheme things up and make it simple for you. He's done well with Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco. Now he's done well with KLC. So there's someone else he could obviously get along with and do fine. But, man, I think this season sort of explains that, Kevin O'Connell is probably, a top 8 coach now versus him kind of being on the rise. I think he's fully established himself. So if I'm a Titans fan, hey, it's better than Will Levis. I appreciate that. We do have, Calvin Ridley. We could give you, obviously, another, good skill position player in the draft. I understand. It's just I need to know who the coach is, and I'm not sure Mr. Callahan is the best choice in Nashville when they just fired their general manager. And, oh, by the way, the most glamorous, coaching candidate out there is the guy we just fired a year ago, Mike Vrabel. It's not a great setup in Tennessee.
No doubt about it, but it's a great setup for us in Kansas City as we get stress-free football this weekend. Nate, you enjoy that, and we will talk to you next Thursday ahead of a big divisional round playoff game, which will be Chiefs and Chargers.
Most likely, yes, most likely. I appreciate it, but you never know. You never know. I mean, I think, come on, Pittsburgh. Hey, come on. I think, I said this to Cody and Gold, I think it would be great if the Broncos somehow won because the Chiefs would be highly motivated to see the Broncos one more time this year. So there's better scenarios than the Chargers, but you're probably right. Jim Harbaugh, Justin Herbert's been in the postseason before. They got a pretty good defense, and I'm not sure I trust the Texans. So, let's talk Chiefs-Chargers a week from today.
Sounds good, today. Take care this weekend. We'll talk to you next Thursday.
All right, man.
Take care. That's Nate Taylor of The Athletic, presented by Mark Ferguson. We all make mistakes. Let Mark and his legal team make the best of them. 816-221-1750 on the other side. Ratings down. What sport? We'll tell you next here on Fescoe and Dusty, 96.5 The Fan, your own Kansas City Sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Well, I'll tell you what, my friends over at QC Kinetics are going to help you feel great this new year. That's what we all want to do. We all want to feel great, right? Because you don't want to live with pain. And the pain that's caused from chronic joint pain day after day that you've been dealing with for quite some time now, it's become your new normal. But you know what? It doesn't have to be your new normal. Short-term fixes are not working, and you don't have to live with the pain anymore. Get moving again in 2025 with help from QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. That's joint preservation. And you can revitalize your joints with advanced orthobiological treatments at QC Kinetics. No steroids, no drugs, no surgery. This is the future of medicine using an array of natural solutions like PRP to attack the pain from arthritis. Tens of thousands of people with pain have discovered these cellular treatments and they're living life again without constant pain in their joints. If you want to learn more about how you can refresh your joints and get lasting relief, call QC Kinetics for a free consultation. Deal with joint pain now so you can make the most of the new year. Call QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. It's QC Kinetics.
Imagine buying your next car from one dealership.
With the support of many.
With everything you'll ever need.
When you buy from any of the Balderston Auto Group dealerships, you're getting the support from all of our dealerships.
Like our 100 service bays, collision, and detail centers.
And our free exclusive lifetime warranty. No other auto group gives you that.
From north, central, south, the Balderston Auto Group has you covered.
A family committed to
excellence, growth,
and harmony.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-656-1551. That's 800-656-1551. 800-656-1551.
MD Anderson Cancer Center is again ranked #1 in the nation for cancer care by U.S. News & World Report's Best Hospitals rankings. Our physicians treat more types of cancers in a day than many see in their whole career. This unmatched depth of expertise, combined with our groundbreaking discoveries, gives our patients access to the most innovative treatment options. Learn more at mdanderson.org.
The Balderston Auto Group celebrates its golden anniversary.
That's over 3 million customers over the last 50 years.
Well, we've made a lot of changes along the way.
But held steadfast that we would remain a local family-run business.
And never forgetting to support the customer.
Like with our exclusive free lifetime warranty. No other auto group gives you this.
Well, it doesn't hurt that we have 1,000 vehicles to choose from.
Virtually every vehicle there is with 100 service bays plus collision and detail departments.
Thank you for helping us celebrate our golden anniversary.
Make 2025 the year you get started on your next success with the University of Maryland Global Campus. An accredited state university, UMGC is a school for real life, helping working adults like you learn the skills you need for the career you want. Choose from more than 135 degrees and certificates in career-relevant fields and earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and life and work experience. Or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. We offer scholarships, affordable tuition, and online and hybrid classes, all with the support you need from your first day to graduation day and beyond. Get a head start on your goals in the new year. Now is the perfect time to take the next step in your life in education. Apply to UMGC by February 12th and get your application fee waived. Combined with affordable tuition, scholarships, and financial resources, your degree is more attainable than ever before. Learn more at umgc.edu. That's umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Metro Ford, online at kcmetroford.com. Well, some good news. Northland 435 southbound still pretty heavy from 48th Street down past 210, but past that, things are starting to clear up crossing the river. Earlier accident now out of the way. At Metro Ford, family owned and operated means the same trusted faces every visit, just 10 minutes from downtown. Plus, get peace of mind with our 5-year, 200,000-mile pre-owned warranty, including roadside assistance and emergency trip interruption, only at Metro Ford. Online at kcmetroford.com. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric Traffic Center, Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
Coming in about 30 minutes, Alex Gold will be in here with his Goldilocks. He's excited. He was eating Cheerios dry, like as he does. And he gave me a little piece of information. He said he wants to see Notre Dame versus Ohio State. Because you know where Notre Dame's head coach played football.
That's right, Ohio State.
And they chose Ryan Day over him because Urban Meyer wanted Day.
Yeah, but I think Day was picked before Freeman was even like considered a head coach. Right?
Like
Marcus Freeman's been.
I love that. Yeah. Could you imagine Ohio State fans, they lost to Notre Dame and that Freeman wins? They'd be
Yeah.
like, son of a gun.
Should have picked it. But I mean, Marcus Freeman was not, I don't think, a candidate. I think Ryan Day's been there, 5 years now? And Marcus Freeman's only been there 2 years at Notre Dame, right?
Yeah,
Where was
that's
Marcus Freeman before he was at
That's
Notre
a good
Dame?
question.
Thank you.
Damn it.
So, I understand, that seems to be like the low-hanging fruit narrative that they picked Ryan Day over Marcus Freeman, but that's not the case at all. I mean,
He was DC with Notre Dame in 2021, and then before that, he was with Cincinnati.
The Bengals?
No.
Oh.
Cincinnati College.
Okay.
University
of Cincinnati. Okay. So he was at Notre Dame, and then he was promoted from within.
Yeah, he was a DC for 1 year, and then boom, head coach.
That's awesome. I love when guys get promoted from within like that. I think that's cool.
Are you guys...
Which Ryan Day was.
Are you guys familiar with the term unnecessary bitching?
Yeah.
We use it in golf a lot, right? Like
Okay.
a guy gets on the green for birdie. He gets on in his second shot on a par 4, but he's got like a 30-foot putt. He's like, should have been closer. I'm like, dude, you're a good chance you get a par this hole. You're unnecessary bitching about this play,
you
right?
could use that with a lot of Chiefs fans. I mean,
Sure.
they are 15-2, but they didn't win many games by a lot of points.
Well, they only beat the Bengals by 1. Well, okay, that's fine. But
kept them out of the playoffs.
Down 2% the NFL viewership,
Right.
to me, is where that fits.
Yeah.
Like, you're down 2% in viewership. They
went from 17.9 million a game to
That's right.
17.5 million.
Correct. And the highest viewed game of the year was November 17th, Chiefs-Bills. It drew 31.1 million.
Highest standalone game.
Right. Industry sources said that the network ended the season down 1% with an average of 19.2 million per game. Oh my gosh.
The interesting thing about this, though, the numbers that are down for the NFL are CBS and Fox. They're
Correct.
two big, middle of the day broadcast partners. Amazon numbers are up 13% from a year ago. ESPN posted its second best season in 24 years airing Monday Night Football. Fox was down 3%. NBC Sunday Night Football up 1%. Netflix, they had 25 million watch on Christmas Day. CBS didn't report its numbers, but industry insiders said they ended the season down 1% as well. And you start to think, it's interesting. All the standalone primetime games that are good games are blowing the numbers out of the water. The games that aren't getting the run are the noon and 3 o'clock games on maybe your two biggest broadcast partners, CBS and Fox, because you're leaving people stuck with Bengal games. And nobody wants to watch the Bengals. They suck. They're not even a playoff team.
Right.
Or you're leaving them with the Jets and the Giants and the Titans and the Raiders. So it's common sense. Why are these numbers on CBS and Fox down a smidge? Because you're taking all the good games and farming them out, which brings the question, when are CBS and Fox going to go, not so fast, NFL?
How much of this do you think is based on that now they can bid for it, right? Like you were just talking about with Fox and all that. So Thursday night, this is what I noticed this year. This is one of my big takeaways with the NFL and viewership this year is that Bezos had enough with last year. You talked about how Amazon is up or Prime's up, right?
Yeah.
He was tired of it. He's got the money. He's like, Thursday Night Football last year, there's 4 or 5 good games. This is how your Thursday Night Football went this year, and I'm not going to go through the entire season, but the way it ended, I think there was 4 or 5 banger of games on Thursday nights. Now, the last game of the year on Thursday night, Seattle-Chicago, that was a 6-3 final, but that was the day after Christmas. I don't think anybody was really, come on, let's get real. But Week 16, Denver and the Chargers. That was a great game,
Awesome
right?
game.
That was a great game. Thursday, December 12th, Rams at Niners. Not a great game, but that was divisional round
game,
team, right? Thursday, December 5th, Packers-Lions. That game was awesome in Week 14. Thursday, Thanksgiving, irrelevant. Thursday, November 21st, Pittsburgh-Cleveland. That was the Jameis Winston snow game. It was entertaining. It was good.
It was awesome.
It was a good game. They got their money's worth. Washington-Philly, Week 11. Week 10, Bengals-Ravens. That was your 35-34 game. Houston-Jets, that's the game that we were all confused about. Why are the Jets favored? Vikings-Rams, October 24th. Bezos had enough. He was just look, Thursday night's always been one of those nights where it was you know what? Why are these games are terrible? Why do we only have, whatever? But these games got better down the stretch, and it was
And they also flexed a Thursday nighter, if I'm not mistaken. So when you take a good game off of CBS and put that on Amazon, well, that's going to boost their number. Then it's going to drop the number of Amazon. People don't want to watch the Bears and whatnot. So I think if you're Fox or CBS, you're having a come to Jesus conversation with the NFL and saying, look, man, we're paying a lot of money for this, right? $1 billion a year, I think, per network or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
You can't keep taking every good game away from us and selling it for $25 million here and $25 million there. This is what will bring down the NFL. It's greed. Greed brings down everything. And if the NFL continues to get too greedy, you may see Fox and CBS go, we're not paying that kind of freight anymore because we're tired of paying to watch the Houston Texans take on the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Not happening. The way they finished this article, the most watched game of the season, the late afternoon Thanksgiving contest between the Giants and the Cowboys. By the way, Chiefs play at Dallas next year.
Yeah.
Come on. That game had a viewership of 38.8 million.
That was
viewers.
the number one game this year. It was the Giants-Cowboys on Thanksgiving, followed by another Thanksgiving Day game as the second highest viewed game.
Wasn't it Miami? Would have been Chicago? No, would have been.
Well, I think it was Chicago and Detroit.
In Detroit, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And they said that this season-ending ratings also arrived as the league claimed 70 of the top 100 broadcasts in the U.S. in 2024, down from 93. Now, I don't want to get political. There was a presidential candidate.
There was a lot of they weren't losing to other sports.
Right. There was a few college basketball or football games, and there was one World Series game. The rest were literally
and the national championship game of women's college basketball this year featuring Caitlin Clark.
That
was the only – that and a World Series game were the only two non-football sporting events to make the top 100 list.
So I would say there's a reason why they might have gone from 93 to 70 because I think 6 of those were like the presidential stuff, like the debate and all that, and the results, stuff like that. So there's a little bit of a difference here with the political thing going on. But I mean, again, like, look, man, depending on how this season goes and how entertaining these playoffs are, that number will go right back up. But I mean, to only be down 2% from like sky high to just like sky, like I mean, I think there's nothing to really worry about. It's just funny that they're like, well, it's the way that they headline those articles.
But yeah, it is. But
viewership is down in the NFL.
Not
by
really.
2%.
It's down for your noon and 3 o'clock games.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it on this show, like how piss poor those noon games were towards the end of the season.
Oh, it was awful. Yeah,
you're like the 3 o'clock slate's where it's at. You're like noon. It's like thank God for Red Zone.
Well, if you stick 14 games on at the same time, I don't know how good your ratings are going to be. Sorry.
Well, and the other thing too that kind of factors in, with all of this is that the Chiefs are the number one team in the NFL when it comes to ratings this year. They have passed the Dallas Cowboys now. They are America's team. Anybody who wants to debate that, Don Van Natta, loser.
Never heard of him.
Though the fact that the Chiefs are hardly ever on at noon or 3 is another big reason why. Your cash cow, your viewership team is playing on Amazon. They're playing on Netflix. They're playing on, like, we talked about it when the schedule came out. The Chiefs played on every day this year except for Tuesday.
So you said the biggest game was 38 million?
Yeah. 38.8 Thanksgiving.
So Chiefs Cowboys, like we assume that would eclipse 40.
That might get 50.
Who knows? At that point of the season,
the only other
John Knox Village team maybe,
the only
eliminated.
problem I have with Chiefs Dallas on Thanksgiving is that if Giants Cowboys can pull 38.8,
they don't need the Chiefs.
Right. It's like we'll wait for that, and that's what sucks.
No,
maybe Dallas needs Dallas doesn't need the Chiefs either.
No,
honestly.
so I mean, you can roll in really anybody on Thanksgiving Day. It's a captive audience.
They're going to be there. Yeah, that makes sense.
What do you want to guess the over/under is tonight in viewership?
I'm going to say let's set the over/under at 13 million.
I was going to set 12.5.
Okay, good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to go under.
I'm going to go under too.
I'm going to go under.
Damn, I'm going to go over.
Okay. I don't know when we'll
We're
get
craving sports, guys. These last 2 days, have we not had?
We're craving sports.
Yes,
but we are craving sports.
But you know what? You know what? College football. I mean, it just doesn't do a double-digit number usually. So,
this is the Final Four. This is Notre Dame. This is Penn State.
There will be some hate watching with Notre Dame. Penn State, to me, is a team that you're just kind of like, whatever.
Okay.
You're either in or you're just not.
So you're going over 12.5. You're going.
I'm going to go under. I'm going to go under.
Okay,
yeah.
I'll zag. You guys zig, and I'll go under. I'll go under 12.5. Coming up on the other side, I'm going to rest a lot of people's emotions when it comes to this guy's name in the coaching candidacy because it just makes sense because there's a guy that he compares to that's not somebody you want to be compared to. 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City Sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
Well, I'll tell you what, Friday night, we're going to be over there at fooling around and finding out how much fun it is celebrating my wife's birthday at one of her 85 parties this year. But the first one out of the gate's the best place you could do it at, and that is Foaling. Football plus bowling plus bar, and that equals Foaling Warehouse, Kansas City. It's KC's coolest, funkiest sports entertainment venue off of 435 and State Line. What I like about this is we can bring our own food to that party, right? We're going to bring in sandwiches. We're going to bring in some food. We're going to bring in cake. Everybody can do that at Foaling. That's the beauty of Foaling. You're having your kid's birthday party? Don't worry about it. Cater your own event. Bring in your own food. Or you're still on snow day, like some schools are. You need to get out of the house, right? Do something fun with the kiddos today or tomorrow. Foaling is where it's at. 435 and State Line, and they've got that world-class bar. Parents, they can make up any cocktail. They got a great beer selection. It is phenomenal, and you're going to have the time of your life because you're essentially bowling with a football. Set up those bowling pins just like you would in bowling and throw your football at it. First one to knock them down wins, and everybody gets to celebrate. Reserve a lane today, at foalingkc.com. That's foalingkc.com, and get your foal on.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's Mac Morey here. You guys know it. The Super Bowl is right around the corner. So what's your plan? Are you going to do the same thing you do every year, or you kind of ready to step it up, try something better? You going to go to the Verizon Super Bowl Fan Fest at Kansas City Live? It's in the Power and Light District. February 9th, you should be there. It's a Super Bowl experience like no other. You'll get exclusive access to the stadium where your favorite players make history. You'll meet the game's most legendary players. You can crush some game day bites, all while enjoying some live music. Could crush a game day brew as well. Super Bowl, it only comes once a year. You got to live it up. Verizon Super Bowl Fan Fest. You should be in. Tickets, they're limited. You don't want to miss out. Visit your local Verizon store and find out about free tickets today. You must be 18 years or older to attend. Additional terms and conditions apply. See VerizonFanFest.com for details.
Booth Creek Wagyu, KC's premier Wagyu beef meat market, has even more convenient ways for you to shop. In addition to their location at 135th and Metcalf, they're now open at 95th and Knoll. Everyone deserves to elevate their beef. Whether you're looking to wow your family with an unforgettable roast this holiday season or impress your friends, neighbors, and coworkers, their Wagyu experts are ready to help you pick out something unforgettable. Booth Creek Wagyu, now with 2 locations, open 7 days a week or at boothcreekwagyu.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Hey guys, it's Cody and Alex to let you know that if you're looking for that new career, Centric is the place you want to go. Look, you've been sitting around in a job you don't like anymore, and you want to try something new. I get it. Who wouldn't want a job with better pay, better career advancement, and better opportunities? So if you've been thinking of a new career, the new year is a great time to start. Classes start in the middle of January at Centric. Contact our friend Russ. Centric.com. That's CENTRIQ.com.
Now that the holidays are over, the cold weather's here, and the kids are back to their routines, we're loving Hy-Vee's Aisles Online. They make it so easy to get our groceries. All you have to do is download the app or go to Hy-Vee.com. Choose your store, select your items, and Hy-Vee does all the shopping. All you got to do is pick up your order or have it delivered to your home. And listen to this. Right now, you're going to get $10 off any $125 Aisles Online purchase. Save time, save money. What could be better? Only at Hy-Vee.
Chiefs coverage on 96.5 The Fan is brought to you by award-winning Johnny's Barbecue in Olathe.
Football and barbecue fans, score big with Johnny's Barbecue tailgate packages. Whether you're hosting a home gate or a tailgate, Johnny's Barbecue has you covered. Check out our tailgate packages at johnny'sbbqkc.com. Located in Olathe and serving all of KC. Johnny's Barbecue. Taste the smoke.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
K10 eastbound slow rolling approaching Canyon Creek Boulevard with an accident blocking the left lane. 69 highway northbound also slow from 87th Street up to the merge with I-35. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric Traffic Center, Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
Listen to Mitch, Danon, and Kling for the Chiefs divisional round game right here on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Diving right back into it here on Fescoe and Dusty on a Thursday morning. Damn glad to have you. Mac, how much of that basketball game did you watch last night? Cleveland and the Thunder.
My little sister came home last night with her fiance, so we ended up watching stuff. We ended up watching, actually, the new Wallace and Gromit.
Huh?
You beat me to it. I was leaning back in my...
Wallace and Gromit?
Sure.
What?
Sorry, I don't know, dude.
No, you guys are in the wrong ear. This is
Wallace
not me.
and Grimace?
Yeah, you guys are going to be in the minority. Text line should destroy
I was there when Wallace got shot. That's a line from Forrest Gump.
Do you know Forrest Gump? Yes.
Based on a true story.
Well-known.
Yeah.
More well-known than...
Oh, man, you just stepped in a huge pile of crap. It happens. What, blank? Sometimes.
I mean, can you believe one man invented all of that? It's crazy when you think about it, man.
I invested in some fruit company, and since I was a gazillionaire, I mowed their lawns for free. Great
I
movie.
would absolutely do that if I had nothing else to do. I just go.
Oh, you wouldn't? You'd move to like Fiji.
Yeah,
You'd never
probably.
see it
Never see it again.
Stop it.
Someplace with rocks in my front yard so I'd never have to mow.
Yeah, that poor lady that owned that Walter White house. Just people driving by and throwing pizzas on her roof.
Yeah.
Finally sold for like $4 million.
Could you...
I'd be pissed. I'd be like, instead of throwing that up there, just hand it to me.
Yeah,
stop.
People throwing pizzas on the roof it's so good. I mean that's human nature in a nutshell, though, right there.
So I'm going to give Carrington Harrison some credit because it kind of defends this topic. There's people that I've been texted by that are like, "Do you think Steve Spagnuolo will leave?" And I immediately before the three dots can even be seen on their phone, no. Carrington tweeted this yesterday. And this was mind-blowing to me. Josh McDaniels and Steve Spagnuolo have both coached 52 games as a head coach.
Mm-hmm.
McDaniels is 20-32. Do you want to guess what Spag's record is?
Worse than that.
11-41.
Yeah.
He's not a head coach, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
He's the best defensive coordinator. Robert Saleh was a head coach. He's now going back home to San Francisco.
Is he? Because I saw they were hiring somebody else
for
now.
an interview.
Okay.
Because I called that yesterday, and Matt gave me credit that I was like, guarantee you San Francisco's going to be like, hey, Robert.
Well,
hey,
why
man.
wouldn't you? I mean, when
Right.
Matt left Chicago, he came right back here. It's what you do, right?
And you look at it, and there's other guys that maybe are like that, like Cliff Kingsbury, right?
Mm-hmm.
He goes and coaches. It's not great. Goes to Bali for like a year, wherever it was, for like, I don't know, a year and a half with his wife or whatever, and just disappears, goes off the face of the map, whatever. Comes back, becomes a coordinator, and hello, Mr. Daniels, Rookie of the Year. Hello, Washington. They're in the playoffs.
Right.
Dan Quinn's a lot responsible for that as well. But I don't think Spags is going anywhere, and there's two reasons why I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he loves his job here in Kansas City, and why leave something so perfect?
Well, you leave because of the money and the ego, and that, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean, we all have in our line of work that ego that you like, someday I'd like to do this, or someday I'd like to do that. Then you get to a certain spot of your career or life and you just realize the best thing I want to do is just provide for my family. It doesn't matter. But a lot of these folks have egos. And I think, like you mentioned, 11 wins and 42 losses or whatever it was, whatever the number is, right? 11
and 41.
11 and 41, right?
Mm-hmm.
Steve Spagnuolo don't like that, right? Like that's 30 games under 500 as a head coach. That's really bad in a league that is, for the most part, pretty even across the board. Now, was Steve Spagnuolo a bad head coach? I was there his first year in St. Louis and covered him the day he was hired and the whole 9 yards. And I can say that I don't know. Like there were some things maybe you look back at that were a little cringe, that Spags did and whatnot. I think there was some like pillar thing he tried to do that was kind of like Harry High School, and you're like, all right, I'm not buying into that. But was he a bad head coach, or was he like a lot of these coaches, which is a bad situation, right? A bad situation in the Rams that when he was hired, didn't have an owner because the owner had died, and they were trying to figure out who was going to buy the team. Was it going to be the guy who ended up moving into L.A.? Was it going to be the guy who owned Jacksonville? Like, there was a rudderless ship of ownership there,
Easy,
basically, right? Like, the owner died, and then her kids took over the team, but she did not will it properly to her team, so they had to sell the team in order to pay the inheritance tax on the team. So they didn't really have an owner. They weren't investing a lot of money. It was a bad situation in a bad city. And like, I just look at that whole thing and I go, was Steve Spagnuolo a bad head coach, or was it really a bad situation? And I think it's the bad situation. Now, look, 11 wins. You got to do better than that, okay? Regardless of the situation that you're in. But the Rams basically let that thing get so run down that Kroenke was able to buy it for a song and then move that thing to L.A. And so I don't know how bad Spags really was as a head coach, but now that you're in your 60s, like, you got this thing moving here in Kansas City. You already coached a bad organization in the Rams at the time. Do you really want to step your toe into the Raiders? Like, you want to talk about bad ownership, brother. Like, that guy's got a Lloyd Christmas haircut.
Yeah, I mean, I look at this as like, I think he's done it. I don't necessarily know if he liked it. He's later on in his career, and a lot of people say on the text line as well, like, if he gets an opportunity, he's definitely going to take it. I just don't see that happening. I think his relationship with Andy Reid, I think his relationship with his team and this city and what he has is on his slate as a coach, he's nailed it. I don't think that I just don't see him leaving Kansas City because of the situation that he has. Now, again, a 3P can change that for everyone. Mm-hmm. Travis Kelce may hang it up. DeAndre Hopkins may hang it up. You know, it might give Andy Reid a little bit of a light at the end of the tunnel when he wants to settle down and call it a day, which I don't see that happening anytime soon, especially with the extension that he got last year. But I just don't think Spagnuolo, I don't know the man personally, but the way that I look at this, I see this coaching staff as it is Andy Reid and Spags' team. Like, that's how I look at it. It's your head coach, defensive coordinator. Like, this isn't Robert Saleh leaving. This isn't Aaron Glenn leaving Detroit. This is guys that, this is a foundation they built, and they brought Spags in, and ever since they brought him in, this defense was turned around. And I know he'll have understudies, but I see this as one of those things where you don't see very often in the NFL, which is what the Chiefs have proven year in and year out. They're doing things that you don't see often in the NFL. And one thing that I think that you don't see very often is one guy stay with the team and ride it out and then ride off into the sunset together. Yeah. I think, in my opinion, that you will see Andy Reid and Spagnuolo walk away together because of what they've built, what they've done, and it's enough. Like, he was a coordinator in New York. It worked. He was a head coach at Rams. It didn't work. He's a coordinator in Kansas City, and it's been the best time of his career. It's been the best career move he's ever made.
No doubt.
To be the defensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Absolutely.
I don't see him leaving Reid.
No.
Yeah.
See,
and who's going to get the meatballs and spaghetti?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Players are going to make sure he doesn't leave.
That's exactly right.
They're going to go talk to his wife.
Yeah, hey,
better
Maria,
make sure
you're not leaving for Vegas. Okay,
right.
You're staying right here. But here's the thing, though. Like, the ego thing is a driving force, but I don't know that he's a real candidate, if you will, for the Raiders. Like, and this isn't a knock against Steve Spagnuolo at all. I don't know that the Raiders at this point in time, much like the Jets, can afford to go out there and hire Steve Spagnuolo. They need to have a big splash. They need to have that wow factor, because it is Las Vegas, and that's the entertainment capital of the world, right? And if you want to start establishing your fan base so every game that you have isn't red or orange or whatever other color the team is, not you that's playing there, you've got to start winning some games and really generating the fan base interest. I don't know that Steve Spagnuolo does that. And I don't know. Matt Nagy interviewed with the Jets yesterday. I don't know that Matt Nagy moves the needle enough for the New York Jets to hire him. I still think Rex Ryan is the perfect fit in New York. And of course, I wouldn't wish the Jets on that. But, if he wants to be a head coach again, which he should because he's really great at it, then go ahead and take that job. But I think right now, I think the Raiders need a big splash. I think they need a Mike Vrabel, a Pete Carroll, John Gruden even, to kind of right that ship and get people excited again about that organization. Because right now, that's a neutral site game for the Raiders. It's a home game for everybody else.
And he can also take the Ben Johnson route, where he can be as picky as he wants, and he will always be a candidate.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't see him leaving.
Did you see who the Bears just got done interviewing?
Never heard of him.
Yeah, Drew Petzing.
Never heard of him.
Does he have a pretzel at the landing?
I don't think so. Drew Petzing, Bears. We have completed an interview with head coach candidate Drew Petzing. I've never heard of that person.
Yeah. Coming up on the other side, he's had his Cheerios, which means he's had his fiber. What's with all the pet food, Ace? So we come back. We'll get with Goldilocks here on Fescoe and Dusty on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City Sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for K-State Athletics. 96.5 The Fan.
Well, I'll tell you what, we got football back tonight, and that means you need to download the Underdog app, especially if you are in the state of Missouri right now, because Missouri fans, I've got great news for you. Underdog is available to play in your state, and Underdog is the best place to cash in on all of your takes during the playoffs, which players are going to go off and which ones are going to be ice cold. And with over 5 million happy players and $2 billion won, Underdog makes it fun and easy to cash in on all of your favorite athlete performances. And right now, we're looking at football tonight. And with their champs games on the Underdog app, you can win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on a player stat when it comes to touchdowns, when it comes to interceptions, so much more that you can have fun with. And Underdog is the only champs platform that puts the power to cash out in your hands now, or you can either keep the money and tap the Win Now button to cash out whenever you want. So here's what you need to do. You need to get on and download the Underdog app and put together a play for tonight. I love the Underdog app and the ability to kind of play my way and do everything that I really like to do on that app, and that is to say whether we're going to go higher or lower. And you can do that with Underdog. Download the app, sign in with promo code Bob, deposit now, and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly with promo code Bob. You must be 18 or over and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Listen, you've been making house payments for years, right? And right now your home's value has never been higher, right? That means you're likely sitting on a small fortune in equity. And good for you. That's cash you could use to help secure your retirement, solve all your financial burdens, enable you to travel everything you want. The catch is, you're not ready to move. No problem. You don't have to with TrueHold. Sell and stay leaseback program. It's a genius financial strategy. You sell your home to TrueHold while its value is high. You bag all the equity in cash now, and you can stay as long as you like with an easy, affordable lease. And TrueHold pays property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. TrueHold unlocks your wealth without uprooting your life. Get a TrueHold offer now while your home's value is sky high. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out without moving out. TrueHold.com.
Men, the new year is here, and if you're like many of us, you're going to make a resolution to improve your health. But if you're feeling sluggish and low energy, if your sleep patterns are off, if you've been working out and aren't seeing the gains you used to see, making that resolution may not be so easy. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're feeling the way I just described, we can likely help you with that resolution, because those symptoms probably mean you're suffering with low testosterone. And at Heartland Men's Health, we're experts in treating this condition. With our low T protocols, if you're like most men, the change will astound you. You'll feel more energy and better mental clarity, your sleep will improve, your workouts will be better, and you'll likely find your sex drive goes up as well. So call us today and get treated for your low T. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. Heartland Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
You're listening to Kickoff with Boomer and Valenti, locally here on 96.5 The Fan in Kansas City. Kickoff with Boomer Esiason and Mike Valenti is presented locally by ESPN Bet Sportsbook.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
So, you got a new gadget over the holidays. Don't forget to listen to your favorite station on Odyssey. Unwrapped a new Amazon Echo or Google Home? Be sure to tell your smart speaker to play your favorite station. Received a new Sonos speaker? Check on Odyssey on the Sonos app for access to hundreds of stations. Got a new phone? Don't forget that the Odyssey app is the only way you can jump to your favorite show with Rewind. No matter what you received this year, listen to your favorites with Odyssey. Download the free Odyssey app today. AUDACY.
Today, expect mostly sunny skies with a high of 34.
Weather brought to you by Staples. Your local Staples store has hot deals and super low prices throughout the store on everything for your business. Save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Welcome back to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan. It's time for Golden Locks with Alex Gold.
Gotta figure out how to make money on this thing. It's simply too good.
All right, here we go. Alex Gold in studio with us. It's Goldilocks time with Bob Fescoe, his son, Alex Gold Fescoe.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, guys.
How'd that betting show go last night?
It was great. That betting show
Which
was
one?
That one was a lot of fun. We had a ton to get into, right? We've got 5 straight days of playoff action.
Yeah, which is great. Like,
It's been a tough 3 days.
It really has been. Like, why though?
Because we're sports nuts, and it's absolutely abysmal outside. And it's like the Chiefs don't play. You got nothing to dive into really for the Chiefs, and then it's just like, can we get to Thursday? Can we get to Thursday?
Do you think if we didn't have the snow days, we would have been? Because the snow days felt like an extended kind of Christmas break, and there should have been games on, and the kids weren't in school, and it was just. I mean, it's been abnormal since the middle of December, and there's been games on constantly, and now it's over.
I think here locally too. Remember, go back to the baseball season. We were like nonstop, competitive, intense. Games mean everything since really mid-September till now, where we have this 2 week of layoff until games matter again for the Chiefs.
Right. But games start to matter tonight when it comes to the college thing, and you got Penn State taking on Notre Dame in this one.
I love the start time.
I mean, 6.
Yes, I'm sure you guys.
Yeah, he's already learning how mornings operate. 6:30 start time. Sweet.
I mean, I like it as well. I don't get out nearly as early as you guys, but I bet plenty of people in the Central Time Zone, definitely out east, love the fact that it's 6:30. I can't wait for it. And
it's great.
Look, these 2 games we get, one tonight, one tomorrow. I mean, they are premier brands, obviously, in college football, and so no matter what everybody thought about the way the playoff was going to set up, we still, I think, got what we kind of wanted with the brands. And Notre Dame was a team that I thought could get to a national title, so I'm not going to shy away from them now. They're 1.5-point favorites. I do like them quite a bit in this game tonight because I think they're one of the few teams that has somewhat of an answer for Tyler Warren, as much of an answer as you can have. He's a very talented tight end. You guys obviously know about him. He's going to be probably a top 15, top 10 pick, depending on who you talk to in the draft. And I think Notre Dame has the personnel to match up with that. Plus, they have the running game that, Boise State struggled to run, even though they had Ashton Genty. I think we saw the talent gap when Penn State played Boise State. It was very evident. That talent gap isn't there. I mean, when you're talking about Notre Dame and Penn State, I like Notre Dame quite a bit to win this thing, get into a national title game. I think they have the better head coach in this matchup as well.
Yeah.
And James Franklin... let the big game stuff continue for him if he doesn't win this one, because nobody's giving him credit for winning the first 2 or whatever.
Because it was against teams that are like, whatever. But we were talking earlier about like every coach and quarterback, seemingly other than like Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, is they can't win the big one out there. Like that seems to be the narrative for most of these coaches, and you can't win the big one because a lot of times you're playing a really good team. You are,
but you're right. Think about, in the NFL now, that name that I think of immediately is Kyle Shanahan. And before it was Andy Reid. That's why I've always said, and now I think everybody kind of agrees. Kyle Shanahan is what Andy Reid was 7 years ago or whatever.
Yeah, before he won that first Super Bowl.
Yeah, so I'm with you. There's definitely a lot of coaches. I think in college, though, whether it's Ryan Day, your guy there at Ohio State, or James Franklin at Penn State, this is just how the top tier coaches are always going to be viewed. And so I don't think anybody's saying about that with Marcus Freeman yet, but if he loses this game, that might be all of a sudden the narrative for him. Even though I think it's pretty unfair. I think
2.
I know. I guess Brian Kelly. It's this first. See, first is he came in at the end of 2022, I guess. So, yeah, are we heading into year 3 now?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So
I think he's one of the best coaches.
So Notre Dame -1.5. You love Notre Dame.
Yeah. Where are you at? I like Notre Dame in this game.
I like Notre Dame.
Yeah,
I just think that, I think they're more talented on the field wise. I think that it's, inevitable if they get into the national championship. I'm not saying that there's scripts or anything like that. I'm not that full into the Fescoisms yet, but we all want Notre Dame and Texas, I think, is what college football would love. But then again, there's Ohio State, and you brought up a storyline of Freeman and Ohio State.
Yeah, I mean, look, you played at Ohio State, so if we end up getting Notre Dame, Ohio State, that's a fun angle on top of the Ryan Day part. Could you imagine, though, if Notre Dame wins, Ohio State wins, and it's Notre Dame beats Ohio State in the national title game next week? Mm-hmm. Well, Ohio State fans, you tell me you're Mr. Ohio State all of a sudden. Yeah. Will you and other Ohio State fans then say that they should fire Ryan Day for Marcus Freeman?
No, I don't think you make that decision, but there will be fans.
Wait, Ohio State fans are rational? I wasn't
no
aware.
fan base is rational. Yeah. I mean, there's none. Find me a rational fan base.
I do think we probably end up with Notre Dame, Ohio State. Yeah. Although, if you're going to talk about betting, Texas, if you can get them at 6 points, they're 5.5 at FanDuel. Texas is a 5.5 point underdog.
Everybody hates Texas, which tells me Texas is going to keep this thing close and probably win the game. Right?
I definitely like them to cover. I think last week we briefly touched on it, that everybody has said, hey, Ohio State, nobody can beat them with the way they're playing. And maybe there's some truth to that. We'll find out. But anytime everybody is so on board with one team, to your point there, I think Texas is going to make that a lot closer. They have the defense to do it. That's the difference. The other teams Ohio State have faced, to me, haven't had that kind of defense. And Texas is first or second in multiple defensive categories. It's kind of why I like the under. It's 53.5 points tomorrow night's game. Yeah. Ohio State and Texas. And I get it. We see the wide receiver group there for Ohio State, which is Jeremiah Smith is just ridiculous. We thought Marvin Harrison Jr. was ridiculous. This kid might be better.
It's insane.
Wide receiver, man.
I mean, it is. And then that university just continues to churn them out. But I think that goes under because of the Texas defense. So ultimately, under in that game, and then Notre Dame to cover tonight, and then Texas to cover tomorrow night.
Okay. So this is what some people are considering the best 5-day stretch of football in quite some time, maybe the history. So we moved from college. You like Texas to cover. You like Notre Dame to cover tonight. We move on. Chargers, Texans, right? That's the first game, Saturday, Nickelodeon, slime time, whatever. You like the Chargers?
I do. I'm a little hesitant on it, though, because last night I had a guest on my show, and he was bringing up there's this trend that's out there when it comes to teams that weren't in the playoffs the year before, and obviously the Chargers fit that, and then are favorites in Wild Card Weekend. And it's something like they've won once out of the last 20-something times or something.
Wow.
Or they covered once out of the last 20-something times. It's a terrible trend for backing the Chargers. With that said, I've been kind of out on the Texans. I don't know if it's because we saw it a couple weeks ago firsthand. They're banged up. C.J. Stroud's not been as good. That offensive line is a serious problem for them. And I think if Harbaugh's not there, then I don't take the Chargers here. I just don't think a Harbaugh team is going to lay an egg in a playoff game like this.
Okay, I want to factor in the fires, though, to all of this as well, because this is a big factor. Not because they have to move the game. This one's already on the road, and we'll get to the Rams in a second. But a lot of these guys live in that area where these fires are. They've got to leave their families in these fires to go play a football game. Even if you're not leaving your family and they're going with you, you're still dealing with that. You've been dealing with that all week. How focused on the game can you be if you're the LA Chargers or the LA Rams with this unbelievably horrible disaster going on right there that is affecting literally everybody in that city?
That's the unknown on the gambling end. I think you're right, though. On this one, we're not talking about a change of venue. They were always planning on leaving. It's the human element of knowing that your family. I think there was a coach for the Chargers yesterday that was talking about how his family or family member, somebody had lost their home or was in danger of losing their home, and so I mean, how can you not think about that? I personally, though, looking at where the line movement has been and anything, I don't think you can not make a bet based off of somebody, what they might be dealing with in their personal life. Because frankly, every game there's probably that. We just don't know. This one's public.
Right. This
one's public, but there's every week I'm sure there's somebody on somebody's NFL team that's got some family issue going on. It's life, right? Whatever. So I don't think that should deter you from backing the Chargers. The question for the Chargers is just that, if they're able to continue the defensive dominance that we saw at times this season against the Texans, do they hold down Nico Collins? Because other than that, Nico Collins, there's no Tank Dell anymore. Dalton Schultz hasn't been as effective. I like the Chargers quite a bit. It's under 3. That's the key. We talk about the key numbers a lot in betting, 3, 6, etc. It's under 3, which is crucial. You can still win your bet at a field goal. If this thing were up to -3, then I would consider not betting the Chargers. But I still get it. They only have to win by 3. I'll lean in that direction.
Per Paul Hembo.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right.
Adam Schefter tweeted this. Underdogs are 69 and 105 all time on Wild Card Week and an average of 1.5 upsets per season. At least one underdog has won a game in the Wild Card round in 40 of the last 46 seasons dating back to 1978. Who is that underdog?
The Rams.
Okay.
Yeah. Now that to Bob, what we said about the weather, that one could actually the fires, I should say, that could actually cause a change of venue. The only thing that could impact for betting is some books, and this gets a little too nerdy, but there's different rules for FanDuel or DraftKings or whoever. Some books, if the venue changes, they'll void the bet, and so you may have to rebet. They may put a new line up. If the venue doesn't change, we just saw this, unfortunately, with another tragic event in New Orleans where the Sugar Bowl, it moved back a day, but it didn't change venue. Most books didn't change or void your bet. So that's the only thing that could change with this Rams-Vikings games. If they move it to Glendale and State Farm Stadium, then if you have an existing bet, you may have to rebet it, and the line may adjust. I don't think we'll see massive line movement because of that. The Rams at least have played in that stadium once a year as a divisional opponent, but you lose some of the home field advantage. There's no doubt.
Well,
you're not going to have.
Though, what kind of home field advantage do these LA teams truly
the Rams
have?
more than the Chargers, though.
But we're not talking about a lot. And Dusty brought it up earlier. How many people roll into this game on Monday night, knowing that the city's on fire?
I think just how much more does this thing spread? It's awful, obviously. The stadium's in Inglewood, and I've never been to LA, so I'm not trying to act like I'm an expert or whatever. I think it's the air quality problem for the stadium more than they're not worried about. It depends on where people live, but it's not the fires aren't getting to Inglewood. It's just the air quality is what could push this game to Glendale, is what they're saying, because it's an open air stadium. So that element could definitely play a role in it. I like to answer your question though directly about the upset and everything. I like the Rams quite a bit here. I was going to take the Rams in this game, whether it was the Lions or the Vikings, the loser of that Sunday night game. I think both teams were beat up. I would have picked the Lions to lose this game if they would have been in this spot as well. Sam Darnold, I don't know how you can't be a little concerned with what we saw. He looked like the guy that was seeing ghosts again and happy feet. You know they're going to get after him because that was the problem. The Lions got to him, and Sam Darnold really didn't have an answer for it. Yep. So that's concerning. It's also his first playoff start. We don't talk about in the same way as rookies where only 11 or 12 rookies have won their first ever playoff game. Sam Darnold, this is his first playoff game on top of it. And Sean McVay, not that Kevin O'Connell's not a good coach, but Sean McVay, I think, is one of the best coaches in the entire league. Yeah. And so I like the Rams quite a bit. Preseason, I had them in an NFC title game, so I'm a little biased. I obviously want to see that come true. So We'll see. I think the Rams are definitely the upset pick of the weekend, though.
So then we get to 2. So we move on to Steelers-Ravens, the other game that is the Saturday night slate at 7 o'clock. Steelers-Ravens. Steelers getting 9.5.
Huge spread. I know how many times we've talked about Tomlin's history as an underdog and how you got to usually bet him. That's when the spread is under 4. When he's a 4-point dog, he covers around a 70% clip. It's insane. Just last week, that Cincinnati game, they had no business covering the game, but they found a way to cover.
They did.
They found a way to cover, and that continued that trend. But under Mike Tomlin, the Steelers are just 3-14 as outright winners and 7-9-1 against the spread. So below 500 in covering when he's an underdog of 7 points or more. If he's an underdog of 8 or more, which he is here, he's just 1-8 outright. And his only win was in 2022 against the Bucs. So it's a different story when you start to get to major underdog territory. They, in fact, haven't won or covered a playoff game since 2016. Yeah. We all are familiar with that. Yep. So that's how different I think this is when we talk about versus, hey, they're a 3.5-point dog. You can't count Mike Tomlin out. I think to be safe here, though, why not do a teaser? We like doing the teasers throughout the year. Mm-hmm. Tease Baltimore down. You can do a 6 or 7 point teaser. So you want to tease them down to 3 or whatever, however you want to do it. And you pair that with the Rams, tease them up. So all of a sudden I get the Rams as 7.5 point dogs, and I get the Ravens as 3.5 point favorites, depending on how you want to do it.
And that'll probably be minus 115, somewhere around that line.
Yeah, you have to pay a little juice on it. But if you're worried about, hey, they're at 10 points, it's still a rivalry game and all that I think alleviates some of your concern. So I have the Ravens minus 9.5, but I also will have a teaser to kind of CYA a little bit.
The hammer in golf is different than the hammer in betting. Mac is hammering this next game, which was Saturday slate. Mac is hammering Buffalo 8.5.
Why?
I think it's going to be a close game. I think Buffalo wins, but by 2 or 3 points.
I like the Broncos to cover. That's what I think the Broncos cover this game. I'm trying to balance out what we just saw, which was a preseason game for the Chiefs and the Broncos. They're confident, though. I mean, in their mind, they're at least being sold that, hey, we went out and we just beat the Kansas City Chiefs 38-0.
Yeah, you did.
They have plenty of confidence. I understand it was the backups. We know that. But
so what?
But I
care.
think Denver can cover the 8.5. I'm with you. Why do you think it's a bad matchup?
Yeah, I think it's a bad matchup. I think Josh Allen's on a heater. I think that Broncos defense has been a little overrated all season. I don't think Week 18 has anything to do with momentum or confidence. That means nothing. That was a JV squad. And I think they're going to go into Buffalo and they're going to forget about whatever JV squad they were playing because they're going to be in the first playoff environment that they've ever seen against what is going to be now an MVP quarterback in Buffalo. Top 3 hardest place to play in the playoffs.
Yeah, look, I don't think Denver wins this game. Going back to the rookie quarterback stat, I mean, it's just the odds are against you to win as a rookie, and I don't think Bo Nix is in the category of, Jaden Daniels or CJ Stroud last year or anything like that when those guys won in their first game. But I do think Denver can cover the 8.5 points. That would be it's not my favorite bet for the weekend by any means, but if I were to take out of the 2 big spreads, Steelers to cover 9.5 or Broncos to cover 8.5, I feel better about the Broncos cover
I do too,
than the other side. Yeah.
9 of the last 10 Steelers-Ravens games have been decided by one possession.
I am so out, though. I'm so out on the Steelers. How can I not be? I'm so out on them. I mean, just they've
5
lost.
to 12
not only
for
have they
41 yards
4 in a
in the
row.
third quarter with Russ.
Well, here's the if you get to 20 points on the Steelers, it's over.
Yeah.
You get to 20. They have scored 17 or less in 4 straight games. They're the 4th team to do that heading into the playoffs. The other 3 teams that only scored 17 or less and lost 4 straight, their playoff game, they lost outright and they scored 17 or less in that playoff game as well. If you think Baltimore is losing or if the Steelers can cover, then it needs to be like a 17-10 game where the Steelers put up 10 points, the Ravens only put up 7 or 17, and it's a 17-10 game and they cover that way. Mm-hmm. There's no way the Steelers are covering a game in which the Ravens score 24 or 28 points. There's no way.
Yeah, I think you're right about that because Pittsburgh can't score. And it continues to show you how great Mike Tomlin is as a head coach. Everybody wants him fired, but nobody mentions their GM who saddles him with Russell Wilson and
they should be an 8-win team.
Fields.
They should be an 8-win team. But boy, doesn't that suck to be in that spot? Like I agree with you. Mike Tomlin would be hired in 2 seconds if he got fired.
I said yesterday the Bears should be trading for Mike Tomlin.
I don't disagree. My issue, if I'm a Steelers fan, I almost want to reset though. As great as a head coach, I know it sounds crazy to get rid of a future Hall of Fame head coach, who Mike Tomlin will be, but you're stuck. You're winning 9 or 10 games every year. You're never drafting high enough to get a legit quarterback. You have no chance to go on a run.
See, that's where like the GM and head coach, to me, and I'm not saying this is the truth, but this is my percent. Are you guys on the same page here? Because Tomlin wants to win, and the GM keeps going, all right, now you got to do it with Russell Wilson. And Tomlin goes, okay, I'll win 10 games with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. Like, I think people are swinging and missing when they don't like Mike Tomlin. That GM in Pittsburgh has given Tomlin nothing to work with.
Well, I mean, he gave him a good offensive coordinator this year. Accordingly not.
Arthur Smith. I give the Jets. Well, the Jets are talking to everybody.
Should be.
If they hire Arthur Smith, it's just
Arthur Smith might go down as one of the biggest grifters of all time.
Yeah, he is.
Move on.
No, he is because look, if his dad didn't find FedEx, this guy wouldn't have a job in the NFL. And I'm 100% convinced of that. You want to talk about nepotism? Arthur Smith's father was the president and CEO of Federal Express. Who's the biggest advertiser in the NFL? FedEx. You get my kid a job, we'll continue to be one of the biggest advertisers you have. There's no question the only reason Arthur Smith is in the NFL is because his dad was scratching a check running Federal Express.
I thought his dad was that guy that sang for the band Queen. So you move on to the next slate of games. Green Bay and Philly. I think this is the toughest game of the weekend to try to. Philadelphia's getting 4.5 points. Everybody wants to give the Chiefs a bunch of question of rust or rest. Jalen Hurts hasn't played a game he won't play a game for 28 days, damn near a month. In the concussion protocol, I know probably by today he'll be out of it and he'll be practicing or whatever. But 4.5, Philadelphia favorites at home.
So I'm with you that it's I think the toughest game to kind of handicap of the entire weekend. All the games we go through for the reasons you brought up. One, it's a 4.5 spread, which puts it in between. Like anytime you get a spread in between 3 and 6, that automatically makes it a little trickier to try to navigate. I don't buy Jordan Love yesterday saying that he's hopeful he'll play. He's playing. Come on now. So, Jordan,
if you are a starting quarterback in this league and you're borderline, you're playing. If not, so you're gone.
We're getting Love versus Hurts. We know Christian Watson for the Packers is unfortunately out for the season. The Eagles, to me, let's not forget how we were feeling before the Jalen Hurts injury. And the injury here, concussion is serious, but we're not talking about a lower body injury where I'm worried about him not being able to run. We saw the difference on short yardage when they had the backups in. They were able to throw against the Cowboys last week or whatever, but what Jalen Hurts and Barkley are when the 1-2 punch on short yard. It's basically it's free set of downs, multiple times a drive with what they have. I like the Philadelphia Eagles. If I had to bet this one, I do not have a bet on the game though, because I do think it's the toughest one to figure out. Maybe this is where the live bet comes in, Dusty. You bet. You see
must
how
be nice.
if the Packers get up 7-0 early, you do a live bet. All of a sudden, I get the Packers maybe down to 3 or something like that. That's what I'm going to be waiting for.
I think a game that has a lot of action on it, where I like the over. Washington, Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I like Tampa a lot, though, in this game.
Yeah.
It's the rookie quarterback thing. Baker Mayfield and that offense is going to put up points. I don't know if the Commanders have much of an answer. Marshawn Lattimore, I think, is supposed to play. He's been hurt. He's the corner there for the Commanders, and he's going up against Mike Evans. They got some history there. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch. I lean a little bit towards the over 50.5, but the bet that I like more between the total and spread is just simply the Bucks to cover the 3 points. Win this one kind of comfortably. I don't think they're gonna blow out the Commanders, but I don't think this one will be much of a sweat. I think the Commanders' fun ride and the Rookie of the Year season for Daniels kind of comes to an end this Sunday night.
Yeah, I do too. And then you brought up the upset, which is the Rams over the Vikings. You like the Rams?
Yeah, quite a bit. Yeah, quite a bit. Unfortunately, we're going to have to see. There's a real chance this thing gets moved to Glendale. I just don't think I don't think you'll see the game go off the board if it moves to Arizona, and suddenly this line just changed drastically. Maybe it goes from 1.5 to the Rams are 2-point dogs. I had my guest on last night said he thinks moving to Arizona actually is almost more of an advantage for the Rams than it is for the Vikings, just because they've played in the building and they're just familiar with that, and it's still and all that.
I don't think it's an advantage for anybody. Quite honestly,
it's a neutral site at that point.
Yeah, at that point, it's a neutral site. It's probably more an advantage for the Vikings because they're traveling regardless. The plane just takes a little bit of a left turn instead of continues to go straight. Right, the Rams got to pack everything up where they weren't expecting to go.
That's true.
And it's going to be one of those kind of last minute things. Now, I will say this tweet just came in, formerly X, now Twitter, from Variety. It says the evacuation order for all of Hollywood neighborhoods was lifted on Thursday morning at 7:30. So I don't know what that means, but the evacuation order in Hollywood has now been lifted. Does that mean things are starting to simmer down a little bit? I don't know the answer to that.
I think it's from my understanding. Again, we're all just kind of reading the same stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's the air quality more than it is like worrying about the fire spreading anywhere and preventing people to getting to Inglewood or whatever where the stadium is. It's whether or not the air quality index or whatever reaches a certain level or something, and that's how they're going to determine whether or not this game can happen or not.
Why wouldn't that game be in Vegas?
I don't know. I know they have done this.
There may be an event there going on.
Well, there you go. Yeah, it's Vegas, so maybe that's right. I think Adam Schefter last night had some basically backing up your question, like with some data of they've had wildfires, of course, out there before, and they've used Arizona in the past. I don't know why, but that's just
because Vegas didn't exist. Probably,
maybe, yeah, and maybe they have a better relationship because it's a divisional opponent. So maybe just the ownership between the Rams and Cardinals are more familiar, and it's just easier for them to navigate that. I'm not sure. One thing I'll point out though that for those that are betting on the Kansas side, soon on the Missouri side as well, this football season, this should make you feel good. So a lot of the books, they're some of them are publicly traded companies, so they have to put out like how their earnings were and everything. This past year was the roughest year for FanDuel and an NFL season since online sports betting happened. So you should, everybody, a round of applause. That's right. That's right. Yeah,
a lot of backslaps.
FanDuel reported, quote, very unfavorable U.S. sports results, primarily on NFL parlay and same game parlay outcomes. The NFL season has been the most customer friendly since online sports betting launched.
Good. Scammers are getting better, and
good
bettors are getting better.
Good for everybody out there.
No Cody today, just you and Drew?
Sean Barber's going to stop by. I think he's going to host the first 2 hours with me. So Sean
nice.
Barber will get his perspective on everything going on with coaching carousel. Plus, of course, talk about some college football. We'll mix that in. And then you should listen to the random question of the day today at like 12:40. Okay. I think you'll enjoy it. It's a dilemma that was out there. It happened with a Survivor contest in Las Vegas. Somebody won it. They were with a group of friends and family members on one entry, okay? Mm-hmm. And one of them wanted out 5 weeks in. So they bottom out. They go on to win the whole thing. What do you do? So we'll get to that during the random question of the day.
You sell, you lose.
There you go.
Sorry. Appreciate you, man. Alex Gold coming up at 10 o'clock. He'll be with Barber and Drew. First 2 hours with Sean Barber, Barbershop 59, and then Drew until 2 o'clock. Unfortunately, they got to talk Bengals. Coming up on the other side. We'll wrap this show up here on Fescoe and Dusty on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
Fescoe and Dusty.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
On Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Mac Morey here. You know the Super Bowl is right around the corner, so what's your plan? What are you going to do? You going to do the same thing you do every year? You're ready to step it up, try something even better. You go into the Verizon Super Bowl Fan Fest. It's at Kansas City Live in the Power and Light District, February 9th. It's going to be a Super Bowl experience like no other. You're going to get exclusive access to the stadium where your favorite players make history. You'll meet the game's most legendary players. You can enjoy live music, enjoy some game day bites, maybe a game day drink or two. Super Bowl only comes once a year. The Verizon Super Bowl Fan Fest. You in? Tickets are limited, so don't miss out. Visit your local Verizon store and find out about free tickets today. You must be 18 years or older to attend. Additional terms and conditions apply. See VerizonFanFest.com for details.
Imagine buying your next car from one dealership.
With the support of many.
With everything you'll ever need.
When you buy from any of the Balderson Auto Group dealerships, you're getting the support from all of our dealerships.
Like our 100 service bays, collision, and detail centers.
And our free exclusive lifetime warranty. No other auto group gives you that.
From north, central, south, the Balderson Auto Group has you covered.
A family committed to
excellence, growth,
and harmony.
Your projects begin here. The Casey Remodel and Garden Show, presented by Renewal by Anderson, January 10th through 12th at the American Royal Center. 3 days only for great deals, new ideas, and practical advice with trusted local experts. See twin sisters Leslie Davis and Lindsay Lamb from HGTV's hit show Unsellable Houses on Friday and Saturday. Shop, compare, and save on kitchens and baths to outdoor living and more at the Casey Remodel and Garden Show, January 10th through 12th. Buy tickets early and save at CaseyRemodelandGarden.com.
MD Anderson Cancer Center is again ranked #1 in the nation for cancer care by U.S. News & World Report's Best Hospitals rankings. Our physicians treat more types of cancers in a day than many see in their whole career. This unmatched depth of expertise, combined with our groundbreaking discoveries, gives our patients access to the most innovative treatment options. Learn more at mdanderson.org.
I want to tell you about my new obsession, Daisy French Onion Dip. One of my guilty pleasures during football season is eating dips with chips, wings, and veggies and so much more while watching the big game. And now Daisy came out with a Daisy French Onion Dip, a Daisy Ranch Dip, and these are a game changer. They're as good as homemade dips because they have real herbs and spices in them. They're ingredients you'll find in your own kitchen. So you need to get out to the store now and give Daisy French Onion Dip a try. Look for Daisy French Onion Dip everywhere.
The Balderson Auto Group celebrates its golden anniversary.
That's over 3 million customers over the last 50 years.
Well, we've made a lot of changes along the way,
but held steadfast that we would remain a local family-run business.
And never forgetting to support the customer.
Like with our exclusive free lifetime warranty. No other auto group gives you this.
Well, it doesn't hurt that we have 1,000 vehicles to choose from.
Virtually every vehicle there is with 100 service bays plus collision and detail departments.
Thank you for helping us celebrate our golden anniversary.
T-Mobile 5G home internet keeps getting better. Get our fastest connection loaded with benefits. Get T-Mobile's best home internet starting at $55 a month with auto pay and any voice line. Plus, price lock. We won't raise your rate on internet. Check availability at T-Mobile.com/home internet.
Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. Guarantees regular monthly rate plan price of fixed wireless 5G internet data with qualifying service. After $15 bill credit with postpaid voice line plus $5 a month without auto pay with debit or bank account. Regulatory fees included for qualifying accounts. $35 connection charge applies. Speeds vary due to factors affecting cellular networks.
What's that sound? That's the sound of Downy Unstoppable scent beads going into your washing machine and giving your clothes freshness that lasts all day long. There it is again. It's like music to your ears, or more like music to your nose. That freshness is irresistible. Let's get a Downy Unstoppables bottle shake. And now a sniff solo. Nice. With Downy Unstoppables, you just toss, wash, wow, for all day freshness.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
What is your flavor of this week, by the way? Snow? Did you go out and make fresh snow cones?
No.
I saw a lot of people doing that. They went out there and grabbed some snow, add some flavor. I guess that's fine.
You can do that, yeah.
Watch out for the yellow kind.
Oh, yeah.
It's not good.
I tried to shovel a little bit more yesterday. Just like that ice, I didn't realize how thick the ice really was.
Oh, I could have told
Seriously.
you.
I mean, inches. Like, holy cow! Like
THICC.
Yeah.
Thick.
I didn't realize it was that bad until I started to get out there in the backyard. I'm like plates of ice, like crazy. And we're supposed to get more beginning at 6 o'clock tonight, right?
Not ice.
No.
1 to 3 inches expected tonight after sunset. So that'll look like nothing.
We won't even notice that tomorrow.
Or now those people up north, like 1 to 3 inches. Stop it. But I did see somewhere tweeted, it said that there's expected to be 6 to 12 inches in places that don't really see that, which is like Little Rock, Arkansas. You get like 6 to 12 inches of snow.
Yeah, like it's going through Dallas right now. People were concerned about the game tomorrow in Texas.
What game? Oh, yeah, college.
The college game, in Texas tomorrow. Like, there's supposed to be a wild winter storm whipping through there.
They just have like Bevo just running through the snow with like steam coming out of the nostrils.
The Dallas forecast is like snow, like you just mentioned, and then the next day is going to be in the 50s. Like, it's one day that they're going to, and it's going to be a mess down there. A mess.
Don't forget, one more reminder, we have made some playoff t-shirts thanks to our friends over at Gates Barbecue, so be on the lookout on how to get these next week. We got one more day Friday. Some people think this week's gone on forever, but we got one more day, and then next week, don't forget also to get Gates Barbecue for your tailgate or if you're watching at home this weekend, because it's a stress-free weekend. Got to be probably the best 5-day stretch for football there's been in
it's going to be
our lifetime.
It's going to be fantastic.
Guys. I mean, Mac's
like,
younger than us, but I mean, even his lifetime, like he's had a lot of good football. We've had a lot of good football, but a 5 consecutive stretch.
I don't know that we've ever had a 5-day stretch like this when it comes to football before. I mean,
playoffs?
This is, and it's all playoffs.
Yeah,
playoffs. Yeah, playoffs. 5 days of playoffs. Playoffs.
Marquee teams, right? Texas, Ohio State.
That's the other thing.
Baltimore, Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it's all like marquee teams that you either have a rooting interest for or a rooting interest against. Like tonight's Notre Dame, tomorrow's Texas, Ohio State, very polarizing teams. Saturday rolls around. I guess, I don't know, man, like side yes or no with me on this. I love watching AFC North football.
100%.
I mean, take us out of the equation. There's nothing better than watching AFC North football.
I just
and we
wanna
get
win,
that
Jen.
on Saturday night.
Yeah.
I just want to win, Jen.
I know.
Okay.
Won yesterday.
I just want to win, Jen.
On a Wednesday?
Dude, snow day.
Dude.
Hump day.
I put a sign on the garage door coming into the kitchen for everybody to see. It says, "I'm waiting patiently." And my wife's like, "I'm leaving that up for the kids."
Oh, my God.
I just want to win, Jen.
That's the sign you need to put on your bedroom door. Screw the vacant, non-vacant.
Yeah.
I had a guy do that the other day. I was in the Apple store, had to go too. It was a big step for me. Normally I don't do that.
You went in public, huh?
And the guy opened the door right on me. Sorry, bro.
Damn.
Puckered up, got out of there.
Why didn't you lock it?
I did. I thought. I mean, I turned the knob. He just opened up. He goes, "Oh, sorry, man." I was like, yeah. And I just went.
What do you do in that situation?
Wipe, hand wash, get out.
No, I mean, if you're the other guy.
Oh.
Did you see him when you got out of there?
I was looking.
You were.
Never saw him.
You like if you're that guy, do you just like get out of the store? I'll come back tomorrow.
The eye contact, everything, yeah.
Oh, I mean,
It's
it
the
was
worst.
like it was the longest 2 seconds of my life, and I'm used to 2 seconds,
right?
And it was long, dude. I mean, we made eye contact, and I was like,
"Did you get his name?"
No, got his number though.
Good,
yeah. I said, "Sorry, I've been hacked." He goes, "Yeah, me too. Currently." I was like, man. I can't poop in public, man. It's tough for me. It's hard for me to pee in public too. I'll always
Really?
wait. Oh yeah, dude. it's
Very
tough.
pee shy.
Very
Yeah, I
pee.
feel that.
Really?
Dude, I grew up in Arrowhead
Oh,
with
yeah.
the troughs, man.
Yeah,
And it's just like I knew I wasn't going to be something one day, and it was at age 6.
No, just go. Who cares?
I know. I don't care.
Easy for
I
you to
want
say.
to. I don't know. Dude.
I just start coughing unnecessarily so I can black out the noise. Like I'll be sitting there and I'll just be like, because like some guy, this literally is a true story. One time I stood in the stall waiting to go, and the guy looked at me and goes, "I know you didn't go." And I was like, "Okay."
What?
Whoa. So then I got back in line, and
No way.
I
How
went to
old
the
were
press.
you?
Probably like 27, 28.
Oh, so you
grown ass man.
No, yeah. He goes, "I know you didn't go." And I was like, "Yep." Call me out on it.
Like, but why were you faking peeing?
Because I was trying to go.
You're trying to go,
But
yeah.
it just
Yeah,
wasn't
what are
going
you supposed to do?
It
Yeah.
wasn't happening.
No, I get that.
Yeah.
I've been there. You breach
What-
buddies,
what
we're breach
kinda-
shy buddies.
Well, it's like that boxcar racer. Tiny voices.
But who's the jackass that's standing there monitoring that?
I don't know. He's probably the guy that's in like Just Friends. It's like class of '95. I'm like, it's over, buddy. Yeah, dude. What, that boxcar ref? Yeah, man. I had a lot of tiny voices in my head. It's like, go, dude. Just come on. We do this all the time. Yeah. In the convenience of my own home. Oh, it's tough, dude. Couldn't do it.
I've never been in that situation.
Really got me.
Must be nice. Yeah.
Wait till you get a little bit older, you pee anywhere.
What, yourself?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. You start to think about, like, okay.
I've thought about depends at a tailgate.
Well.
Because you want to know my worst nightmare? A porta potty at a tailgate. Tough, dude.
It's not bad.
Because I can't do the side of the door. Like, some guys can just open that door and just go.
Yeah. It's not bad. I think the porta potties have been fine.
Porta potty's good.
Or you just open the Ralph's van or bus door and just pee behind that. A lot of people are bringing their own restrooms now.
Somebody says, Dusty says all these stories, and I'm sure none of them are real. Why would I lie? This is like super self-deprecating.
Yeah, like why would you lie about not being able to pee?
Like I literally had a guy tell me, like, I know you didn't go, and I'm like, what's a lie? I mean, why would I make that up? Like, I'm telling you right now, I can't pee or poop in public. That's not cool.
Right.
I
mean, I've told the older you get, the more you are concerned with where the bathroom is, right? And you will get there eventually, I promise you. You're like, could I make it home? I better go. There's a toilet here. Like one of those type of things. But, I always tell the story of Bob Davis and Max Falkenstein doing Jayhawk games forever. They would stop at, ask Josh, they would stop at like any bathroom that was available they'd go to. And one time, the two of them walked into the bathroom and they're standing there peeing, and Bob is next to Max, and Max is like, God, we sure been through a lot together, right? And Bob's like, yeah, we have. And Max says, I wasn't talking to you.
Dude, it says this. Somebody says I'm not alone in this. Somebody says I thought I was the only one who couldn't drop a deuce in public bathrooms. You're not the only one. We're in this together.
I have no problem doing that. I've been
the
doing
deuce
that.
I don't have a problem with. It's just the number one.
Yeah, it never bothers me. I always look at it as a money savings.
Yeah, that's true. Yep. Paying to poop.
You're not using your own toilet paper and you're not using your own water to flush. You do it on the outside, you're saving 7 cents.
From the 816, dude, the troughs. I was born in 90. Dad had season tickets. Tiny boy that was face height to get splashed by all the grown-ass men staring at my tiny acorn, and I still to this day can't pee in public easily.
I love the troughs, and they should be back.
No.
It's so much more convenient. Like that's a generational thing. Max like, no way. I need my own private bathroom at Arrowhead. I'm like, throw out the troughs and fill them with ice.
See, somebody says, what do you do on a long flight? It's a private bathroom. I feel safe in there.
Oh, yeah.
I'm fine there. It's like when you go to like a bar and like, it's like, all right, you almost done? It's like, oh, please stop. Please stop.
Yeah, that's a Richard move. Somebody's peeing. Don't sit there and yell, you almost done.
Yeah, I just can't do it, man.
Turn around and pee on their shoes.
So you got an event tonight, or you gonna watch the game, or what? You be locked in?
We'll have. I'm sure the game. I'm sure we'll be home by halftime.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I mean, hell, halftime will be 7:45.
Yeah, right.
I love that. I love that, dude. I cannot wait.
Yeah, I hope to be home by halftime of that. No, my wife is doing Dancing with the Stars for the BMA Foundation this year, so they're having kind of their kickoff meeting tonight and whatnot on June 14th is the event. I did it 10 years ago, and now so for my 10-year anniversary, she's going to go ahead and do that. So I'm very proud of her. For doing Dancing with the Stars this year.
Somebody says I go to the bathroom number 2 3 times a day, and I can only do it at home. Thank God I work at home.
My father, I mean, you want to talk about regimented poopers. I mean, it is an ordeal. My mother should call in and talk about I mean, it takes hours. And like he used to come home at lunch every day to poop. And I mean, it was, you want to talk about a schedule.
It takes hours for him to poop, or it takes hours.
That's not good.
That sounds bad.
I mean, gets up at 10, they're done and ready to get out of the house by 2. I mean, my mother calls me. She goes, I don't know what's going on here. Half of my retirement's waiting for your dad to stop pooping.
Is this why you tell us not to sit on there too long?
Well, I've been reading articles about that lately and dealing with my own roids. Don't sit on there a long time. You're going to develop them. I promise you. I know it's sometimes for married guys and fathers. It's the only private time you get, but you're hurting your hemorrhoids by sitting out on that toilet too long.
Every time I turn the car on and catch the last couple of minutes of the show, it's Dusty trying to prove how cool he is. He's either the most interesting radio host or embellishes everything he says. I don't think I'm cool. I'm just telling you the truth. I'm trying to be relatable to everybody else, and apparently this is a very relatable topic.
Pooping? I think everybody does it.
Everyone does it.
Yeah.
My biggest fear, and I'm not going to lie about this one, my biggest fear is going to a tailgate and having to poop.
I get that.
So I will get up extra early on game day, drink coffee to try to flush my system before we even go out there. Because if you're in the middle of a tailgate,
take a shot of Miralax before you go.
That'll make you go all day, though.
Oh, it does?
I think so, yeah. And if you got to do that in the park, that's a terrible feeling.
Dusty, I can't believe someone called you out on it. My deepest apologies. I literally have a 5 and 2-year-old, and if they're in the bathroom with me, I have to make them leave and close the door.
Oh.
Dude, it's my sanctuary at times. I got to just have peace and quiet. You can go make peace by going and doing something nice for somebody today, because you never know, it could change their day, week, month, or year. It is simply cool to care. Kansas City, stay safe, stay kind, stay warm. Coming up next, it's Barber, Gold, and Drew from 10 to 2 on 96.5 The Fan. You're home for Kansas City Sports. Talk to you tomorrow.
You're listening to Fescoe